Chapter 461 Prophecy of Three Venerables. Chapter 461 Prophecy of Three Venerables. Several days later, carts rumbled and horses neighed. Zhe tribesmen arrived at Crescent Lake and set up camp around the sparse horseshoe trees. Zhe Guang and the Zhe tribe's higher-ups could finally heave a sigh of relief. Aquatic plants were plentiful here along with large numbers of beast groups. They could hold a hunting festival and store provisions for their later journey. We finally arrived. Fang Yuan was overwhelmed in his heart. At night, he used the excuse of leading the wolf group to hunt to leave Zhe tribe's sight. It was a moonless night, but there were many stars. The wolf group sprinted against the flow of the night wind as they discovered several small mid-sized beast groups, devouring them one by one. The wolf group excitedly howled. They had been in a half-starving state these days and now they could eat to their fill. Even if he had a group of 30,000 wolves, Fang Yuan still carefully maneuvered the wolf group's movement. The wolf group might be of a large scale, but Crescent Lake had many dangers. There was an even larger group of water wolves, a three-horned rhino group and a group of 1,000 mutated beasts, and finally, a worm group that had hundreds of thousands and even up to 1,000,000 insects. Of course these worm groups and beast groups had their own territory and would not move around everywhere like those on the grassland. There was plenty of aquatic plants beside Crescent Lake. They did not need to move around to search for food. As long as Fang Yuan and Zhe tribe did not invade their territory, the beasts and worms would not find any issues with them. According to his previous life's memories, Fang Yuan moved along the lakeside towards the east and arrived at a stone forest. This stone forest was very common. There were stone pillars which were gray, purplish black, greenish yellow and so on, quietly standing straight with a precise distance between them. There were many stone forests beside Crescent Lake, but this particular forest was rather special. If someone looked from high above, they would only see gray-white stone pillars and would discover that the stone pillars vaguely formed into a thief, one character. This stone forest had a really impressive origin. It was personally created by Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable. Back then, Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable requested Long-Hair Ancestor to refine a GU for him. Thus, he made a bet with him. He won 3 rounds out of 5. The Long-Hair Ancestor had no choice but to accept his loss and agreed to refine the GU. Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable wanted to enter the legendary space door all his life, and requested Long-Hair Ancestor to refine the Immortal GU, Space Escape GU, an Immortal GU that could allow a GU master to enter the space door. He placed all his effort in researching the recipe for it. Long-Hair Ancestor was very excited and felt that the recipe was good and proper, but there were some places that could be improved. After discussing with Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable, the Demon Venerable became very happy and exclaimed that Long-Hair Ancestor's refinement path attainment far surpassed his. The two immortals cooperated and spent 21 years to successfully refine Space Escape GU. However, although this GU was refined and Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable could activate it, it was not able to enter the space door no matter what he did. The Demon Venerable felt discouraged and the proud Long-Hair Ancestor also suffered a huge setback. Later, Long-Hair Ancestor researched with Giant Sun Immortal Venerable but did not make any progress. The Space Escape GU became the only failure in Long-Hair Ancestor's life. It was said that even at his deathbed, Long-Hair Ancestor could not forget this. His good friend Immortal Yi Yan could not endure seeing his old friend pass away like this and expended 50 years of his life to deduce the future. He predicted that many years later, after 3 great eras, 3 venerables would appear, 2 men and 1 woman. The first was Spectral Soul Demon Venerable, second was Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable and third was Great Dream Immortal Venerable. As for the problem regarding the Space Escape GU, it would be solved by Great Dream Immortal Venerable. Immortal Yi Yan was a rank 8 Wisdom Path GU Immortal and was proficient in making predictions. He often made accurate one-sentence predictions, and was thus known as Immortal Yi Yan too. And this deduced prophecy would later be known as the famous Prophecy of Three Venerables. Sure enough, the world went through countless changes and continuously moved forward. After Giant Sun Immortal Venerable, Spectral Soul Demon Venerable appeared. After the Demon Venerable died, a rank 9 male GU Immortal appeared in Righteous Path and was, as predicted, known as Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable. Now Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable was already dead. Prophecy of Three Venerables was mostly complete. Only Great Dream Immortal Venerable who has yet to be born remains. Speaking of it, Long-Hair Ancestor was both happy and sad at this prophecy. Happy because the problem of Space Escape GU could finally be resolved. Sad because he would not be able to see that day. Long-Hair Ancestor died and turned into a land spirit with only one obsession, to see Great Dream Immortal Venerable. As long as she solved the problem of Space Escape GU, the whole Langya blessed land would belong to her. Back then, when long-hair ancestor refined the space escape GU for thieving heaven demon Venerable, the result was a failure, but they could not find the problem with it. Being greatly embarrassed, he promised to refine 9 more GU worms for thieving heaven demon Venerable, and he would even provide all the materials required to refine the GU. Thieving heaven demon Venerable later requested long-hair ancestor to refine 6 immortal GU. Before thieving heaven demon Venerable mysteriously disappeared, he set up his inheritances in the 5 regions and made an agreement with long-hair ancestor that the remaining 3 chances for GU refinement will be left for his inheritor. Long-hair ancestor agreed, and the two made a secret code. After more than a decade from now, one of the thieving heaven demon Venerable's inheritances would suddenly activate and be known by everyone. The content of the inheritance is a riddle, and the riddle points towards Langya blessed land. From then on, a craze of solving riddles in northern plains with countless people trying to solve it started. The rumors spread endlessly, but no one succeeded. Later, Ma Hongyun was forced to flee after being defeated on the battlefield and came running to Crescent Lake. At the lakeside, he encountered a premeditated ambush. Panicked and left with no choice, he ran over to this stone forest and accidentally discovered a passage in the stone forest. Going through this secret passage, he entered Langya blessed land and met the land spirit. After getting the secret code right, Langya land spirit refined 3 GU worms for him as per the agreement. Ma Hongyun obtained these 3 rank 5 GU, and after recovering from his injuries, he returned to the stone forest and turned the tide with great might, starting all over again, and finally, he obtained the throne of the imperial court for the 2nd time. Fang Yuan recalled while slowly moving forward. Then, his eyes brightened and he stopped before a purple stone pillar. This stone pillar was also common, but a stone that was flat like a stool was near the bottom of the pillar. During that time, after Ma Hongyun was defeated, he was chased by the enemy troops and was already on the verge of death. He fled to this place and had nowhere to run, with his injuries reaching a critical state. He sat on this stone stool and gazed up at the sky while leaning on the stone pillar. Suddenly, he felt that this stone pillar looked like his dear wife. His consciousness was on the verge of collapsing. He used his blood-stained hand to gently caress the stone pillar and said with deep love, "Lian Yun, oh Lian Yun, I really regret not listening to your advice. I want to see you, I want to tell you personally, I love you, I was wrong." At this time, the enemies had already arrived and were raising their sabers high. But at the next moment, Ma Hongyun suddenly disappeared. He had entered Langya blessed land. Fang Yuan sat at this stone stool, leaning on the pillar and gazing up. But he could not see a woman's appearance anywhere on the stone pillar. Fang Yuan laughed uncontrollably. It seems this Ma Hongyun was just thinking of his wife when he stared at the stone pillar. His longing was so deep that he could see Zhao Lianyun on anything. This Zhao Lianyun was also a weird woman. In the future she became a wisdom path GU immortal and was a good wife to Ma Hongyun, helping him strategize. But currently, she was only a little girl. Fang Yuan took out a dagger and cut his flesh, letting the fresh blood smear this purple stone pillar. Thieving heaven demon Venerable had put a mysterious GU worm on this purple stone pillar. Blood was only the first criteria for its activation. There was still the second criteria, that was to say, I want. When Fang Yuan said these 2 words, his body instantly disappeared and his vision suddenly changed. When he regained his senses, he was in a room. In the room, the smell of an alchemy furnace wafted in the air. There were dragon pillars, golden curtains, crane lanterns and vermilion windows. A sagely old man was sitting cross-legged on a bed of cloud, his eyes closed as if he was meditating. He was thin with white hair, having a beard that reached his chest and a ruddy face like that of a baby's. He was wearing a wide robe and the 2 sleeves were fluttering in the air. Demon Venerable's inheritor Chong Shanyin has come to pay respects. Fang Yuan touched his chest with his right hand and slightly bowed. You are Chong Shanyin. The old man slightly opened his eyes flashed with bright light as he looked at Fang Yuan with a gaze that seemed to materialize. This outer skin of yours is quite interesting. You used human skin along with shame plum, autumn voice grass. There is also pill fire GU, medicine strength GU, and some. The land spirit frowned deeply and caressed his beard, a hesitant expression on his face. He could actually see through Fang Yuan's disguise and even roughly deduce human skin goo's recipe by just observing. Lad, do you want to exchange this GU worm's recipe? I will use a similar grade GU worm to exchange for it. Or you can choose a similar grade GU worm recipe. Ah, right, secret code, the secret code. After speaking for a while, the land spirit suddenly remembered the secret code and smacked his head. Fang Yuan shrugged his shoulders. The secret code that you created with the demon Venerable back then. Ha, there is no secret code. As for the human skin GU recipe, I cannot exchange it yet. You don't want to exchange? Why? The land spirit was furious, a heavy pressure pressed down on Fang Yuan, he could not budge, his whole skeleton emitted creaking noises under the suppression. But he sneered with no concern, I have my reasons for not doing the exchange. You do not need to know about it. The land spirit laughed sinisterly, hee, you don't want to exchange, then I shall imprison you here and peel off your skin. After studying it few times, I can reverse engineer the recipe of this human skin GU. No, you can't make a move on me. Fang Yuan was confident, I am Demon Venerable's inheritor, you can't do anything to me before the agreement of the 3 GU is completed. According to Earth's understanding, the land spirit was equivalent to an artificial intelligence. Except that, this land spirit birthed from long-hair ancestor had quite a high intelligence and was good at scaring others. In his past life, Ma Hongyun had been scared by the land spirit and lost the precious opportunity to refine Immortal GU, refining only 3 rank 5 GU. After that incident, Ma Hongyun regretted it endlessly. After becoming a GU Immortal, whenever he thought of this matter, he would wring his hands and sigh. The land spirit blew its beard and opened its eyes which seemed to puff out fire, a posture that seemed ready to kill. But Fang Yuan remained unmoved. The land spirit kept on staring for a long while before suddenly turning exhausted like a ball that was leaking air. He then scowled miserably and got off the bed of clouds, walking towards Fang Yuan and softly pleaded while pulling his sleeves, young lad, please do a good deed and exchange this recipe with me, please. Fang Yuan was speechless. What was this situation? His attitude change was way too fast. Chapter 462 Exchanging GU. Chapter 462, Exchanging GU. Young lad, please have some tea. This is a high-grade cloud smoke tea, have a taste of it. Lang Ya land spirit sat at the edge of the bed as he brewed a cup of tea for Fang Yuan personally. Fang Yuan sat at the spot the land spirit was sitting at previously, looking at this, peculiar, land spirit wordlessly. In the conversation earlier, Fang Yuan had talked to this land spirit, and understood, this land spirit liked collecting recipes, it will try its best to get its hands on any new recipes it discovers. If it were any other person, the land spirit would have extorted and threatened him already. But Fang Yuan was a Demon Venerable's inheritor, he did not dare to do so, thus he could only beg nicely. Handsome young lad, is the tea not nice? Are you happy? For the sake of this tea, exchange that human skin recipe with me please. Lang Ya land spirit showed a smiling expression as he tried to please Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan drank his tea silently. The mysterious, strong, and sagely image of Lang Ya land spirit collapsed rapidly. Young lad, do me a favor, pity this old man. I live alone here, I am so lonely, so bored, so thirsty. I can only look at these recipes daily to pass time. Are you so cruel, to reject the request of such a pitiful old man like me? The land spirit had a grandpa appearance, having white beard, white hair, and white eyebrows, staring at Fang Yuan pitifully. Hey, have some self-awareness, you are a land spirit, not a human. Fang Yuan's eyes were twitching. Young lad, whatever you say, as long as you will give the recipe to me, you can do anything to me. The grandpa winked at Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan controlled his urge to kick this creep, as he shouted, no means no. Lang Ya land spirit's body shuddered, as it started crying, rolling on the ground. No, I want to exchange. I want the recipe, young lad, you are too cruel, too ruthless, you lack compassion. Why are you not exchanging the recipe with me, will it kill you? Please just exchange it. Seriously, rumors cannot compare to meeting in real life. Fang Yuan's head was full of black lines as the image of Lang Ya land spirit that he had broke into pieces, and was stepped into tiny shards on the ground. However, this showed Lang Ya land spirit's innocence and sincerity. The land spirit grandpa rolled on the ground and cried for a long time, but Fang Yuan did not relent. He had no choice but to stand up, with tears all over his face, even his beard, hair, and eyebrows were wet. Young lad, what's wrong with your conscience? You are simply too cruel, as expected of the inheritor of a demon venerable, the grandpa complained as he looked at Fang Yuan, like a wife who had just been cheated on. Fang Yuan could not stand this gaze, he shuddered as he sighed. Never mind, I can give you the human skin goose recipe. But you have to wait until the time is right. Young lad, you are awesome, you are the kindest person ever. So when will the time be right? Land spirit was extremely overjoyed. 500 years later. Land spirit grandpa frowned, and immediately slumped, that's so long away. HMPH, this is the best I am willing to offer. Why, you don't want to exchange anymore? Of course I want to exchange. It's just 500 years, I can wait. Young lad, I will be waiting for you, this is our agreement for a lifetime. The old grandpa said affectionately. Fang Yuan held his face, sighing deeply. I have a recipe here, I want to exchange it for connecting heaven Gu. Once he heard Fang Yuan's request, Langya Land's spirit's expression changed. He stood upright and raised his head slightly, showing an arrogant expression. Oh, you want to get connecting heaven Gu. He spoke slowly and casually. To tell you the truth, young lad, I have an uncountable number of recipes here. If the recipe you produce is already owned by me, I will not take it. Fang Yuan laughed confidently. Old man, your era is long over. Bring me a brush and paper, I will write a portion of it for you. Just after he wrote half of the content, Fang Yuan stopped. Right, write it, what else is there? Land Spirit stood at the side, scratching his ears as his eyes shone. He had already confirmed that this was a new recipe, he had never seen it before. This is a rank 5 recipe, where is your connecting heaven Gu? Here, Land Spirit waved his hand and a connecting heaven Gu appeared on the table. Fang Yuan finished writing this recipe and refined the connecting heaven Gu, keeping it in his aperture. At the side, Land Spirit looked at this recipe gleefully. The Gu worm in the recipe was a new Gu discovered by Gu masters 500 years later. During the chaotic 5-region battle, it was an era of innovation, of all sorts of new Gu were developed and created. Every time such a chaotic era appeared, a rank 9 Gu immortal would be born. Fang Yuan had his previous life's memories, although he forgot a lot of things, he still had a great number of recipes inside his head. These recipes, to exaggerate, were ahead of the current times by an era. Of course the Land Spirit had never heard of them. Do you have divine sense Gu? Fang Yuan kept connecting heaven Gu and asked. Yes. Exchange. You still have recipes? Land Spirit Grandpa was shocked and overjoyed. Fang Yuan smiled as he took the brush and paper, writing once again. But this time, halfway through, the Land Spirit laughed. Young man, I have the recipe of this Gu worm already. Oh, Fang Yuan stopped writing, his expression was stunned. He did not think that the Land Spirit was lying. Land Spirits were pure, yes means yes, and no means no. If you don't believe me, you can look at this. Langya Land Spirit grabbed the air, and a cowhide recipe appeared, landing on the table. Fang Yuan took a look, it was the real deal. It seems that the Gu worms in my memories, although they only appeared 500 years later, might not be new Gu after all. Thinking so, Fang Yuan laughed, saying to the Land Spirit, no worries, if this is no use, I have another recipe. But this time, Fang Yuan only wrote a third of it before the Land Spirit clapped. Although I do not have this recipe, I have something very similar, look at this. Saying so, he handed Fang Yuan a recipe, it was 90% similar to his. Fang Yuan immediately understood. My recipe might have been improved on by a Gu master using an ancient recipe. Young lad, this recipe does not have much value, I will not exchange for it. Land Spirit said. Fang Yuan revised his plans. When Long-Hair Ancestor was alive, he loved to collect and research on recipes. He was known as the #1 immortal of the refinement path of all times. He lived for a long period of time, and collected a vast number of recipes, he could be said to have been an extremely successful collector. As for Fang Yuan's generation of the New Age, they had not reached the apex of the time period, at least Great Dream Immortal Venerable had not appeared yet. The Gu worm recipes in Fang Yuan's memories, compared to Langya Blessed Land's accumulation from many eras, seemed to be extremely insignificant. Look at these then. Fang Yuan started scribbling again. But for these recipes, either Langya Blessed Land had it or it was a modified ancient recipe, the Land Spirit had no intentions to get them. Fang Yuan was helpless. In his memories, there were some Gu worms that were definitely new, but they had a great importance in the future, each represented a great benefit to him, and could easily change the situation of the regions. Once they get exposed by Langya Blessed Land, his losses were small issues, but it might potentially alter history, the disadvantages were too great for Fang Yuan compared to the gains. Land Spirit, look at this recipe. Fang Yuan thought, and wrote the Stargate Goose recipe. Land Spirit took a look and was interested. The more Fang Yuan wrote, the more its interest grew. I've never seen these recipes before, they are rather peculiar, very peculiar. The old grandpa muttered as he rubbed his chin. This was a rank 5 Gu recipe, Fang Yuan successfully obtained the divine sense Gu from it. Young lad, this Stargate GU is interesting, it has the effect to cross the 5 regions. The 5 regions have their respective barriers at the boundaries, but this can actually make use the power of Black Heaven. This type of GU worm, usually only Whole Earth GU and Connecting Heaven GU are popular classics. But this Stargate GU can compete with the 2 of them, and is not inferior in any way. Did you create this goose recipe? Land Spirit asked. Of course. Fang Yuan admitted it without hesitation. He had zero guilt in impersonating and taking this glory for himself. Next, he started to brag shamelessly. The few recipes earlier were also devised by me, although I also used some current recipes as the base for my research. This act undoubtedly deepened his relationship with Lang Ya Land Spirit. Little friend, you have talent for refinement path, I am truly amazed. Land Spirit Grandpa stopped calling Fang Yuan young lad, but started calling him little friend. But this Stargate GU has its weaknesses. You need to gather starlight at night to activate it. Other than that, this GU's refinement success rate is low, but if we add a few supplementary materials into it, we can raise the success rate by 30%. Next, the Land Spirit listed a few materials. Fang Yuan frowned as he listened, he had never heard of these materials. It seems that they were either materials from the immemorial era, or just simply too rare and unique, with little use normally. Land Spirit continued. It seems this Stargate GU is best paired with the Starlight Fireflies. With the Starlight Fireflies, you will have starlight, and the Stargate GU can be used regardless of time or location. What? Fang Yuan heard this and his heart pounded, asking quickly, Starlight for Elfies, what are Starlight Fireflies? You don't know about Starlight Fireflies? That's true, they were already extremely rare during the immemorial era, and were extinct during the Olden Era. When the immemorial 9 heavens were still around, most of the Starlight Fireflies lived in Orange Heaven. Land Spirit exposed another ancient secret. Fang Yuan was disappointed. Since it is extinct, there's no need to mention it. The so-called extinct is merely in the mortal realm. Recently, I saw a swarm of Starlight Firelight when making a transaction in Treasure Yellow Heaven. I think it belongs to Star Lord Wan Shang. Land Spirit recalled. Really? Fang Yuan's eyes were shining. The reason he exchanged for Connecting Heaven GU and Divine Sense GU were so that he could impersonate a GU Immortal and make transactions in Treasure Yellow Heaven, to obtain resources and stop his reliance on Immortal Crane sect. Land Spirit's words greatly increased his interest in the Starlight Fireflies. Fang Yuan's eyes rolled, laughing craftily. Land Spirit, I still have many recipes here, but I only want Starlight Fireflies. Land Spirit shook its head. I can't exchange that. Why? I do not have Starlight Firefly GU. Land Spirit said as a matter of fact. Fang Yuan said snappily. If you do not have Starlight Firefly GU, can't you use Connecting Heaven GU to buy it in Treasure Yellow Heaven? The Land Spirit looked at Fang Yuan with a weird expression. Why do I have to buy Starlight Firefly GU? If you do not buy Starlight Firefly GU, how are you going to exchange for my recipe? Land Spirit shook its head, adamantly saying, your recipe can only exchange for GU worms I currently have in the Blessed Land. Fang Yuan was speechless. The Land Spirit was rigid, it could not make such compromises. After all, it was not human. As a Land Spirit, it could not make flexible decisions. In the end, after Fang Yuan talked until his lips were about to tear, no progress was made. The Land Spirit only followed the rules. Fang Yuan could only stop his attempt, but suddenly he had a thought. Wait, you said you will only exchange for GU that are currently in your blessed land. Yes. Fang Yuan licked his dry lips. Then I'll use my Immortal GU recipe to exchange for your heavenly primeval treasure Imperial Lotus, is that okay? Chapter 463 Fang Yuan's Awkwardness. Chapter 463, Fang Yuan's Awkwardness. Heavenly Essence Treasure Imperial Lotus was AA Rank 6 Immortal GU, but it was not a natural GU, instead was invented by Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable. Rank 3 Heavenly Essence Treasure Lotus, Rank 4 Heavenly Essence Treasure Monarch Lotus and Rank 5 Heavenly Essence Treasure King Lotus could produce primeval essence, giving an enormous help in a GU Master's primeval essence recovery. Rank 6 and above Heavenly Essence Treasure Imperial Lotus, however, produced immortal essence and had extremely huge use. Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable relied on this GU to become the person with the most abundant immortal essence among Rank 9 GU Immortals in all history. After Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable died, his Heavenly Essence Treasure Imperial Lotus was protected with layers of security, becoming a famous treasure in the world. However, after dozen of years, an extremely daring Rank 7 GU Immortal stole it. This rank 7 GU Immortal was the Venerable after Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable, the one who became the heavenly thief, thieving heaven demon Venerable. After thieving heaven demon Venerable died, this heavenly essence treasure Imperial Lotus was also destroyed. Long Hair Ancestor had many interactions with thieving heaven demon Venerable, and after the demon Venerable went missing for hundreds of years, Long Hair Ancestor tried to refine the GU. Finally, he succeeded in refining a rank 6 heavenly essence treasure Imperial Lotus. Later, he developed a preference for it and advanced it to rank 8 stage. Immortal GU were one of a kind and their names also remained the same. After they advanced to stages beyond rank 6, their names would not change. For example, Heavenly Essence Treasure Imperial Lotus and Spring Autumn Cicada, when they advanced from rank 6 to rank 7, they would still be called Heavenly Essence Treasure Imperial Lotus and Spring Autumn Cicada. After Long Hair Ancestor died, his obsession merged with the heavenly power to form a land spirit. This rank 8 Heavenly Essence Treasure Imperial Lotus also remained in Langya Blessed Land. Langya Blessed Land would later be accidentally discovered by a soul path GU Immortal called Gui Wang, leading the first wave of attacks. The result was that they were captured by the land spirit. However, the news regarding Langya Blessed Land was leaked by Gui Wang and attracted more GU Immortals. Later, a second wave of attacks came, and later, the third wave and so on. During the seventh wave, the Heavenly Court dispatched several rank 7 GU Immortals who brought Immortal GU to the mortal realm. After a tragic battle, Langya Blessed Land finally collapsed while the GU Immortals also suffered disastrous losses. Feng Juzhe died in this battle. However, Langya Blessed Land's great number of recipes were taken by the Heavenly Court. Central Continent's strength thus rose sharply, and with just their strength, they attacked the 4 great regions. With his previous life's memories, Fang Yuan was clear of the future development. At this moment, when Fang Yuan suddenly mentioned the use of Immortal GU recipe to exchange for Heavenly Essence Treasure Imperial Lotus, the land spirit refused without hesitation. This is not possible. Heavenly Essence Treasure Imperial Lotus can produce immortal essence. It is the reason why I can defend against the calamities and tribulations. At the same time, I need to use these immortal essence to refine GU. Heavenly Essence Treasure Imperial Lotus is non-exchangeable. Is that so? Fang Yuan nodded with some disappointment since he had some expectations. However, the land spirit's next sentence ignited his hope again. However, I have other immortal GU here. What recipe do you have? Rank 7 recipe can only be exchanged for rank 6 immortal GU. Rank 8 recipe can be exchanged for rank 7 or rank 6 immortal GU. Fang Yuan's eyes let out a bright light. He knew Langya Blessed Land had a rank 7 beast enslavement GU. This immortal GU could subdue any wild beast in the world, including mutated beasts, myriad beast emperor, even desolate beasts and ancient desolate beasts. Long Hair Ancestor used this GU to subdue many desolate beasts, including several ancient desolate beasts whom he buried under the 12 cloud buildings. With these desolate beasts' protection, the whole Langya Blessed Land became a fortified castle and was able to resist till the 6th wave of GU Immortals' crazed attack, and finally fell at the 7th wave. This beast enslavement GU is extremely important to the Blessed Land. The land spirit definitely won't exchange it. But Long Hair Ancestor has refined many immortal GU. He definitely had more than just beast enslavement GU and Heavenly Essence Treasure Imperial Lotus. Fang Yuan felt a rush, and after thinking for a moment, he began to write a recipe. The old land spirit looked from the side with his hands behind his back. After observing for a while, he started laughing. This is the second aperture goose recipe, right? You have this recipe too? Fang Yuan stopped writing. Of course, I have countless recipes here, including thousands of immortal GU recipes. The land spirit said proudly. Such wealth, I see why even the Heavenly Court decided to attack. Fang Yuan's eyes flashed as he sighed inwardly. In that case, he contemplated and started writing on another paper. He was writing the recipe for the rank 6 blood deity. The land spirit's eyes immediately let out a bright light when he saw the start of the recipe. But the light gradually dimmed. When Fang Yuan had written the third line, the land spirit said, although your blood path recipe might be amazing, it is only a remnant recipe. Even though some parts were patched up, there are many conflicts in the steps, there is a very small chance of successfully refining it. You cannot exchange this recipe for an immortal GU. Fang Yuan let out a sigh. Back then, this blood deity recipe that he obtained was a remnant piece. After his painstaking research and request for other GU immortals to repair it, this current recipe was formed. He knew, however, this recipe was not accurate. The reason why he did not choose to refine blood deity in his previous life was also mainly because of this. Later, through a coincidental opportunity, he obtained the accurate recipe for spring-autumn cicada. Thereupon, he abandoned the blood deity to refine spring-autumn cicada. However, spring-autumn cicada involved his greatest secret of rebirth. Even if Langya Blessed Land did not have this recipe, Feng Yuan would not take it out to exchange. He had taken the initiative to expose it in Three Kings Blessed Land because he was in dire straits and wanted to gamble for an overwhelming benefit. However, right now, he was not in a tight spot and thus did not need to take the risk. Since it was like this, Feng Yuan did not continue writing the recipe for the blood deity. The immortal GU recipes he knew was only about a dozen. But most of them was remnant recipes. Blood deity's recipe was already the best of these remnant recipes. He only had 2 intact and correct immortal GU recipes, second aperture GU and spring-autumn cicada. However, Langya Blessed Land already had the recipe of the former while Feng Yuan did not dare to expose the latter. Feng Yuan fell into silence and after thinking for a while, he asked, Land Spirit, can I use rank 5 recipe to exchange for a Stargate GU? The Land Spirit shook his head, no. You can only exchange for the GU worms that I currently have. Feng Yuan was unresigned and asked, Land Spirit, could it be that you don't want to refine Stargate GU? This is a completely new GU we are talking about here. Of course I want to. Although it is not suitable for me to use, I can put it in Treasure Yellow Heaven to sell. But I can refine it whenever I want to, and I am not certain when I will do it. The Land Spirit suddenly reacted. He showed his intelligence at this time. Little friend, you are Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable's inheritor. You have 3 opportunities to ask me to refine GU. But if you want to refine Immortal GU, whether it succeeds or fails, it will be counted as 1 chance. If you want to refine Mortal GU, I will definitely make you the GU. If you want the Stargate GU, I can refine it successfully for you. The Land Spirit proposed. Feng Yuan suddenly realized that there were these small details. No wonder Ma Hongyun chose to refine 3 rank 5 GU. At that time, when he fell into this place, he was only a mortal and might not know the value of a immortal GU. Moreover, a mortal body cannot use a mortal GU. Thus, he refined 3 rank 5 GU that could immediately increase his battle strength. After returning to the outside world, he turned the tide around, gathering his troops again and turned defeat into victory. When Ma Hongyun later became a GU immortal, he realized how precious the opportunity in Langya Blessed Land was. Unfortunately, he could only regret at that time. Ma Hongyun's awkwardness became Feng Yuan's awkwardness too. Feng Yuan was only a mortal now, even if he got an immortal GU, he could not use it. Little Hu Land Spirit could use immortal GU, but whether it was Whole Earth GU, Connecting Heaven GU or Stargate GU, they could not support an immortal GU. That is to say, even if Feng Yuan possessed an immortal GU, he could not send it to Hu Immortal Blessed Land. Moreover, these 3 opportunities to refine immortal GU also had a precondition, that is Feng Yuan had to provide the recipes for them. If there was an error in the recipe, the refinement would fail. Immortal GU were the only one of its kind. If someone else already possessed that immortal GU, the refinement would fail then as well. According to the Land Spirit's words, if the immortal GU refinement fails, 1 opportunity would be lost. Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable could refine 6 immortal GU at that time. One reason was because Long-Hair Ancestor was arrogant and refused to fail intentionally, and another reason was Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable was brimming with talent with formidable ability and had made sufficient preparation and made use of every opportunity, causing Long-Hair Ancestor to lose great amounts of precious and rare GU refinement materials 6 times. Now, Long-Hair Ancestor was dead and had turned into a Land Spirit, although he would not play tricks when refining Immortal GU for Feng Yuan. He was after all a Land Spirit and not Long-Hair Ancestor himself, thus his ability in GU refinement was greatly reduced. In that case, do I waste 1 precious opportunity to refine a Stargate GU? Feng Yuan fell into deep contemplation. According to common sense, these 3 opportunities should be sufficiently exploited to refine 3 immortal GU like Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable did back in the day. However, Feng Yuan had huge problems in doing so. Firstly, he did not have immortal GU recipes. Secondly, he did not have the ability of Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable, and could not guarantee the success of Immortal GU's refinement. If the refinement failed, it would mean 1 chance wasted. It was worse than refining a rank 5 GU. The final crucial point was that he was only immortal and could not use Immortal GU. Although Immortal GU had a very high value, it was of no help to him and would instead attract disaster. It would be worse than a rank 5 GU. Even rank 5 GU was not suitable for Fang Yuan. With Fang Yuan's current situation in Northern Plains, using rank 4 was the best. Of course, I can leave these 3 opportunities for now. Anyway, I have already obtained the opportunities. Even if Ma Hongyun came personally or that thieving heaven demon Venerable's inheritor appears, there would be no effect. However, I truly need Stargate GU at present. Fang Yuan was hesitating and felt that he was in an awkward position. His current strength path cultivation only had 30 Jun of strength. He urgently needed GU worms to reform his skin and flesh. In terms of enslavement path cultivation, there was a great burden in feeding the wolf group, and without a tribe to support them, he could only maintain around 30,000 wolves by himself. In terms of soul, the wolfman's soul was already formed. He could go to Danghun Mountain and use Guts GU to strengthen it. In terms of cultivation, he fulfilled the conditions to break through, but because of the region's suppression, he could not break through to rank 5 right now. His current situation was like a chess player with all the chess pieces in places where they could not be moved. He was stuck in a deadlock, facing a huge bottleneck. Translator's thoughts. Chibi General, what would Uther do? One more chapter later. Chapter 464, either eternal life or shit. Chapter 464. Either eternal life or shit. If there were no external influences and Fang Yuan could just rely on his own strength, he would be able to accumulate strength and break through when the opportunity comes. However, because of spring-autumn cicada, what he lacked was time. Not only that, if he wasted time and could not make it to some opportunities, the advantage of his rebirth would also be gone. These 3 chances are indeed very precious. Although blindly saving these chances for the future may give the impression that I will be able to make full use of these opportunities, it will in fact delay my growth. Specific situations need specific analysis. I cannot blindly follow thieving heaven demon Venerable's example, but Ma Hongyun's choices also wasted these 3 chances. After deep and careful contemplation, Fang Yuan made his decision. Land Spirit, I have thought it through. Fang Yuan spoke slowly. This time, my request is for you to refine Stargate GU. As for the remaining 2 chances, I will leave it for later. You really want me to refine Stargate GU? You need to know you are giving up a precious chance to refine Immortal GU. Maybe, you can take a gamble and use that recipe for Blood Deity. Land Spirit instead tried to persuade Fang Yuan. He liked recipes to an extreme degree. Blood Deity's recipe might be damaged, but he still wanted to collect it. Fang Yuan shook his head. When he decided on something, he would not hesitate. No, refine Stargate GU. Alright, there is no strongest GU worm in this world, only a GU worm that is most suitable for oneself. You can't use Immortal GU, but looks like this Stargate GU is extremely useful to you. I will refine this GU for you. The Land Spirit Grandpa then willed as he teleported 5 GU Immortals over. Among these 5 GU Immortals, one was very ugly, one had a ruddy face, one wore blue clothes, one wore yellow garments and one wore pink skirt. They were Gui Wang's group. They attacked Langya Blessed Land, throwing in their green grape immortal essence to expend Langya Blessed Land's white lychee immortal essence. However, the result was that the Land Spirit had intentionally shown weakness in order to capture all of them. Langya Blessed Land had rank 8 Heavenly Essence Treasure Imperial Lotus and would never lack white lychee immortal essence. Gui Wang and the group did not have an immortal GU, thus the Land Spirit enticed them into the Blessed Land. It waited till these 5 rushed into the cloud buildings before confining their rank 5 GU. Gui Wang and the rest realized the situation was bad, promptly using all their immortal essence, but they could not compare to the Langya Land Spirit. The Land Spirit did not use even a single desolate beast to capture these 5 immortals. Having cultivated to this stage, the 5 immortals knew to adapt to the circumstances and immediately chose to save their lives by submitting to the Land Spirit. After finding themselves teleported over, they soon reacted and bowed to the Land Spirit, greeting together. Subordinates greet Lord Langya Land Spirit. The Land Spirit stroked his snow-white beard, recovering his sagely demeanor just like when Fang Yue first saw him. This is Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable's inheritor Chong Shanyin, greet him. Land Spirit introduced Fang Yuan. Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable's inheritor. The 5 immortals looked at each other, clearly seeing the shock in each other's eyes. Their contempt towards Fang Yuan because of his mortal identity immediately disappeared. Who was Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable? He was a rank 9 GU immortal. Since immemorial era to remote antiquity era, olden antiquity era, medieval antiquity era, early antiquity era to present age, only around 10 venerable level GU immortals had appeared in human history. An inheritor of a rank 9 GU immortal. This identity shocked the 5 immortals before this shock turned into envy and jealousy. Why don't I have such luck to become an inheritor? This kid's luck is too good, simply too heaven-defying. He actually became Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable's inheritor. Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable had set up many inheritances. It is rumored that his greatest inheritance is in Space Cave. I wonder how many inheritances did he get? The 5 immortals' thoughts surged rapidly while they greeted Fang Yuan. The act of GU immortals greeting mortals was like an elephant kowtowing to an ant. But the 5 immortals did not feel any humiliation. Meanwhile, Fang Yuan was extremely indifferent. Even if a rank 9 GU immortal kowtowed to him, he would not feel any honor. If the roles were reversed, even if he had to beg and kneel to a mortal, he would not feel any humiliation. In his eyes, all that would eventually die were equal. The only difference was whether they died early or late. Be it those with status and social class, whether they were nobles or peasants, they were nothing more than a group of fools waiting to die. All of them live in a fake world with self-imposed rules. By comparing the lives of each other, a portion of these fools would feel that they were living a great life. In truth, those fools who think of themselves as nobles or aristocrats were only deceiving themselves. And those fools who think of themselves as lowly are even more pitiful. Are kings given their high status upon birth? All living beings are born equal. Why should one bow to others? There is only immortality, only eternal life should be the goal one should pursue. If one cannot live forever, is there any difference between a rank 9 GU immortal and a pile of shit in the gutter? I am a huge fool, but I do not wish to be a fool that is made of shit. There was no way to express such mental behavior and aspirations to others, and even more importantly Fang Yuan did not want to express them. Fang Yuan indifferently accepted the greetings of the 5 immortals, then looked at Langya Land Spirit. Land Spirit, are you not going to personally refine the GU? Of course I will personally refine it, but having these 5 as support can be considered making use of trash. Land Spirit snickered. Being called trash and also being disregarded by Fang Yuan caused these 5 immortals' expressions to turn unsightly. Rage was burning in them, but they were captives right now and they could not flare out. They could only helplessly hold in this anger and listen to the Land Spirit's commands. However, the first try at GU refinement by former long-hair ancestor who turned into a Land Spirit, along with the help of 5 immortals, ended up in failure. HMPH, this Stargate GU is rather difficult. There was no mistakes from me, but rather the refinement itself has only a fixed success rate. The Land Spirit explained and said to Fang Yuan, don't worry, Stargate GU is only rank 5, I will definitely complete the refinement for you. Hee, I will be waiting. Fang Yuan lied down on the cloud bed with no hurry. The time flow in Langya Blessed Land was 36 times faster than the outside world. Over a month here would only be a day in outside world. The Land Spirit had inherited long-hair ancestors' arrogance and his temperament became bad when he failed. He glanced at Fang Yuan and saw that he had already finished drinking the cloud mist tea. He casually pointed to an immortal. You. Clumsy and having breasts for brains, I don't need you to refine the GU, go make tea for my little friend. The female immortal who was scolded and ordered was Fairy Huangsha. She was furious, but did not dare to flare up as her life was in Langya Land Spirit's hands. She could only bite her lips and forcibly restrain her anger to steep tea for Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan, however, said, I don't like to drink tea, do you have wine here? I only like drinking top-quality wine, there should be some in your Grand Langya Blessed Land, right? HMPH, why would there not be? Celestial Horse Wine and Destitute Wine, both are top-quality wine, which one do you want to drink? Bring out both of them for me to taste. Fang Yuan said without batting an eyelid. Thereupon, Fairy Huangsha became Fang Yuan's serving maid. The Celestial Horse Wine was milky white and gave off a thick fragrance of milk, it tasted silky, mellow and soft. Destitute Wine did not have any special color, looking like clear soup, and did not have even a bit of wine fragrance, it also tasted flavorless. However, the after effect was extremely strong, usually only one mouthful would be enough to make one completely drunk for 7-8 days. Taking advantage of the Land Spirit refining GU, Fang Yuan just took a light sip before openly storing these 2 vats of wine in Wolf Swallow GU. The second GU refinement attempt also failed. The Land Spirit's expression became even more unsightly as he howled. HMPH, I don't believe it, I will continue. The Land Spirit naturally sensed Fang Yuan storing the wine, but right now because of his self-respect, he chose to ignore it. Young master, please be merciful and save this servant. Looking at the Land Spirit and the rest going for third attempt at GU refinement, Fairy Huangsha implored to Fang Yuan with a soft and weeping voice. Her skin was white and tender, like a lychee whose skin had just been removed. Her eyebrows were bluish-black, her eyes were like a lake hiding an amorous gaze. Her breasts were very big and her waist was thin, her figure was endlessly seductive and one could even say it could shock heart and soul. Right now, as she talked with eyes that had tears in them, let alone men, even women would be moved. If you can save this servant, I am willing to serve you for my whole life and follow your orders. Fairy Huangsha implored again with soft voice. This was a pleading from a female Gu immortal. If it were any other mortal men, they would already be extremely moved and their little brother would furiously rise up. Men all had a desire to conquer, especially if it was conquering a noble woman. But Fang Yuan did not even glance at her. These 5 immortals were all cannon fodder in his past life, they all died in Langya blessed land. They paid a proper price for their greed and impulse. Although Fairy Huangsha was beautiful, she was no different from a pile of dung in the gutter in Fang Yuan's mind. But if I cannot obtain immortality, I am also a pile of shit in the gutter he. Fang Yuan sneered in his mind. Fairy Huangsha was about to plead again. She had complete confidence in her beauty, and right now she had a feeling that this person might be her only chance to escape with her life. However, how could she know Fang Yuan was even more abnormal than Langya land spirit? You are too noisy, get lost. Fang Yuan directly kicked the half-leaning delicate body of Fairy Huangsha. Fairy Huangsha fell down on the floor, she was baffled and could not react for a long while. She was actually rejected. Is he not a man? A strong sense of humiliation struck her proud heart, causing her face to become twisted and her gaze towards Fang Yuan filled with extreme resentment. He. Fang Yuan scoffed, got off the cloud bed and walked towards Fairy Huangsha, then he lifted his foot in front of her face. A dull sound was heard, Fairy Huangsha was kicked over and her head struck the floor, producing another heavy dull sound. Her rank 5 Gu worms were all taken away. Under the situation where her immortal essence was used up and was under Langya blessed land's suppression as well, how could she be Fang Yuan's match? Fairy Huangsha's lungs were about to burst with anger, her incisor tooth had broken from the KCK, causing her mouth to fill with blood. She let out a deep growl and her expression turned malevolent. Compared to her weeping and pitiful look just before, they looked like 2 completely different person. HMPH, how can mere beauty entice me? If you look at me one more time, do you believe I will not smash all your teeth? Fang Yuan's dark and deep pupils shone with cruelty. Fairy Huangsha's delicate body shuddered, she tightly clenched her fists and seemed to exhaust all her strength to stand up. But she lowered her head in the end and did not look at Fang Yuan again. At the other side, Stargate Gu's refinement failed again. The land spirit stomped his foot in anger, his expression turning even worse. He was aware of the situation with Fairy Huangsha. He approached Fang Yuan and smiled. Little friend, please don't get angry. I just captured this little thing, so haven't had the time to teach them properly. You can play with her if you want, make her dance or strip her clothes or do anything you want. Materials have been used up, I will go buy them. Hearing these words, Fairy Huangsha seemed to have fallen into an ice hole. An intense feeling of humiliation surged in her heart like a tide. Make me strip my clothes and dance. This proposal made her feel incomparably cold and afraid. Since young till now, she had never received such treatment. A grand Gu immortal being played with, Fairy Huangsha felt it would be better to die instead. Gui Wang and Loner Hong Yu at the side seemed to have been stimulated as they licked their dry lips and looked at Fairy Huangsha with burning gaze. The 2 who were normally close to Fairy Huangsha like sisters, Fairy Fenmeng and Fairy Qing Suo, remained silent as if they had not heard anything. As the tragedy was about to unfold, Fang Yuan sneered, strip her clothes, make her dance. No need, what meaning is there in that? Lust, desire to conquer, HMPH, nothing but pointless urges. What I am interested in now is only Stargate GU. Chapter 465 The night sky is really beautiful. Chapter 465 The night sky is really beautiful. Gui Wang and Loner Hong Yu were very disappointed. Fairy Qing Suo and Fairy Fenmeng let out a breath of turbid air, their expressions were complex. The heavy stone in Fairy Huangsha's heart fell and her body completely relaxed, almost falling down to the ground. The hatred in her heart towards Fang Yuan and the land spirit deepened by several times. As long as I can escape, as long as I can make a comeback, I will cut your bodies into 1,000 pieces to relieve this hatred in my heart. Little friend is indeed worthy of being a demon Venerable's inheritor. The land spirit let out a forced laughter and took out connecting heaven Gu. This connecting heaven Gu turned into a round mirror when it was activated and flew to the top of the land spirit and stayed there. The scene of pitch darkness in the mirror suddenly changed, letting out a bright yellow light. The land spirit activated Divine Sense GU. Divine Sense was transmitted into the mirror in waves after waves, and exchanged with other waves of Divine Sense. At the same time, the surface of the mirror continuously changed and showed pictures of all kinds of materials. The land spirit seemed to have already made an agreement. He took out 2 immortal essence stones out of nowhere and threw into the connecting heaven GU. The surface of the mirror seemed to ripple. The immortal essence stones went into the mirror and materials were spurted out by the mirror one after another. This time, I have bought 20 sets of materials. I don't believe the refinement won't succeed. The land spirit said fiercely. The GU refinement began again, and at the final stage, bright starlight converged to become a pair of oval stones. Success! The land spirit laughed heartily and handed these 2 oval blue gemstone-like GU worms to Fang Yuan. This is Stargate GU, I have finished the agreement. How do I know if it works or not? Fang Yuan held this pair of Stargate GU and asked. The land spirit fumed in anger as if it had received a great insult. Are you doubting my GU refinement ability? You can exchange it if it won't do. Alright, I shall take my leave then. Fang Yuan was extremely straightforward and expressed his intent to leave. The land spirit fiercely stared at his eyes, leaving just like that. Then the remaining 2 chances, you won't use them now. I am saving them for now. Where is the exit? The land spirit waved his hand, teleporting the 5 immortals away. His expression then greatly eased. What recipes do you have now? Write them all out and let me look. None left. If I had any, I would have exchanged them with you. Fang Yuan shirked. I have a feeling, little friend, you have something good still left. The land spirit looked at Fang Yuan doubtfully and mumbled, all right then, I shall wait for your return. The land spirit then waved his sleeve. Fang Yuan's vision blurred, and when it cleared, he saw he was back at the stone forest. Beside him was the stone stool he sat at before, and behind was that purple stone pillar. The stars shone brightly at the sky, the temperature was low and one could see their breath coming out. Everything before seemed like a dream, causing Fang Yuan to feel like it was all a lifelike illusion. He looked at the sky. He had spent quite some time in Langya Blessed Land, but only 1/36 of that time had passed in the outside world. Stargate GU, Divine Sense GU, Connecting Heaven GU and the 2 small vat of top-quality wine in Wolf Swallow GU were clear evidences that allowed Fang Yuan to recall this fortuitous encounter. I had intended to use all the 3 chances, but who knew I could use recipes to exchange for GU, thus I still have 2 chances left. If this Stargate GU can be used, it would make spending a GU refinement chance worth it. Fang Yuan thought of this as he left the place and returned to the wolf group. This was a time where he had to make use of every second to prevent causing any complications. Fang Yuan sat cross-legged at the grassy land under the protection of the Wolf Kings and began writing a letter. The letter was soon finished. He then activated Moving Perspective Cup GU. After a moment, the Moving Perspective Cup exchanged with the other one through the space cave, and Fang Yuan took out a rank 4 GU and a letter from it. This GU was like a dried fish, named Dried Pond GU, and was a water path GU worm with a special effect. It is used to boost the effects of other GU worms. Once this GU arrived in Northern Plains, it was immediately suppressed to rank 3. Fang Yuan browsed through the letter and nodded in satisfaction. During these days when I was not at the Blessed Land, it seems Little Who Immortal had been extremely diligent and did not forget the task I gave before I left, refining 20 dried pond GU. Great. Fang Yuan then sent another letter including several praises towards Little Who Immortal. Master praised me, I am so happy. Little Who Immortal's face flushed with happiness after she read the letter. Master, I miss you. Little Who Immortal lied down on the table and started writing. When Master is not here, I feel anxious. Master, are you okay? I am sending another dried pond GU there. Little Who Immortal used her delicate small hand to fold the letter properly before putting it into Moving Perspective Cup GU. At the same time, she also added a dried pond GU. After a good while, Moving Perspective Cup GU leisurely flew up and entered Space Cave, exchanging with the other Moving Perspective Cup and appearing before Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan immediately took out the dried pond GU and glanced at the letter. Then he absorbed primeval stones to recover his primeval essence before activating Moving Perspective Cup GU again. After repeating this over and over, he received a total of 8 dried pond GU. If I use the 8 dried pond GU together, their effects should stack up and match a rank 4 level. Fang Yuan crushed these dried pond GU on the spot. The dried pond GU turned into 8 halos which twisted around Moving Perspective Cup GU. At the same time, on Who Immortal Blessed Land, Little Who Immortal also crushed 8 dried pond GU and overlaid them on Moving Perspective Cup GU. Moving Perspective Cup GU was a rank 5 GU, but in Northern Plains, it was suppressed to rank 4. Thus, it could only transport rank 4 GU worms. Now, after using 8 dried pond GU, Moving Perspective Cup GU's ability advanced to rank 5 and could transport rank 5 GU. Fang Yuan waited for a while before taking out Connecting Heaven GU and gravely put it in Moving Perspective Cup GU, then transferred his primeval essence. After successful activation, the two Moving Perspective Cup completed their exchange in Space Cave and the cup with Connecting Heaven GU appeared in Hu Immortal Blessed Land. Little Hu Immortal cheered and took out the Connecting Heaven GU. Tiny cracks appeared on Moving Perspective Cup GU. Although dried pond GU could amplify a GU worm's ability, it was like draining the pond to get the fish or burning the forest to hunt. Although it greatly raised the power, the GU worm would perish because of the excessively forced power-up. Next, Fang Yuan sent Divine Sense GU to Hu Immortal Blessed Land, and the cracks on Moving Perspective Cup GU intensified. Fang Yuan silently took out primeval stones and quickly replenished his primeval essence. He then sent one blue gemstone of the Stargate GU to Hu Immortal Blessed Land. Fortunately, Stargate GU was not an immortal GU, but a rank 5 GU, allowing Fang Yuan to be barely able to use Moving Perspective Cup GU to send it to Hu Immortal Blessed Land. After the Stargate GU was sent to the Blessed Land, Moving Perspective Cup GU had already become deformed with cracks all over it and was on the verge of collapse. At this point, it could still be used for one last time. Fang Yuan stored the Moving Perspective Cup GU in his aperture and did not use it again. He was waiting now. Moving Perspective Cup GU had been refined by him and possessed his will. But he had already lent it to Little Hu Immortal, thus she could also use it. The several times before were all him using Moving Perspective Cup GU. It was because Hu Immortal Blessed Land's time flow was several times faster than at Northern Plains. If Little Hu Immortal recklessly activated it from the Blessed Land, it was very possible Fang Yuan would not have been prepared. Puff, it is up to Little Hu Immortal now. If she fails, she will have to send another Moving Perspective Cup GU for the final use. Hopefully, she can succeed. Before Fang Yuan left, he had refined only one set of Moving Perspective Cup GU. But he had reminded Little Hu Immortal. For a period of time, Little Hu Immortal and Immortal Crane Sect had made several transactions and exchanged many GU refinement materials, and had already refined the second set of Moving Perspective Cup GU. Time was becoming somewhat difficult to endure. Whether it was Connecting Heaven GU or Divine Sense GU, they were both rank 5 GU and had an extremely huge demand for primeval essence. Even a rank 5 peak stage GU master might only be able to last for several breaths. Thus, usually only GU immortals or land spirits would consume immortal's essence to use them. As for why Fang Yuan did not activate Moving Perspective Cup GU at Langya Blessed Land, it was because he did not want to expose them. If it was exposed, the Langya land spirit would definitely demand for its recipe. Minutes ticked by, and with several times the speed at Hu Immortal Blessed Land. The chilly night wind made Fang Yuan slightly restless. He stood up and began to pace around. The sky was filled with many stars, providing sufficient starlight. The Stargate GU in Fang Yuan's hand, however, had no movement. Did it fail? Was that group of Starlight Firefly GU a treasure yellow heaven bought by someone else? As time passed by, Fang Yuan's heart continued to sink. He stopped pacing about and stood on the spot for a long while with his hands behind his back. He gazed afar. Crescent Lake sparkled with light and tranquilness. The wolf group beside him, some were standing and some were lying down, all with different postures. He could not help thinking back to that scene when he went to capture the liquor worm at Qingmao Mountain. He broke out in laughter, his worries gone and his gaze once more became unclouded. All the worries, all the pressure, all the impatience since the start till now dispersed with the wind. He gazed at the night sky and breathed out all the turbid air in him, and suddenly felt that his current life was so beautiful, giving everything to pursue the greatest goal, having no regrets. He came to an understanding. His heart was clear like a mirror that could not be stained by dust, tranquil like this Crescent Lake. Since his rebirth at Qingmao Mountain, he had always been exhausting his mind, and now he suddenly understood something. This comprehension was unclear as it lingered around his heart before finally turning into a sentence. He mumbled, "The night sky is really beautiful." This was his heartfelt emotion. The moment he said these words, Fang Yuan's body lightened and felt he had unloaded 1,000 jin of weight, as if he was about to fly. His entire disposition also seemed to have changed. The cold aura disappeared without a trace, turning into a clear and carefree aura. The dark pupils with abysmal depths let out a clear light now, just like a newborn baby or like a star. The Stargate GU in his hand slightly shook at this moment and the shaking intensified. Fang Yuan opened his hand. The blue gemstone-like Stargate GU leisurely flew in the air, large amounts of starlight gathered and condensed towards it. The scene was beautiful and dreamy. In an instant, the starlight formed into an enormous oval door. Stargate GU had succeeded. Fang Yuan calmly watched it, the corner of his lips slightly curled up into a smile, but his eyes were still calm as water. He unhurriedly stepped into the Stargate, the starlight in front of him turned into a whirlpool and flew away with his body. After a dozen or so breaths of time, he walked out of the Stargate and appeared in Immortal blessed land. Master, you are back. Little Immortal was extremely happy as she leapt into Fang Yuan's chest. Fang Yuan chuckled and rubbed the land spirit's tiny head. Yes, I am back. He gently said. Chapter 466 There is nothing that cannot be sold. Chapter 466. There is nothing that cannot be sold. After several months, Fang Yuan finally returned to Immortal blessed land. The little Immortal land spirit became very excited upon his return. The flow of time inside of the Immortal land was 5 times faster compared to the outside world. While Fang Yuan had only spent a few months in northern plains, to her, it had already been a year. Fang Yuan looked at the Stargate behind him. This Stargate, compared to the one in northern plains, was much smaller. It was about the height of a person, and barely allowed Fang Yuan to fit through. The one at the Crescent Lake in northern plains was much taller, and was many times wider. Stargate GU isn't split into main and sub-GU, it consumes too much primeval essence, even a rank 5 peak stage GU master cannot sustain it for 3 breaths time, only immortal essence could allow it to be used continuously. If little Immortal land spirit activates it first, while I hold the other half in my hands and activate it along with her, I will not have to consume primeval essence. However, the Stargate GU's activation not only requires large amount of primeval essence, it also needs a large amount of starlight, in order to form the gate. Northern Plains is one of the 5 regions, stars fill the sky and starlight is abundant. But here in the Immortal blessed land, the starlight is vastly inferior, as the only source comes from the starlight firefly GU. As Fang Yuan was inwardly thought to himself, his gaze rested upon the small swarm of starlight firefly GU that fluttered about in the air. The starlight firefly GU was a rank 3 GU, small in size, almost like a normal firefly, but when they were activated, they emitted genuine azure starlight. This swarm of fireflies originally consisted of more than 500, but because of the activations of the Stargate GU, 32 of them already died. In order to maintain the activated Stargate GU, 1 firefly dies in every 3 breaths time. 500 starlight firefly GU, while it may seem like a large amount, it could not maintain the gate for a long period of time. Because of this, Fang Yuan commanded little Immortal to deactivate the Stargate GU. The Stargate dissipated, and reverted back into a oval sapphire. Little Immortal stretched out her pale and delicate hands, and commanded the precious Stargate GU to return to her. Master, here you go. Little Immortal cupped the Stargate GU with both of her hands, and looked up with her big watery eyes, offering the Stargate GU to Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan gently rubbed her little fox ears, and gave her a soft smile. I'm leaving it with you, so take good care of it. If I need to use it in the future, I will contact you using the moving perspective cup GU. Yes, Master, I'll definitely take good care of it. Little Immortal solemnly put the Stargate GU within the small pocket of her dress, and patted it with her tiny hand. As for the Stargate GU in northern plains, it rested on the grassland, closely guarded by the myriad wolf pack. Master, there are 2 pieces of immortal essence stones left. I listened to your instructions, using the Immortal GU recipe to trade for the Starlight Firefly GU, this is the excess. Little Immortal presented them to him. Normal primeval stones were the size of duck eggs, and were gray in color. Immortal essence stones were also the size of duck eggs, but were not oval in shape, rather, they were round like pearls, and the entire body was glossy, having a translucent and sparkly appearance. They resembled crystals, but had the luster of jade. If normal primeval stones were equated to mortals, then the immortal essence stones could be equated to immortals. Immortal essence stones were extremely precious, as it can be used to replenish immortal essence. In addition, it was also used in transactions between immortals, adopted as a precious currency. In the vast GU world, only the heavenly court could produce immortal essence stones. I see immortal essence stones once again. Fang Yuan smiled with a sigh. These 2 immortal essence stones were incredibly valuable, more valuable than 200 million primeval essence stones. In his previous 500 years, the most number of immortal essence stones Fang Yuan had held at one point in time was merely over 60 pieces. Fang Yuan put away the immortal essence stones. Good, let's return to Danghun Mountain. Little Hu Immortal grew delighted upon hearing this, and quickly held Fang Yuan's hand, and in the next moment they teleported inside Danghun Palace. Quickly activate the connecting heaven GU. Fang Yuan commanded. There was another Stargate GU was in northern plains, he could not relax. Trouble brews as time passes, Fang Yuan should act quickly and efficiently settle the matters of Hu Immortal blessed land. Little Hu Immortal promptly activated the connecting heaven GU. Whole Earth GU, once planted in the blessed land, could no longer be changed. It was the same for connecting heaven GU. Fang Yuan's connecting heaven GU, since it was linked to treasure yellow heaven, it could no longer be altered. Little Hu Immortal consumed a slight amount of immortal essence, and the entire body of the GU worm grew into a round mirror, and floated in the air. Reflected in the mirror was a scene of treasure yellow heaven. The grotto heaven was deserted and absolutely empty, with a lemon-like yellow color dyeing the air slightly. The grotto heaven was devoid of any mountains, vegetation, and animals which were usually found in ordinary grotto heavens. Above blessed lands were grotto heavens. The most famous grotto heaven was recorded within less than greater than, it was the famous immemorial 9 heavens. Verdant Great Sun refined the fixed immortal travel GU, and flew up to the 9 heavens. In azure heaven, he obtained a segment of the green jade bamboo. In blue heaven, he collected the 8-sided diamonds inside the star fragments. The immemorial 9 heavens consisted of white heaven, red heaven, orange heaven, yellow heaven, green heaven, azure heaven, blue heaven, purple heaven, and black heaven. But later, when Renzo's sun caused havoc in heaven and earth, red, orange, yellow, green, azure, blue, and purple, the 7 heavens were destroyed consecutively, and all that remained were white and black heavens, with the 2 alternating between day and night. The treasure yellow heaven was closely related to the yellow heaven of the immemorial 9 heavens. In the medieval antiquity era, a rank 8 GU immortal, known as Taoist Countless Treasures, acquired a fragment of yellow heaven by chance. He fused the fragment into his grotto heaven, and formed treasure yellow heaven. Treasure yellow heaven was a very unique grotto heaven. It was empty without any mountains, trees, or rivers, and there were also no birds, beasts, worms, or fish, there were only precious treasure within. There was a rank 8 immortal GU in treasure yellow heaven, treasure light GU. Rank 1 to rank 3 treasure light GU were everywhere, rank 4 to rank 5 treasure light GU were often held in the hands of large forces. Above rank 5, the treasure light immortal GU, of course, there was only one which was inside treasure yellow heaven. Treasure light GU specialized in assessing the value of an item. The greater the value of the item, the brighter the light of the treasure light GU. In Shangclan City, the battle stage would use the treasure light GU to evaluate the value of their various GU worms, and thus assess the strength of the GU master. The main application of treasure light GU was not merely appraisal, but it could also be used to search for treasure. The range of the treasure light GU was small, and often had to be used in tandem with other GU worms to boost its detection range. In the past, Taoist Countless Treasures used the immortal GU treasure light to find countless number of treasures. As time passed, he gained his reputation and title of Countless Treasures. Little Hu Immortal continuously activated the connecting heaven GU, the image in the mirror changed constantly, as pictures of various objects appeared. GU worms, beast groups, variant humans, vegetation, ore veins, soil, water, quality wine, and other various supplies, all that could be bought was sold. Suddenly, the screen displayed a swarm of starlight firefly GU. Master, this is sold by Starlord Wanshang. Little Hu Immortal Land Spirit used the Divine Sense GU to communicate with the merchant. Starlight Firefly GU cannot reproduce, I need a large amount of ordinary starlight fireflies. Fang Yuan nodded as he said. Little Hu Immortal communicated for a while, then turned to Fang Yuan. Master, Starlord Wanshang said he's not selling. Fang Yuan was not upset, but instead chuckled. Hee, there is nothing that cannot be sold in this world. Not selling merely means the price isn't high enough, the benefits are not enough to entice them. As he spoke, he recalled the remnant recipes of a few immortal GU, he wrote them down on a piece of cowhide, and threw it into the connecting heaven GU. The cowhide was completely ordinary, but because it recorded the remnant recipes of immortal GU, it was invaluable. Once it passed through the connecting heaven GU and arrived at treasure yellow heaven, all of the cowhide pieces showed 3 to 9 meters of treasure light. This treasure light was rainbow-colored, a beautiful mix of purple and red. It was exceptionally beautiful. Inform him that the price is negotiable. Fang Yuan gave a bright smile, and informed little Hu Immortal. He wasn't afraid of Starlord Wan Zhang's refusal. Immortal GU were incomparably enticing to GU Immortals. Although they were just remnant recipes, they were still often in high demand without ample supply. Looking at those GU Immortals who had lived for a long time and had great foundations, which one of them did not have tens of Immortal GU remnant recipes in their hands? But these remnant recipes were rarely sold. Similar or closely related Immortal GU remnant recipes, when combined with each other, would often allow the actual recipe to be discovered. After the Immortal GU were refined using the recipe, no one else would be able to create them. Because of this, the Immortal GU remnant recipes were rarely traded. Even if they were sold, it would be to exchange remnant recipes for remnant recipes. Earlier, Fang Yuan had only given the most lacking recipe that he could remember. The treasure light only glowed for 1 meter, and Starlord Wan Shang gave him a swarm of starlight fireflies and 2 immortal essence stones in exchange. Now, with so many secret recipes, the treasure light was at least 3 meters. Starlord Wan Shang had to be moved. These remnant recipes, once sent in, attracted countless gazes within treasure yellow heaven. A large number of divine senses were immediately sent over. Little Hu Immortal had to use the divine sense GU until her little cheeks turned pale. Master, so many GU Immortals have sent their divine senses over, asking for the price for these remnant recipes. Fang Yuan gave a laugh. Send a message over, tell them, each of these recipes can be sold, but they have to queue up one by one. Tell them about the starlight firefly, demand at least 100,000. Little Hu Immortal sent her divine sense over, and immediately, someone called. Fairy Yao Guang, a female GU Immortal, said that she nurtured a large number of starlight fireflies in her blessed land, and wished to exchange. Fang Yuan smiled. As expected, Starlord Wan Shang also changed his attitude, repeatedly approaching him with offers. A third GU Immortal, calling himself Di Yuan, said he possessed a large number of starlight fireflies. Fang Yuan paused for a short while, and when he did not see another GU Immortal making an offer, he could help but let out a sigh of sorrow. These starlight fireflies were immemorial creatures. By the present age, only a small amount were still around. With competitors, everything became easier. Fang Yuan stayed silent, and let the 3 immortals bid against each other. This was an undisguised scheme, but how could there be any morons who cultivated to the level of GU Immortal? The 3 immortals did not bid against each other aggressively, instead they negotiated properly, each offering 33,000 starlight fireflies. The 3 groups of starlight fireflies entered the connecting heaven GU respectively, each emitting a treasure light. Among them, Fairy Yao Guang's group of fireflies emitted the most feeble light, only 3 meters in length. Di Yuan's fireflies emitted a treasure light of 5.5 meters, while Starlord Wan Zhang's fireflies emitted the most powerful light, 7 meters in length. This was because there were many starlight firefly GU mixed in with his group of fireflies. It seemed this Starlord Wan Shang nurtured a lot of starlight fireflies. I remember now, originally after the Stargate GU appeared, Starlord Wan Shang acted quickly and relied on selling starlight fireflies GU to earn a large amount of immortal essence stones. Fang Yuan suddenly recalled this bit of information. 500 years of memories contained too much information, many details were not clear, but upon seeing this, his originally obscure memory became clearer. After the appearance of the Stargate GU, the price of Starlight Firefly GU also rose like a boat riding the tide. In the future, the Treasure Yellow Heaven would not even sell Starlight Firefly swarms anymore, but only sold Starlight Firefly GU. GU worms cannot reproduce, but only ordinary insects had that capability. Immediately, Fang Yuan traded 3 recipes, and obtained over 100,000 starlight fireflies. As long as he bred them carefully afterwards, Fang Yuan would be able to produce his own starlight firefly GU and not need to pay an exorbitant price to purchase them in the future. Chapter 467. Chapter 467, Wisdom Path. Despite having purchased over 100,000 starlight fireflies, the trade was far from over. Fang Yuan also needed to take care of the issue of feeding these insects. Starlight fireflies consume star fragment grass. I happen to have a large amount of star fragment grass on me, I can sell them to you. Starlord Wan Shang conveyed his thoughts using divine sense. I need the seeds as well as your farming knowledge. Let's look at the treasure light intensity first. Fang Yuan spoke through Little Hu Immortal, who relayed the information to Starlord Wan Shang, Fairy Yao Guang, and Di Yuan using divine sense. Soon, 3 documents entered into treasure yellow heaven, each giving off a strong treasure light. This time, instead of Starlord Wanshang, it was Fairy Yao Guang's document which had the greatest treasure light, at nearly 2 meters tall. I am most fond of growing grass. I deliberately migrated a small swarm of starlight fireflies for the production of star fragment grass. If you follow my instructions, you will definitely not suffer losses. Fairy Yao Guang conveyed with her divine sense. Fang Yuan contemplated. Originally he had already forgotten about it. After all, in his previous life, he had had no use for and had never used the Stargate GU. Now, through the successive reminders from Langyao Land Spirit, connecting Heaven GU, and Starlord Wanshang, his brain gradually began to recall more distinct memories. In his memories, once Stargate GU came into the limelight, everything related to Starlight Firefly GU became secret, not a single person wanted to sell information. Now that Langyao Land Spirit had obtained Stargate GU's recipe, perhaps it might refine the Stargate GU, then put it in Treasure Yellow Heaven for sale. Once the Stargate GU is put up for sale in Treasure Yellow Heaven, getting more of such secret information will not be easy. Thinking of that, Fang Yuan made his decision. He let Little Hu Immortal transmit his thoughts. I will buy from all 3 of you. We'll deal using Immortal Essence Stones. The purchasing power of Immortal Essence Stones was very high. 1 piece of Immortal Essence Stone could purchase all 3 documents, with a quarter remaining. Fang Yuan opened the 3 documents, and saw many things written on them. Star fragment grass can only be planted in the sky, it grows on clouds. Therefore, it is a good idea to use high-quality cloud soil. Star fragment grass is fond of yin energy, but loathes yang energy, therefore excessive sunlight can kill the star fragment grass. However, it cannot be completely derived of light, the amount it requires is about. If starlight fireflies live in the star fragment grass, it will aid in spreading the seeds, and possibly increase the area that the grass can grow in as well as its quality. Among the 3 documents, Di Yuan was simple and brief, Starlord Wanshang had innovative ideas, and Fairy Yao Guang was verbose and detailed. Fang Yuan used their knowledge to make up for his shortcomings, and quickly memorized everything. In an instant, he became an expert in cultivating star fragment grass. He laughed internally. With this, I will become the largest seller of starlight fireflies in the future. When the Stargate GU becomes popular, I will make a fortune. It's time to buy liquor. Fang Yuan did not forget the need to purchase top-quality wine. He had already collected 3 kinds of top-quality wines, this was the last one left. Within Treasure Yellow Heaven, naturally, top-quality wine was sold. It was primarily used to refine GU by GU immortals, but it was also an excellent beverage for enjoying life. But when Fang Yuan wanted to purchase his wine, the whole of Treasure Yellow Heaven erupted, as countless divine senses were stirred up. Immortal GU. Someone is selling Immortal GU. Little Hu Immortal Land Spirit cried out. The mirror flashed, and the image of an Immortal GU appeared. Divine Travel GU. Fang Yuan's pupils shrunk. The Immortal GU that was being sold was exactly the one he needed, Divine Travel GU. Someone was 1 step ahead of him and had already grabbed possession of the Divine Travel GU. Sigh, after all is said and done, I was late by 1 step. Fang Yuan was stunned for a moment, then laughed out loud. He wanted to refine second aperture GU, thus he needed Divine Travel GU. But in 3 Kings Blessed Land, due to the circumstances, he refined Divine Travel GU into fixed Immortal Travel GU. According to the records in less than greater than, consuming 4 top-quality wines was the criteria to obtain Divine Travel GU. Fang Yuan had been collecting wine for this purpose, but now, someone was a step ahead of him. Without Divine Travel GU, the second aperture GU would be stuck at the last step, I won't be able to complete it. Thankfully, there is still a few decades of its lifespan. All in all, it was because I was too high profile on Sancha Mountain when I refined the GU, causing everyone to know about it. It is not strange that someone snatched it from me. Fang Yuan shrugged, he had predicted this long ago. When he used Divine Travel GU to refine fixed Immortal Travel GU, it was seen by a lot of GU masters. This definitely caused a great commotion. The GU immortals in southern border were not idiots, how could they not act? But earlier, Fang Yuan was banking on the competition between GU immortals, that they would restrict each other and delay their progress, thus he was working hard to collect the wines. In life, there were always a few things that one had to work hard for despite a low chance of success so that they would not have regrets. If they did not even work for it, then it would be absolutely hopeless. Regarding matters in this world, most do not go according to one's wishes, I am used to that. But since this divine travel GU was put up for transaction here, I have to take a look, there might still be a chance. Fang Yuan took it in his stride, he did not worry about losses or boast over gains, his mind was always peaceful and calm. Since Treasure Yellow Heaven was the greatest transaction market among GU immortals, there were very rare instances where immortal GU were sold. These transactions were mostly using immortal GU to trade for immortal GU. But the GU immortal who sold the divine travel GU, Old Man Yanxi, had a rather peculiar transaction request. I want to use this divine travel GU to exchange for the second aperture goose recipe. The information in this request was too stunning, it created a lot of commotion. In Treasure Yellow Heaven, the divine senses of all sorts of GU immortals were interacting with each other, turning the scene into chaos. Divine travel GU. To think that we will get to see this legendary GU worm today. Although it is an immortal GU, the divine travel goose ability is way too random. Back then, even Renzo's son got into trouble using it, it will be even more dangerous for us tiny GU immortals. But divine travel GU is still an immortal GU, keeping it with you, when you are forced into a dead end, you can use it to gamble at the moment of despair. Compared to the divine travel GU, I am more interested in the second aperture goose recipe. That's right, I've heard of the second aperture GU long ago, but to think the recipe really exists. A second aperture, mortals might not understand the full value of this, but to us GU immortals, who would not be moved? Fang Yuan had already stood up, gazing at the connecting heaven GU in midair. He had the second aperture goose recipe, he just needed a thought to exchange for this GU. But, this old man Yanxi who is selling the divine travel GU is coming for me. He requested for the second aperture goose recipe and his timing in selling this GU was neither early nor late, he picked the exact moment when I was browsing through Impressive. This GU immortal is mostly likely on the immemorial wisdom path, he is adept at predictions and deductions. The fact that I had used connecting heaven GU and was trading in Treasure Yellow Heaven was already foreseen by him. Wisdom path was a very mysterious path among GU masters. It had been passed down since the immemorial era, but the numbers were always very small. The creator of the wisdom path was star constellation Immortal Venerable, the lord of the second generation heavenly court. She lived for 19,000 years, and had the second longest lifespan among the rank 9 GU immortals. Before she died, she deduced from the heavenly secret, and obtained the information of all that happened 3 million years after her death. She found out that after her death, the heavenly court would be without a lord for a long time, causing a long period of turmoil as 3 demon venerables appear. She made 3 arrangements that dealt with each of the 3 demon venerables respectively. Next, she instructed her descendants to follow what she said to ensure that the heavenly court was peaceful for 300 years. After she died, there was a huge turmoil indeed as the era shifted, as during 3 great generations, 3 demon venerables appeared one after another. The 3 demon venerables were invincible during their times, attacking the heavenly court but were obstructed by star constellation Immortal Venerable's plans, failing and causing the heavenly court to stay intact. Wisdom Path GU Immortal Old Man Yanxi, Fang Yuan squinted his eyes, muttering. It was not a good thing to be targeted by a Wisdom Path GU Immortal. Wisdom Path GU Immortals knew about the heavenly secret and were most skilled at making arrangements ahead of time and making predictions about the future. Often, they could scheme against people without them knowing, causing others to fall into traps unknowingly. I gathered too much attention in Southern Border, and ended up attracting a Wisdom Path GU Immortal. In this life I was courageous and made great progress, charging through a dangerous cliff, I went too fast and with just my mortal body, I gained the attention of a GU Immortal. Such a scenario was like an ant attracting the attention of an elephant. At once, Fang Yuan could almost see a pair of wise and scheming eyes piercing through the connecting heaven GU to observe himself. The air was filled with formless pressure. But Fang Yuan's state of mind was no longer like before, he laughed with his head up high, dispelling the pressure in his heart. Good, the schemes of a Wisdom Path GU Immortal makes this much more interesting. HMPH, just a mere divine travel GU, just a mere second aperture GU, how can that entice me? His 500 years of experience nurtured a keen instinct that was sensitive to danger. Fang Yuan had a vague feeling, this divine travel GU was likely bait that old man Yanxi was using to attract him. Although an immortal GU is good, my goal is eternal life, this so-called immortal GU is merely a tool in my cultivation journey. At the same time, in Southern Border, Shengxi blessed land. An old man, wearing a black robe, gave off the eerie aura of a rank 7 GU immortal as he sat on the cushion silently. His face was wrinkled, his eyes were dark without any white parts in them. He stared at the connecting heaven Gu in the sky, feeling the divine senses moving about inside treasure yellow heaven. He was expressionless and motionless. It was old man Yan Shi. Before the old man was the kneeling killer ghost Dr. Cho Ju. He looked at connecting heaven Gu for a long time, before showing disappointment. Supreme Master, it seems that Fang Yuan did not take the bait. Old man Yan Shi smiled, not showing any annoyance. This tiny fish is interesting, he is able to let go so easily. As a mere mortal, his disposition surpasses a large number of Gu immortals. But he was too daring, he turned you into his slave and messed with a shadow sect. He is simply courting death. Cho Ju quickly bowed. All thanks to Supreme Master's return, otherwise, I would have suffered the fate of being a slave for life. Old man Yan Shi raised his head. Little disciple, I have already altered the slavery Gu on you. I calculated that Fang Yuan would join the righteous demonic battle of Yitian Mountain. At that time you can be a spy by his side, and wait for a chance to strike. Yes, Supreme Master. Go down and call your junior sister by Ningbing. Yes, this disciple takes his leave. Translator's thoughts. Chibi General Junior Sister. Degree. Chapter 468 Scheme. Chapter 468, Scheme. An immortal Gu was hovering in the air, emitting quiet and exquisite light. A lemon-colored halo completely covered Bai Ningbing's body and sank into her aperture. Yellow-green light-colored vines had already creeped around her aperture walls, densely attached to the walls. After a moment, old man Yan Shi took a deep breath and recalled the immortal Gu back to his aperture. All right, I have used Everlasting Gu's ability on your aperture, you will be fine for the next 3 months. According to your cultivation speed, you must come here after 3 months to reinforce your aperture again. It has already been a long time since the Sancha Mountain battle. Bai Ningbing's aptitude had already recovered to 100%, restoring one of the 10 extreme aptitudes, Northern Dark Ice Soul Physique. 100% primeval essence emitted an extremely great pressure on her aperture. If not for old man Yan Shi using Everlasting Gu to reinforce her aperture, Bai Ningbing would not have survived till now. Although old man Yan Shi was her life-saving benefactor, Bai Ningbing did not feel any gratitude, instead she stood upright with an ice-cold demeanor. After old man Yan Shi took away the immortal Gu, she opened her blue eyes, her gaze cold and her expression indifferent. She was no more the novice, greenhorn kid from back then. By traveling alongside Fang Yuan, she had learned many things. Old man Yan Shi had taken the initiative to look for her after knowing about her through Cho Ju, clearly to make use of her. Her joining Shadow Sect was also no more than a transaction. Old man Yan Shi smiled warmly. Bai Ningbing, as long as you sincerely pledge allegiance to Shadow Sect, and make a new sea oath, I will turn you back to a male. HMPH, no need. You are helping me to suppress my aperture, so I am joining Shadow Sect temporarily to help you deal with Fang Yuan and obtain fixed immortal travel Gu from him. This is nothing more than a fair transaction. As for my male body, I will personally retrieve it, only then can it be spectacular. How could I, Bai Ningbing, do something like relying on others? Bai Ningbing then turned around and left. Only when she exited the secret room, did Bai Ningbing's ice-cold expression loosen up, her brows furrowed and her gaze turned cold. She did not like this rank 7 wisdom path Gu immortal old man Yan Shi, she always felt he had a hidden motive. Although the other was a Gu immortal, Bai Ningbing had never feared death. As a person who was not afraid of death, why would she be afraid of Gu immortals? However, they had the same objective, both of them wanted to deal with Fang Yuan, so Bai Ningbing agreed to this transaction and joined Shadow Sect temporarily. Fang Yuan, when she thought of him, Bai Ningbing could not help thinking back to the scene at Three Kings' blessed land. Under countless people's eyes, Fang Yuan flew towards heaven and with a mortal body, refined an immortal Gu. Shortly after, Three Kings' blessed land collapsed and everyone fell into chaos as they hurried to leave Sancha Mountain. Winds of assimilation blew and wiped out the whole Sancha Mountain until it was a barren land. Little Beast King's name was talked by countless people and soon spread to the whole southern border crazily. Fang Yuan disappeared, and Gu immortals gave orders to all their forces to look for him. Bai Ningbing, who had traveled together with him, naturally became a target all great forces chased after. Whether it was righteous path or demonic path, they all wanted to get her. If not for Wei Yang's sense of brotherhood and thus intentionally let go of Bai Ningbing, as well as her meeting Cho Ju while gravely injured, Bai Ningbing would have been a captive somewhere already. After Cho Ju healed her injuries, he made a proposal to her to join Shadow Sect and deal with Fang Yuan together. After Bai Ningbing's scheme against Fang Yuan failed, she was even confident of her guess that Fang Yuan had a prediction Gu. And when she heard behind Cho Ju was a similar predictive wisdom path Gu Immortal, she could not help but be moved. Although she did not fear death, she was truly not resigned to losing her life like that and letting Fang Yuan live. It would be her greatest defeat, and was too lackluster. Thus, she agreed to Cho Ju's request and temporarily joined Shadow Sect, making an oath in front of the immortal Gu. See Oath Gu, with old man Yanxi and Cho Ju, she was free to leave and regain her freedom once they killed Fang Yuan. At the same time, Shadow Sect cannot directly or indirectly make a move against her. When Bai Ningbing's receding figure disappeared, old man Yanxi's expression slowly turned dark. Bai Ningbing had a demonic nature, causing even this wisdom path Gu immortal old man Yanxi to find it hard to control her. This kid has no care for laws and morality, and is only joining hands with me because of the situation. She is absolutely not someone who will stay under others for long. Old man Yanxi's gaze was extremely profound. But it is not important. I have planned for so many years in my quest for immortality, why would I be afraid of the tiny ripples that this little fish can create? HMPH. Old man Yanxi coldly snorted and turned his gaze to connecting Heaven Gu's screen. Right at this time, a divine sense was transmitted to him. I have second aperture Gu's recipe here, I want to exchange with your divine travel Gu. The owner of the divine sense called himself Langya Old Immortal. Hey, old man Yanxi laughed heartily. The fish has taken the bait. Who said this bait could only lure Fang Yuan? Fang Yuan was only a small fish, Langya land spirit was the true big fish. Langya blessed land is rumored to have stored countless recipes. It has dropped from a grotto heaven to a blessed land, and in the present age, it can be said to be the #1 blessed land. Even more importantly, this blessed land has a lot of immortal Gu as well. Heavenly essence treasure Imperial Lotus is at the top, I must obtain it. Old man Yanxi's eyes flickered with a burning light filled with avarice. He had been scheming since a long time ago. In actual fact, the second aperture Gu recipe that Langya blessed land had was intentionally due to his planning. With Langya land spirit's love for collecting recipes and refining Gu, he would definitely want to refine second aperture Gu. Now I have to wait for a good opportunity. Old man Yanxi sneered at the side while sending out his divine sense to accept Langya land spirit's offer and began their transaction at Treasure Yellow Heaven. Divine travel Gu came out from the mirror. Even if the connecting heaven Gu's ability had been amplified by many other Gu, it still caused the connecting heaven Gu to be filled with cracks, and after several breaths, completely collapsed. Langya land spirit did not care about this connecting heaven Gu, there were still many connecting heaven Gu left in the blessed land. The land spirit looked at divine travel Gu with a burning gaze and laughed heartily. I had already wanted to refine second aperture Gu, haha, this is really too good. He took out another connecting heaven Gu on the spot and connected to Treasure Yellow Heaven, looking for Gu refinement materials without restraint. An easy prey. Old man Yanxi laughed heartily as he looked at this scene through connecting heaven Gu. A heavyweight transaction relating to immortal Gu naturally would be noticed by many Gu immortals. Fang Yuan was also paying attention. Who bought the divine travel Gu? Fang Yuan's gaze flashed and immediately asked Little Hu Immortal. It is Langya Old Immortal. Little Hu Immortal replied with clear voice. Langya land spirit, just like what I expected. Fang Yuan slightly narrowed his eyes before concentrating on connecting heaven Gu again. After a moment, he discovered Langya land spirit wantonly buying Gu refinement materials. His eyes flashed with rays of cold light. HMPH, so many Gu immortals are dumping precious Gu refinement materials to Langya land spirit. This is clearly a trap. The land spirits have wisdom, but their obsessions are much deeper and can be easily exploited by Gu immortals. Wait a second. Fang Yuan's thoughts suddenly shook. The immortals selling the Gu refinement materials were Metal Path Gu Immortal Tai Jiazi, Soul Path Gu Immortal Wang Ganyang, Wood Path Gu Immortal Fairy Tan Shang, Enslavement Path Gu Immortal Great Immortal Shui Shang. These names were familiar. Weren't they the Gu immortals who participated in the second wave of attacks against Langya blessed land? For a moment, Fang Yuan's eyes flickered with sharp light. He became aware of an enormous scheme that had not been recorded in the history. So it was like this. In my past life, Langya blessed land endured 6 waves of attack before finally collapsing in the 7th wave. So there were manipulators behind the scene, they were hatching a sinister plot. Before, Fang Yuan was only an audience, but now that he was involved, he discovered this truth. This old man Yan Shi's purpose in selling divine travel GU is not just to aim at me, his bigger target is Langya Blessed Land. Out of the 7 waves of attack, how many did he organize? If he is Southern Borders GU Immortal, then why would these Northern Plains GU Immortals listen to his arrangements? Is he indirectly making use of them, or did he give them a direct order? No doubt, the Wisdom Path GU Immortal Old Man Yan Shi had organized a group of immortals, just this information created a formless pressure. Fang Yuan did not know right now that this organization was the shadow sect he had heard before. But this did not hinder him from guessing the strength and the mystery of this organization. An organization that spanned across Southern Border and Northern Plains, how big would it be? But Fang Yuan had never heard of such an organization, even in the 500 years of his past life. How mysterious was this organization? Of course, all these speculations are based on the foundation that Old Man Yan Shi is a GU Immortal of Southern Border. Maybe it is all just a coincidence. Let me think again, did Old Man Yan Shi plan the first wave of attack? As for the next waves of attack, did he have a hand in them? As for the 7th wave, it was Heavenly Court's move, that was absolutely not something Old Man Yan Shi could control. Fang Yuan was certain of this. Heavenly Court was high above others, it originated from Central Continent and had a formidable background, it was not something an immortal of Southern Border could interfere in. Among the 5 great regions, since ancient times till now, the greatest GU Immortal organization was only the Heavenly Court. Heavenly Court's might made people feel suffocation. Only rank 8 and rank 9 GU Immortals could establish their presence there. This point could be judged from the conclusion. After the Heavenly Court made their move, they left after taking away all the recipes in Langya Blessed Land. Where was Old Man Yan Shi at that time in my previous life? Old Man Yan Shi was a mysterious character who had hidden in the depths of the history. Behind him was a mysterious organization that had influence in both Northern Plains and Southern Border, 2 great regions. Wisdom Path GU Immortal, a mysterious organization, Heavenly Court. The path to immortality is truly fraught with danger at every step. When I burst through these obstacles, how great would I feel? The higher the difficulty and stronger the enemies, the more fighting spirit Fang Yuan would have. The path he was walking on was destined to be a lonely one from the start, destined to make an enemy of the world. Heavenly Court and the mysterious organization were like 2 giant beasts blocking this path. At the same time, this dark path was filled with thorns, traps and schemes. This was an incomparably difficult path, and no one had been able to reach the end since ancient times. Fang Yuan, however, was fighting by himself, marching by himself and waging war by himself. The source of all his motivation was the simplest, most insatiable, most sneered at and most incomprehensible. Dream, a seemingly unrealistic dream about eternal life. Whether he could succeed or not, Fang Yuan had never considered it. He only knew that even if he failed and died, he would have no regrets. Today, through a transaction, he discovered the whirlpool that had been hidden in the shadows. Then he looked at the prospects of his own path, which was filled with incomparable darkness, incomparable danger and dead ends at almost every step. Since there is no path to walk on, I shall carve out my own path. Fang Yuan smiled, his gaze containing a profound light and his disordered thoughts all tidied up as he once again concentrated on connecting Heaven GU. It was time to buy Relic GU. Chapter 469 Living Chess. Chapter 469, Living Chess. Relic GU can directly increase the foundation of the aperture, raising a GU Master's cultivation realm. From rank 1 to 5, they were green copper, red steel, white silver, yellow gold, and purple crystal Relic GU. Relic GU were mortal GU, there were no rank 6 and above immortal GU for it. Among them, green copper, red steel, and white silver Relic GU were widely sold in the market. As for yellow gold and purple crystal Relic GU, because they affected the battle strength of rank 4 and 5 GU masters, and could influence the status of many forces, they were restricted and controlled by large organizations and were hardly sold in the market. But in Treasure Yellow Heaven, yellow gold and purple crystal Relic GU were available. GU Immortals could not raise their cultivation through purple crystal Relic GU, but they were still very rare GU. Because not only could these 2 GU be used to rank cultivation, they were used to refine immortal GU as well. In immortal GU recipes, they were often used as important catalysts. Other than refinement, if a GU Immortal had descendants, they would collect many Relic GU for their clans or juniors to use. Thus in Treasure Yellow Heaven, although rank 1 to 3 Relic GU were sold in batches, there were few rank 4 yellow gold Relic GU, and even less purple gold Relic GU. Yellow gold, purple crystal Relic GU, These were widely used in Immortal GU recipes. When Fang Yuan refined the spring-autumn cicada and the second aperture GU, he used them in the process. In fact, even the Immortal GU Blood Deity's remnant recipe also required large amounts of relic GU. But because Immortal GU were involved, prices of relic GU were always sky-high. Even so, this situation was way better than the mortal realm's restrict control. Fang Yuan immediately bought 3 purple crystal relic GU, and spent a great sum to buy an immediate success GU. This GU was much more expensive than purple crystal relic GU, because it could raise the success rate of GU refinement. Thereafter, Fang Yuan bought a large number of low-rank GU and refinement materials, preparing to refine rank 5 breath concealment GU and others. Although Treasure Yellow Heaven could inspect the treasure light, just the height of the light could not detect whether the GU worm had been tampered with. Thus, it is not very safe, and Fang Yuan decided to refine the GU himself to be safe. Selling all the remnant recipes in his hand and buying large amounts of resources, after deducting Treasure Yellow Heaven's processing fee, Fang Yuan had 28 pieces of Immortal Essence stones left in his possession. Of course, he could repeatedly sell these Immortal GU remnant recipes, but their corresponding treasure light would decrease. Only after an amount of time would the treasure light recover. Transactions in Treasure Yellow Heaven heavily depended on the treasure light. The stronger the light, the higher the price. When the treasure light weakened, the sale price would fall as well. After all, the value of remnant recipes drop when more people know about them. If he continued to sell them, Fang Yuan's earning will decrease, and the GU immortals who bought them earlier would feel that they suffered a loss. Waiting for a period of time before selling it again benefited both parties. The seller sells at the original price, while buyers gain a lot of precious time to research on the recipe. After all, Immortal GU were unique once they were created. This way, the most precious recipes I have left are Spring-Autumn Cicada, Second Aperture GU, and the remnant recipe of Blood Deity. As for the other recipes, I can sell them again, but only in a few months. This time obviously referred to the 5 regions time. As for the other recipes like using Divine Travel GU to refine fixed Immortal Travel GU were known by all. There would be no light if it was placed into Treasure Yellow Heaven. Rockmen, I have to provide them to Immortal Crane Sect. This is to make sure Immortal Crane Sect does not find out the truth, so that I can relieve our tensions and stall for time. Now that Danghun Mountain was dying, the production of Guts GU were decreasing. The number of rockmen in each transaction had been dropping, as Immortal Crane Sect's patience was running thin. They would fight eventually, but Fang Yuan had to stall for as much time as he could. But thankfully, they would only think that I was defending who Immortal blessed land from the inside, and was a trapped fish. They would never expect me to have gone to Northern Plains, and was even able to return. Even that old man Yan Shi would not see this coming. Wisdom Path GU Immortals were skilled at deductions and predictions, but they could not gain information out of nothing. They had to use all sorts of clues and traces, to track back to the source and make their deductions. Fang Yuan's vital GU was Spring-Autumn Cicada, his greatest advantage was rebirth. With 500 years of memories, he had Stargate GU, Moving Perspective Cup GU, all these were GU worms that were more advanced than the current 5 regions by a generation. I can't sell remnant recipes for the time being, and the rockmen have to be supplied to Immortal Crane Sect, but I have other things to sell. Fang Yuan had a plan long ago. This item was none other than soil. The soil in Treasure Yellow Heaven were all rare goods, like cloud soil, rotten soil, salt soil, etc. Many blessed land produced soil, and they would sell it inside Treasure Yellow Heaven to exchange for what they needed with other GU masters. The soil Fang Yuan wanted to sell was not ordinary either, it was the gruel mud. Back then, when the earthly calamity struck and Danghun Mountain was damaged, polluted by the ability of Immortal GU gruel mud, the entire mountain started to turn into rotten mud. But in this world, fortune and misfortune came together. Although Danghun Mountain rocks were turned into mud, they contained the gruel mud Immortal Gu's power. In GU Immortal's eyes, this was a must-have ingredient when refining the gruel mud Immortal GU. As expected, after Fang Yuan placed it into Treasure Yellow Heaven, a large amount of attention was garnered. What day is it today? So many good things are on sale. Gruel mud, this is the real gruel mud, I can feel the intense Immortal GU aura from it. It is a pity I do not have the gruel mud Immortal Gu's recipe, I have no use for this mud. The divine senses of the GU immortals were moving about as many sent their divine senses to compete for the item. I need the gruel mud Immortal Gu's recipe, I will not exchange it for anything else. Under Fang Yuan's orders, Little Hu Immortal sent her divine sense over. This strict request caused the GU immortals to scoff. Using a pile of mud to exchange for an immortal goose recipe. You are way too greedy. The gruel mud immortal GU is a one-time consumable GU. The recipe is evidently more important than GU worm itself. You have the face to say you want to exchange it for the recipe. This is too unrealistic. I advise you to change your condition, otherwise, this pile of mud will stay in treasure yellow heaven without a buyer forever. But Little Who Immortal quickly said, I am not requesting for the complete immortal recipe, whoever has the remnant recipe with the highest treasure light will get this. The GU Immortals stopped talking, starting to observe this. Soon, a GU Immortal took out a remnant recipe and the treasure light was about 4 meters. This was not up to Fang Yuan's standards. He stared at the mirror and laughed, instructing Little Who Immortal, as long as the other GU Immortals each took out a remnant recipe, we will add 1 jin of gruel mud. Yes, master, Little Who Immortal replied quickly. In Who Immortal blessed land, there was a lot of gruel mud. From start to end, all the gruel mud were cleared out of Dang Hun Mountain by Little Who Immortal, but they did not throw it out of the blessed land, instead transferring it to the west area. After these years, through the conversion of the gruel mud inside the blessed land, there was a swamp forming slowly. The former disaster was now a resource. In treasure yellow heaven, the GU Immortals' divine senses were in a commotion. With the addition of every remnant recipe, Little Who Immortal would add a jin of gruel mud. Such an act was telling others clearly, we have a ton of it here. All the remnant recipes were added in one by one, as the treasure light intensified. From the 4 meters, it had already rose to about 6 meters and was still increasing. Fang Yuan looked for a while and his smile became wider. His soul was from Earth, his marketing skills far surpassed this world. On Earth, enterprises boomed while in treasure yellow heaven, immortal essence stones could barely be used as the currency of trade. Most transactions were done using the primitive bartering method. Fang Yuan's method was a form of increasing his exposure. It attracted many GU Immortals to sell the remnant recipe of the gruel mud immortal GU. Of course, this was only a tiny trick. Next, Fang Yuan instructed Little Who Immortal to handle the other matters one by one. It is about time, I have to go now. Fang Yuan was counting the time, dividing the time he spent in Who Immortal blessed land by 5, was the amount of time that had passed in northern plains. Master, goodbye, you have to come back often, okay. Little Who Immortal brought Fang Yuan to the west area of the blessed land, and under the radiance of the starlight firefly GU, it activated the Stargate GU once again. Fang Yuan was carrying many refinement materials, as well as low-rank GU worms as he stepped into the Stargate. Not long after, he stepped out of the other Stargate, back to the Crescent Lake in northern plains. As he had calculated, it was currently near dawn, as the sun was rising, the first ray of sunlight shining on the land. The light breeze caused small ripples along the surface of the lake. The air was refreshing, there was dew on the grass near him, and there were bird groups gathering on the surface of the lake, spreading their wings like they were dancing. Fang Yuan breathed in deeply, his heart was overjoyed. Snatching Ma Hongyun's fortune by force, Fang Yuan obtained Langya land spirit's help this time. In Langya blessed land, he used one of the chances to obtain the Stargate GU and others. After that, he returned to Who Immortal blessed land and used connecting heaven GU to settle the problem of the lack of resources. But after this, all my stagnating chess pieces have room for further development. The entire chessboard is alive once more. As the sky turned bright, Fang Yuan returned to Jade tribe camp under the wolf group's accompaniment. I am going to refine GU in closed cultivation, nobody is to disturb me. He gave his orders as he locked himself inside the lizard house, starting his GU refinement. Regardless of where the GU refinement materials came from, the GU worms created belong to the region it is born in. That is to say, although the materials in Fang Yuan's hands came from Central Continent, as long as he refined them inside Northern Plains, all of them will be Northern Plains GU, and would not be suppressed here. The first GU he was going to refine was the Moving Perspective Cup GU. Moving Perspective Cup GU was rank 5, the set that was refined in Who Immortal blessed land was about to break, it could only be used one more time. After visiting Treasure Yellow Heaven, Fang Yuan had the resources now, he was obviously going to refine another set of Moving Perspective Cup GU. At the same time, in Crescent Lake, Yan tribe's 9 GU masters were traveling quickly on their hump wolves. Stop, there are wolf footprints here. Yan tribe leader stopped his wolf, looking at the large number of footprints in front of him, he expressed great shock. So many wolves, this is a myriad wolf group, the other GU masters exclaimed. Jade tribe camp is not too far away, do you think this myriad wolf group is heading towards them? Not good. Look at these footprints, there are poison-beard wolves, wind wolves, as well as turtleback wolves and night wolves and so on. Wild wolf groups only live among themselves, a mix of so many wolves only means that they are being controlled by a GU master. Yan tribe leader pondered. Zhe tribe was once a large-sized tribe, but now that they were forced to migrate, they are no longer as great as before, they have no way of feeding such a huge wolf group. Most likely, this wolf group belongs to a demonic GU master. Our objective this time is to seek reinforcements from Zhe tribe, let's go see what happens first. If Zhe tribe faces trouble, we will retreat quietly. If we can do them a cheap favor, we will help them encircle the wolves. Yes, Lord Tribe Leader, everyone shouted. Go, let's go to Zhe tribe. The hump wolves moved again, bringing these people towards Zhe tribe camp. Chapter 470 Water Demon. Chapter 470, Water Demon. Halt. The patrolling Zhe tribe GU master saw the Yan tribe GU masters and shouted. Yan tribe GU masters stopped their hump wolves, as an elder spoke. The person beside me is Yan tribe leader Lord Yan Tianji, we are here to visit Zhe tribe leader. Yan tribe. Zhe tribe GU master's expression changed. That's right, our main tent is about 100 li away. Please wait here, lords. According to Northern Plains time, Zhe tribe had just reached Crescent Lake and had set up camp for just a day. Zhe tribe camp was still busy constructing their homes. Lord, the wolf group footprints all entered Zhe tribe camp. A tribe elder said softly at Yan tribe leader Yan Tianji. Yan Tianji nodded, his gaze turning firm. To think this enslavement path GU master is from Zhe tribe. It seems we came to the right place, this is a strong aid in dealing with water demon Hao Ji Lu. But Zhe tribe might not necessarily help us. A tribe elder was worried. Yan Tianji sneered, acting as if he had Zhe tribe dancing in the palm of his hands. HMPH, Zhe tribe wants to attend the heroes assembly. My daughter is Lu Wenwu's fiancé. If I use Lu tribe's name to ask for reinforcements, can this tiny Zhe tribe refuse? Saying so, the newly constructed camp gates opened, as Zhe tribe's new leader Zhe Guang came out with the band of elders. Yan tribe leader has come personally, it is our honor. Please follow me to the main tent. Zhe Guang invited him enthusiastically. Why is he only a rank 3 GU master? Sensing Zhe Guang's cultivation, the Yan tribesmen showed contempt. Bringing the Yan tribesmen into the camp for a banquet, after they had some wine, Yan tribe leader gazed at his elder. The elder quickly said, to speak the truth, Zhe tribe leader, we are here today to ask for help from your tribe. Help, the elder continued. That's right. Our tribe's big Missy Yan Queer was kidnapped by Hao Ji Lu. This person is unscrupulous and shameless, hiding in Crescent Lake and extorting our tribe. He is a water path GU master. He has great battle strength when fighting underwater. Our tribe's few attempts at saving her failed. This time, we would like to ask for Zhe tribe's help. Hao Ji Lu, you mean, that water demon Hao Ji Lu? Zhe Guang thought of this person and his expression changed. This person was a rank 4 upper stage GU master. He walked the water path and his vile name was famous in Northern Plains. He was a devious and scheming demon. Zhe Guang frowned deeply. After thinking about it, he rejected. Members of the demonic faction deserves to be brought to justice. As a member of the righteous faction, Zhe tribe should help out, but right now, we do not have the ability to do so. My father had died in battle, I was tasked to be the tribe leader immediately after. We have already suffered great losses, we have no strength left to exterminate the water demon. Why, Zhe tribe leader is unwilling to help. Hearing Zhe Guang's words, Yan tribe elder's expression sank. An elder sneered. Zhe tribe leader, you are too young, you do not know certain things, let me tell you. Our tribe's big Missy Yan Queer had been engaged to Lu Wenwu, her status is Lu Wenwu's fiancé. If you do not help us save her, when Lu tribe pursues the matter, you will not be able to explain yourselves. Zhe Guang's expression changed. There were a few super tribes in Northern Plains, among them were He tribe and Lu tribe. Lu tribe's third young master Lu Wenwu was an expert in both the brush and sword, he had outstanding talent and high aspirations. This time, he brought his supporters from his tribe and separated from Lu tribe, trying to create his own tribe from scratch. He was one of the few most famous competitors for the throne of the imperial court. Lu Wenwu had a huge force, Yan Queer was his fiancé. If Zhe tribe did not save her, Lu Wenwu would definitely find trouble with them during the heroes' assembly. But now Zhe tribe was in dire straits themselves, they had just lost a lot of high-rank GU masters. If they fought the water demon, they would have to shoulder a great loss. Zhe Guang thought about his tribe's benefits and did not wish to make enemies with the water demon for no reason, but if they did nothing, it might attract Lu Wenwu's animosity. Zhe Guang was very troubled. Yan tribe leader saw Zhe Guang's hesitation and laughed. The righteous path had always stuck together. I believe that Zhe tribe would not leave us in the lurch. Zhe tribe has outstanding strength, you do not need to conceal it. When we came, we found a large number of wolf footprints. As long as Zhe tribe mobilizes your enslavement path Gu master, we are willing to pay 3,000 primeval stones in advance. Zhe Guang was secretly furious. Just 3,000 primeval stones, were they giving loose change to a beggar? He controlled his anger and laughed bitterly. You might not know, this enslavement path Gu master is not a member of Zhe tribe, I cannot command him. He is Lord Chong Shanyin. Chong Shanyin, Yan tribe leader was stunned, thinking that this name was very familiar. Zhe Guang then told him what he knew about Fang Yuan's origins and identity. Yan tribe's gang were overjoyed at hearing the news. Chong Shanyin, he is alive. I remember now, he is someone from my generation. He was once famous throughout Northern Plains, a highly acclaimed genius enslavement path Gu master. This is great, even heaven is helping us. Chong tribe had already submitted to young master Lu Wenwu. If we tell Chong Shanyin our request, he will definitely help. Yan tribe leader was candid. Tribe leader Zhe Guang, lead the way. Zhe Guang laughed bitterly. If I can bring you to him, I would have done it long ago. Lord Chong Shanyin returned this morning and announced he was going into closed cultivation to refine Gu. If we interrupt him, I'm afraid. What are you afraid of? Yan tribe leader stood up. Chong Shanyin is from the same generation as me, I've heard of him long ago. Chong tribe and Yan tribe are already under young master Lu Wenwu, we are on the same side. Young master Lu Wenwu is Chong Shanyin's master. Furthermore, this matter is so important, it is no big deal even if we interrupt his Gu refinement. Bring me there. This, Zhe Guang hesitated. Yan tribe leader's expression turned stiff. Zhe tribe leader, do not stall for time. If we are too late and my daughter faces mortal danger, when young master Lu Wenwu blames you. Zhe Guang gritted his teeth, conceding, all right, I will bring you there. Water demon Hao Ji Lu. Fang Yuan raised his eyebrows, looking at these Yan tribe Gu masters. Brother Chong, you have been asleep for 20 years, you might not know this. This water demon was a rising star from the younger generation. After receiving a mysterious opportunity, he is already rank 4 upper stage at 35 years old. Yan tribe leader explained. Fang Yuan nodded, exclaiming, Northern Plains is huge, there are countless heroes and conquerors. Since Yan tribe is asking with their life on the line, I shall make this trip. The expression of Yan tribe's gang changed. What was Chong Shanyin saying? What, life on the life? It sounded like they were very feeble and defenseless. Lord Chong Shanyin, why are you lauding the spirit of the enemy and belittling that of our own? That water demon is scheming, hiding inside Crescent Lake while holding our big missy hostage, that is why we cannot take him down. An elder was indignant. Lord Chong Shanyin, your Chong tribe has already submitted to young master Lu Wenwu. This is your opportunity. Another elder spoke as if he was thinking for Fang Yuan's benefit. Yan tribe leader smiled lightly. He, brother Chong, with your help this time, what can a mere water demon amount to? Fang Yuan snickered. By logic or emotion, I should help out. I will battle alongside all of you. Yan tribe was overjoyed. Good, let us set off now. Yan tribe's old man, I want 10 million primeval stones and that backwater battle Gu, did you bring them? Water demon stood at the edge of Crescent Lake as he looked at the people with caution. Of course I brought it. Where is my daughter? Yan Tianji said, taking out 2 Gu, one was a rank 5 storage Gu, the other was backwater battle Gu. Backwater battle Gu was a rank 5 Gu, it could greatly boost the power of water path Gu worms, it was very precious with no market supply. Seeing these 2 Gu, water demon's gaze became heated. He had a young appearance, his face was pale as he had broad shoulders and a thin waist, he was handsome and had a carefree disposition. His sideburns were already turning white, giving him a mature aura. Return my daughter and I will pass you what you want. Now I want to see my daughter first. Yan Tianji said solemnly. Water demon snorted, snapping his fingers. Swoosh. In the lake water behind him, waves started moving as a giant fan shell appeared from under the water. This fan shell was as big as an elephant, the surface was shiny. As the 2 sides of the shell opened, a young girl could be seen inside. The young girl was tied up tightly, her mouth was gagged. When she saw Yan tribe leader she was so agitated that tears were flowing on her face as she struggled. Water Demon snorted. You've seen your daughter, now hand over the GU. Don't try anything funny, your daughter is in my hands, if anything happens to her, how will you account to Lu Wenwu? He he he. Damn it, despicable scum, fight me fair and square if you have the guts. Yan tribe elders gritted their teeth. Yan tribe leader's expression was calm as water as he tossed 2 GU towards Water Demon. Water Demon received it carefully, he did not use his hand to grab it, but instead let the 2 GU fall onto the ground. You did not do anything fishy to these GU worms, right? Water Demon squinted, looking at Yan Tianji sharply. Yan Tianji's expression was livid. HMPH, go ahead and refine it. Water Demon snickered. Step back by 30 steps. Yan tribe's gang had no choice but to comply. Water Demon stared at the Yan tribe GU masters, before squatting down and picking up the 2 GU worms. He first inspected them and found no problems with them. Next, he carefully started refining the Backwater Battle GU. Backwater Battle GU had Yan Tianji's will. As he cooperated with Water Demon, it allowed him to refine the Backwater Battle GU easily. Water Demon chuckled. Very good, Yan Tianji, you are very tactful. Next, I will inspect the primeval stones, if the amount of correct, I will return your precious daughter to you. Don't worry, I do not wish to be enemies with Lu Wenwu, your daughter is still a virgin, I did not even touch her hands. Yan Tianji snorted, not saying a word. He willed and aided Water Demon in refining the storage GU. Water Demon's mind entered the GU as he saw a large amount of primeval stones, unable to control his joy as it showed on his face. But at this time, from among these primeval stones, a GU flew out and crashed onto him at breakneck speed. Rank 4, Immobilization GU. Strike, Yan Tianji shouted, and the elders surrounded Water Demon quickly. Oh no, Water Demon was grabbing the storage GU, as he was unable to move, he watched himself get surrounded helplessly. Water Demon, today will be your death date. Fang Yuan rode the hump wolf as he and a large group of wolves emerged from a nearby woodland. Chapter 471 Wolf King, are you crazy? Chapter 471. Wolf King, are you crazy? Kill, Yan Tianji shouted. In an instant, Yan tribe's GU masters starting attacking, using an assortment of moves. Water Flow, Starfire, White Bone, Firebird, all sorts of attacks were unleashed and targeted Water Demon. Bright rainbow color lights soon shone on Water Demon's face. These attacks were eye-catching and dazzling, they were like fireworks in the night sky, beautiful and lethal. Water Demon was in a dangerous situation, but he did not dodge or evade, instead he showed a cold smile. In his eyes, a piercing eerie light burst out, the light was shining brightly as it stunned a Yan tribe elder in front of Water Demon. This Yan tribe elder grimaced as he felt his vision blurring. This was Water Demon, activating the rank 3 sight blow GU. His gaze had a strong attack and could bypass defensive measures, directly attacking the GU master's soul. Yan tribe elder who was attacked took 3 steps back, trying to regain his composure. A mere rank 3 sight blow GU could only be used as a surprise attack, it caused little damage to Yan tribe elder, it could not change this dangerous situation around for Water Demon. But Water Demon's lips curled into a cold smile. He activated his rank 4 yellow gold primeval essence, injecting it into one of the GU in his aperture. Rank 4, Location Swap GU. Swoosh. With a light sound, Water Demon Hao Ji Lu's body vanished, and reappeared at Yan tribe elder's location. As an exchange, the Yan tribe elder who was attacked appeared at his original location. Oh no, quickly stop. Yan tribe's GU masters shouted, such a change caught them off guard, they were greatly shocked. They wanted to hold back on their attacks, but the attacks were already formed, they could not be stopped. That Yan tribe elder was scared out of his wits, he frantically activated his defensive GU, but this GU only lasted for half a breath's time before dying. Academy Elder, Yan tribe leader Yan Tianji shouted, seeing his tribesmen dying in front of him, engulfed by the assortment of attacks, beaten to a pulp. Ha ha ha, great. It seems that Yan tribe GU masters are all dumb pigs, you actually killed yourselves. Ha ha ha, Water Demon Hao Ji Lu laughed as he raised his head, saying in a mocking tone. Water Demon, Yan tribe will be enemies with you for all eternity. Hao Ji Lu, I will tear your tendons apart to relieve this anger in me. Kill, tear this demon to shreds. Yan tribe GU masters shouted angrily, their necks turning red from agitation. But even though they shouted loudly, none of them attacked. Water Demon had a rank 4 location swap GU, this was beyond their expectations. Rank 4 location swap GU was a unique movement GU. One had to make contact with the other party in order to swap locations. But the use of the GU worm not only depended on suitability, but also its compatibility with other GU worms. Water Demon Hao Ji Lu used the rank 3 sight blow GU together with the location swap GU. As long as his gaze attack works, it means he made contact with the other party, and he could use the location swap GU using this exploit. Hao Ji Lu had such a GU worm, he was not afraid of fighting a crowd. This was why he dared to challenge the entire Yan tribe higher-ups, kidnapping Yan tribe's big Missy Yan Quier, and extorting Yan tribe. Although there were many Yan tribe GU masters, the academy elder just died in front of them, everyone was lost and did not have any confidence at the moment. Water Demon, so what if you have location swap GU? This GU causes intense primeval essence expenditure. How many times can you still use it? I'll tell you, we invited the righteous hero Wolf King Chong Shan Yin who had just returned. You are now surrounded by the wolf group, there is nowhere to run. At the crucial moment, Yan Tianji stood up, his words were like a tranquilizer that stabilized the people. Wolf King Chong Shan Yin. Hao Ji Lu's gaze concentrated on Fang Yuan who was sitting on his wolf. Fang Yuan had a broad shoulder and thin waist, his gaze was sharp and divine. He rode the hump wolf as he was surrounded by wolves, like he was standing at the top of a mountain. Although he was silent, he gave Hao Ji Lu a strong sense of pressure. Wolf King Chong Shan Yin, I have heard of your name since I was young. You are not dead. Water Demon Hao Ji Lu concentrated on guarding against the Yan tribe GU masters as he tried probing Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan was a little more than 300 steps away from Water Demon, he observed him from far away with a plain expression. Water Demon's heart shook. Although the sight blow GU had a wide attack range and could attack anyone who could be seen with his eyes, the further the distance, the weaker the attack would be. A distance of 300 steps was the limit of the sight blow GU, and it had zero threat once the target was further than 300 steps away. Fang Yuan's location made Water Demon very uncomfortable. This was a very peculiar distance. If Water Demon moved a step out, he could hit Fang Yuan, but it felt like Fang Yuan was trying to trick him into doing so. Hao Ji Lu's heart felt greater pressure. If this person really is Chong Shan Yin, I cannot use the sight blow GU to attack him. Sight-based attacks compete the souls of both GU masters. As an enslavement path GU master, his soul is definitely extremely strong. Are you really Chong Shan Yin? What evidence do you have? HMPH, your Yan tribe randomly brought one person to impersonate the Wolf King. Do you think I am a fool? Hao Ji Lu purposely snorted. Yan Tianji laughed coldly. Water Demon, you really failed to recognize Mount Tai. Is the Wolf King so easy to impersonate? When we battle later, you will feel the Wolf King's true power. Lord Chong Shan Yin, it is up to you. Kill this Water Demon, get rid of a great threat to the people. The other Yan tribe elders shouted, trying to make Fang Yuan fight for them. Fang Yuan sat on the wolf back, looking around. When he saw that his wolf group was at their planned location, and encircled this battlefield completely, he knew the time was ripe. His lips curled, revealing a cold and callous smile. He nodded slightly, the killing intent surging in his eyes. Indeed, you reminded me, it is time to strike. As he said that, the wolves howled as they opened their bloodthirsty mouths, flashing their sharp claws and teeth as they charged relentlessly. In an instant, 10,000 wolves attacked and starting killing the GU masters. The Grand Army caused everyone's expressions to change. Chong Shan Yin, what are you doing? How can you attack us? Yan Tianji shouted furiously, while feeling shocked and suspicious. Quickly stop, we are on the same side. Wolf King, are you crazy? You dare to attack us? Our Yan tribe and your Chong tribe had already submitted to young Master Lu Wenwu. The other elders blocked the wolves as they shouted frantically. That is exactly why I am dealing with you all. Go in peace, I will send the Chong tribesmen to accompany you soon enough. Fang Yuan said hatefully, his face distorting into a maniacal expression. Soon after, he shouted, HMPH, I swore long ago, I will take revenge for what happened back then one by one. Back then, when Chong Shan Yin fought Ha Tu Gu and the bandits alone, Chong tribe did not send a single person to help him, there were hidden reasons after all. Water Demon Hao Ji Lu felt his heart jump as he thought of something. He did not expect such a huge change. He dodged the wolves' attacks as he shouted anxiously, Wolf King, I do not wish to be your enemy. The enemy of an enemy is a friend, right? Fang Yuan gave him a cold glance, saying lightly, look at you jumping all over the place, you are simply like a flea, just die together with them. Chapter 472 Power of the Enslavement Path. Chapter 472, Power of the Enslavement Path. What? Water Demon Hao Ji Lu was furious. Ever since he started traveling the world, no one had dared to make such remarks about him or showed such contempt. Wolf King, you are too arrogant. Today, I shall make you pay the price for it. Water Demon Hao Ji-lu roared furiously and pushed forward with his palms. Rank 4, Waterfall Gu. His primeval essence poured crazily into the Gu, causing water vapor to fill the air, then with a rumbling sound, an enormous water stream appeared out of nowhere. The water stream was incomparably fast, just like a waterfall crashing down from a high altitude. The light silver rapid stream brought with it an intense chilly might as it fiercely struck the wolf group. In an instant, over 1,000 wolves died or were injured. The rapid stream spread far away, thoroughly clearing the area around Hao Ji-lu. At the same time, Yan tribe's Gu masters jointly activated a Gu worm. This was a rank 5 wind barrier Gu, and when activated, it formed an enormous wind. The wind was silky, and brought with it some green threads as it surrounded everyone. The wolf group's assault was all blocked by the formless wind. The wild Gu on many wolf kings attacked the wind barrier, but it was like a pebble falling into a sea as the attacks vanished without trace. How can this be? On Crescent Lake, Yan Quier, who was taken as a hostage, looked at the intense battle on the lakeside with a dumbfounded look. She had never expected the situation would develop in such a way. She, who had been the main reason of the fight previously, was now a spectator instead. Hump wolves retreated, pulling distance from Fang Yuan and Water Demon Hao Ji-lu. Idiots! Fang Yuan sneered as he looked at Water Demon Hao Ji-lu charging over, approaching closer, and Yan tribesmen who were in a defensive formation. Water Demon Hao Ji-lu and Yan tribe leader Yan Tianji were 2 rank 4 Gu masters. Moreover, there were also Yan tribe's higher-ups, a dozen or so rank 3 Gu masters. Their strength could be said to be truly formidable. However, an enslavement path Gu master's strength was the ability to fight an army alone. Back then, Chongshan Yin led his wolf group and battled higher realm experts, not only killing rank 5 Gu master Ha Tu Gu, but even exterminating Ha Tu Gu's group of valiant generals. How? Because he was an enslavement path Gu master. At present, the wolf group with Fang Yuan had already taken shape to form a decent size. The wolf group's scale had reached 30,000 and above. Not only did it contain 100 wolf kings and some thousand wolf kings, there was also a night wolf myriad beast king and a young mutated beast white eyes wolf. This scale might not even be half the size of the wolf group Chongshan Yin had at his peak period, but it was already enough to annihilate 2 to 3 Jie tribes. And right now, Fang Yuan only had to deal with just 20 or so Gu masters. It was like using an ox cleaver to kill a chicken. Sure enough, after some time, Water Demon Hao Ji-lu was gasping and his momentum gradually stopped. He felt exhausted. Damn it, such troublesome wolf manipulation skills. There are only some 100 wolf kings and 1,000 wolf kings. Water Demon Hao Ji-lu's gaze towards Fang Yuan had already changed right now. It was not that he had not fought enslavement path Gu masters, but how could those enslavement path Gu masters he had fought before compare to Fang Yuan? Is this the wolf king's wolf manipulation skills? Being in it is like falling into a deep swamp, you sink deeper and deeper. Water Demon Hao Ji-lu's heart turned cold as he kept on warding off the wolf group's assault. He divided a bit of concentration to look into his aperture and grumbled. That intense charge and the activation of many powerful abilities to clear the path had caused his primeval essence to be expended intensely. Now there was less than half his total primeval essence left. Once the primeval essence was at the point of exhaustion, a Gu master's battle strength would start plummeting to the abyss. Hao Ji-lu had no choice but to exercise restraint once he considered this to be a long battle. Like this, his momentum thoroughly disappeared and he was firmly surrounded by the wolf group. Water Demon Hao Ji-lu, a rank 4 Gu master who uses water path Gu worms, has great offense and is an expert at fighting one against many. He roamed all over northern plains since his early years and has committed many crimes, gaining a bad reputation after capturing Yan Quier and successfully extorting Yan tribe. He then went on to participate in the Heroes' Assembly, offering Yan Quier to He Lulan. He Lulan was joyous and gave him great status. After entering Wangting blessed land and making great merits, Hao Ji-lu became He Lulan's number 3 general. Fang Yuan recalled the relevant memories, his gaze flickering faintly. In his past life, this Hao Ji-lu was also able to make a name for himself, and after living actively for 89 years, he was killed by Chongshan Yin. Great offense usually means a huge consumption of primeval essence. Hao Ji-lu is nothing to worry about anymore, and right now, he should be secretly making an escape path for himself. He is good at escaping in water, it will not be easy to make him stay today. After all, there are not many water wolves with me. But my main target is not him, but Yan tribe's GU masters. Fang Yuan turned his gaze towards the Yan tribesmen. Yan tribe's GU masters were experts in defense and were famous for it in northern plains. These GU masters sure enough defended extremely well. Their rank 5 wind barrier GU was simply like a tortoise shell, firmly protecting everyone within it. HMPH, these Yan tribesmen are really naive, they still have the intention to protect their energy and watch from the sidelines when they are trapped. No wonder, history said Yan Tianji was extremely conservative, lacking initiative. Even though they want to stall for time, this is also exactly what I want. Fang Yuan sneered inwardly and intentionally slowed down the wolf group's offense. As time passed, Hao Ji Lu and the Yan tribesmen's primeval essence were also being depleted. Suddenly, a large group of shadows emerged from the woods. Lord Chong Shanyin, we have arrived. Zhe tribe's current tribe leader Zhe Guang arrived with Zhe tribe's GU masters behind him. You came quite fast. Fang Yuan indifferently glanced at him with a profound meaning. Zhe Guang seemed to be pierced by the profound light in Fang Yuan's eyes as he unconsciously lowered his head and thought with reverence, this is the true heroic nature of the Wolf King, I didn't think I would see it today. Yes, after receiving Lord's letter, we immediately hurried over. People need to repay favors. Lord, you have helped our Zhe tribe time and again, Lord's hatred is our Zhe tribe's hatred too. Zhe Guang immediately answered. It would not have been good for Fang Yuan to make a move at Zhe tribe camp, thus, he agreed to Yan tribe on the surface. After gathering all the wolves, he used a GU worm to send a letter when they were halfway to the lake. When Zhe Guang received the letter and read it, his face was immediately filled with shock and horror. Lord Chong Shanyin wants to attack the whole Yan tribe. He could not help but cry out on the spot. Stabilizing his emotions, he continued reading and saw Fang Yuan's reason for it. It turned out that back then, Chong Shanyin's mother had been secretly poisoned and Chong Shanyin entered deep into poison grassland to search for the GU worm that could detoxify the poison. On his way, he was ambushed by Ha Tu GU and his group of experts. The whole matter was a sinister plot. It was due to internal conflict in Chong tribe and a move to suppress Chong Shanyin. In Fang Yuan's past life, after Chong Shanyin was saved by Ma Hongyun, he did not return to his tribe but instead joined Ma Hongyun. It was also because of this reason. Later, after Chong Shanyin helped Ma Hongyun ascend to the position of Lord of the Imperial Court, he targeted Chong tribe, getting rid of all the Chong tribe higher-ups. He then became Chong tribe leader and took revenge for what happened back then. Now, Fang Yuan was using this reason to deal with Yan tribe and persuade Zhe Guang. Zhe tribe originally had ties of friendship with Chong tribe. When old Zhe tribe leader had first met Fang Yuan, he had said that his second daughter was married in Chong tribe. But after Zhe Guang read the letter, he immediately made a decision to stand with Fang Yuan. Zhe Guang, you have matured, Zhe tribe will prosper under your rule. Fang Yuan lightly commented while sitting on a wolf, then waved his hand, you don't need to move in this battle. It will be enough for you guys to make a tight encirclement. Remember that every Yan tribe elder that we block means a higher chance of success when we attack Yan tribe camp. Yes, Junior shall listen to Wolf King's instruction. Zhe Guang agreed and brought the group of GU masters to outside the battlefield, forming an encirclement formation. Seeing Zhe tribe GU masters coming over to reinforce Fang Yuan, Yan tribe GU masters were shocked and furious. Zhe Guang, you despicable, shameless scoundrel! A Yan tribe elder shouted furiously. Zhe tribe, you have made a wrong decision. Making our Yan tribe your enemy means you are going against young Master Lu Wenwu. None of you will have a good end. Another elder cursed. Zhe Guang sneered, his heart filled with disdain. Bringing out Lu tribe's name when their death was imminent, was there any use? We cannot wait any longer, we need to charge and break through. Yan tribe elders realized the severity of the situation as they shouted with ashen expressions. Go! Yan tribesmen charged together, attempting to carve out a blood path. Pill Fire GU, Gold Silkworm GU, Frost Breath GU, Snowball GU, Tornado GU, Thunderclap GU, Fire Claw GU and other GU were activated one after another. Fire and snow continually shot out, Golden Silkworm turned into a light ray and charged, Blue Frost Breath was breathed out, Tornado caused havoc, Thunder rumbled in all directions, flames formed into claws and attacked. Under this fierce assault from Yan tribe's GU masters, Fang Yuan's wolf group suffered heavy injuries, but they moved forward unceasingly, coming waves after waves disregarding their death. These GU masters might be experts among mortals, formed from rank 3 and rank 4, but so what? Fang Yuan maneuvered the wolf group while sitting on a wolf. He had wolfman soul, which made it a lot easier for him to maneuver these wolf group than when he had 100-man soul. It was as smooth as a wolf king personally commandeering them. Fang Yuan's expression did not change at the sight of the wolves dying like flies. He remained aloof and indifferent. These wolves were only ordinary wild beasts. If they died, then so be it. There was no heartache over it. Instead, using them as cannon fodder to wear down these Gu masters' primeval essence would be a great beneficial deal. The weakness of these Yan tribe Gu masters was their low numbers. Although they were experts, they lacked subordinates to share the pressure of the battlefield. The battle was already in Fang Yuan's control and was moving in his intended direction. They simply did not have time to calm down and recover their primeval essence. Terrifying, there is actually such a fearsome wolf manipulation skill in this world. A Yan tribe's elder said with ashen face. Could it be that we are going to die like this? The aura of death was already pouncing upon them. Chong Shanyin, by killing us, are you not afraid young Master Lu Wenwu would take revenge? An elder was hoping to pressure Fang Yuan. Charge, don't stop, Yan Tianji shouted. His voice had already become hoarse and his primeval essence was less than half of his total amount. Chapter 473 Righteous Path Hero. Chapter 473, Righteous Path Hero. It is time, Fang Yuan willed, as the Night Wolf Myriad Beast King brought over a dozen Night Wolf Thousand Beast Kings and entered the battle, blocking the Yan tribe Gu masters. Under the wolf group's attacks, Yan tribe suffered their first death. Wolf Howl Gu. Fang Yuan howled at the sky, crying like a wolf as his voice spread far and wide, increasing the wolf group's battle strength. Wolf Smoke Gu. Immediately after, he emitted dense smoke that engulfed the battlefield, healing the wolves' injuries. Yan tribe were shocked. Water demon Hao Ji Lu's face became pale and white. Earlier, Fang Yuan merely dispatched his wolves. Now that he joined in, he turned to advantage into a victory. Tens of hateful, frightened, furious, and icy gazes shot towards Fang Yuan. Under everyone's stare, Fang Yuan smiled lightly as he moved backwards with the hump wolf, pulling some distance from Yan tribe's gang. To prevent the beheading the leader tactic, Fang Yuan had many wolves around him. He even had a White Eyes wolf. Although it had not matured yet, it still surpassed ordinary 100 wolf kings in terms of battle strength. Seeing Fang Yuan's movement, the trapped Gu masters felt their hearts sinking as their spirits dampened. They had a feeling of being captured by a demon and had no way to escape. Time continued to pass. Yan tribe Gu masters seemed to have fallen into a swamp as they sank deeper as they struggled. Fang Yuan had used cannon fodder wolves earlier to expend their primeval essence. The effect was starting to show. Yan tribe elders died in battle one by one, as a sad and angry atmosphere took over the battlefield. Chong Shanyin, I will not let you off even as a ghost. An elder screamed, cursing before his death. But this curse only made Fang Yuan scoff coldly in his heart. You have no chance to be a ghost, your soul will become fertilizer for Danghun Mountain. Wolf King, fight me alone if you dare. Yan tribe's battle hall elder screamed. Come, you coward, you chicken. He tried to provoke Fang Yuan, using the last drop of his primeval essence to charge at Fang Yuan for the final time. Fang Yuan looked at him expressionlessly. As he willed, the wolves charged over like a wave and ripped the battle hall elder to shreds even before he got near. As the wolves dispersed, his broken corpse remained on the ground. His bones were showing as blood poured out, his furious eyes were staring wide towards the air. Battle hall elder, Yan Tianji growled, his body was trembling. With the sacrifice of each elder, an intense pain assaulted his heart every time. He was turning numb from the anguish. Chong Shanyin, you will die a painful death. In spite of being a righteous hero, you actually assaulted your comrades. You will not have a good ending. Young Master Lu Wenwu will take revenge for us. Yan Tianji's face was full of hatred, his expression twisting into an ugly sight. If it was possible, he would love to eat Fang Yuan's flesh and drink his blood. HMPH, the curses of a loser is just like the whimpering of a dog before death. Entrusting your hopes of revenge to others, that is a weakling's mentality. Fang Yuan evaluated coldly before waving his hand, as the Night Wolf Myriad Beast King burst out like a dark lightning, sending Yan Tianji flying. Yan Tianji's primeval essence was expended. After this blow, almost all his bones were broken. He was like a kite with its strings cut, flying far away and drawing an arc of red blood in the air. When he landed, his entire body was smashed as he no longer breathed. Lord, Zhe Guang led a band of elders as he hurried over. Wolf King is mighty. After this battle, Yan tribe's higher-ups were all exterminated. There was only one rank 3 elder left in Yan tribe camp. The letter Gu that Yan Tianji sent out was obstructed by us. Yan tribe has no idea what just happened now. It is a good time to assault them. Zhe tribe's battle hall elder shouted. It is a pity that water demon Hao Jilu escaped. Lord Wolf King, do you think we should chase after water demon or take down Yan tribe camp? Zhe Guang asked. Fang Yuan smiled indifferently. Of course we attack Yan tribe camp. A clam Gu spun its body as it dived in Crescent Lake rapidly. Swoosh. The clam drilled out of the water surface as its shells opened, shoot out two people who were inside. They were a male and a female. The male was water demon Hao Jilu, and the female was Yan tribe's big missy Yan Quier. Huff huff huff. Hao Jilu's breathed roughly as he looked behind with lingering fear. He only relaxed after seeing there was no one chasing him. This was a floating island on Crescent Lake. When Hao Jilu was scouting the area, he chose this as his third route to escape. Wolf King Chong Shan Yin, Hao Jilu muttered this name in his heart. Hatred, anguish, fear, and shock were flashing in his eyes as he showed a complex expression. Until now, he had never faced such a huge loss. With rank 4 upper stage cultivation, he could roam northern plains freely. But today, he met Fang Yuan and felt an unprecedented weakness, helplessness, and loneliness. This is the strength of an enslavement path Gu master. This is not even his peak condition. Back then, Chong Shan Yin could kill Ha Tu Gu who was a realm higher than him, and exterminate the entire group of bandits. How great was his strength back then? Hao Jilu thought about this as he felt difficulty in breathing. Fang Yuan's wolf manipulation skills made him think of Zhang Baoya, Yang Po Ying and Ma Zun. It seems that among the first-rate enslavement masters in northern plains, they would no longer be just 3 people, but it would be a contest among 4. Luckily, he did not have many water wolves with him, otherwise I would be dead meat today. Thinking of the dangerous scene when he escaped for his life, Hao Jilu felt a great fear. But why do I have the feeling that Chong Shan Yin purposely gave me a way out? Hao Jilu was a vigilant person. When he recalled the scene, he felt a sense of suspicion. A pity that Yan tribe's higher-ups were all killed by Chong Shan Yin. I can no longer extort them. But forget about that, I have already obtained backwater battle Gu. This trip was a success. Now, I should follow my original plan and escort this Yan tribe missy to young master He Lu Lan, as a gift. Thinking so, Hao Jilu's eyes shone with brilliance. The 10-year blizzard of northern plains, it was a huge challenge even for lone traveling demonic Gu masters. But with the lack of resources, Hao Jilu wanted to use the heroes' assembly to join a certain force. If he was lucky enough to enter the imperial court, not only will Hao Jilu keep his life, his cultivation would even go a step further. There were a few favorite candidates in this contest to be the lord of the imperial court. Hao Jilu thought about it and decided to bet on the most popular person, young master He Lu Lan. He Lu Lan's lecherous nature was known to all. If Hao Jilu gave Yan Quier to him, he would be handsomely rewarded. Yan Quier was not only beautiful like a flower, she also had a special identity, the fiancée of young master Lu Wenwu. And Lu Wenwu was one of He Lu Lan's fiercest competitors in this contest for the imperial court. Making your arch-enemy's fiancé part of your harem, this was an irresistible temptation to He Lu Lan. If Yan tribe was still around, this gift would be extremely importantly. Unfortunately, after Wolf King killed Yan tribe's higher-ups, he would definitely deal with Yan tribe. Thinking of this, Hao Jilu gave a mocking gaze at the dazed Yan Quier, whistling. He made fun of her. Little beauty, you have to thank me. If I did not save you, you would have died in the hands of Chong Shan Yin. Yan Quier's thick brows moved as she seemed to have woken up from a nightmare. What do you mean? HMPH, what meaning is there? Chong Shan Yin killed your father and all the elders with him. He will definitely take over Yan tribe. The wolf group must be on their way to Yan tribe camp already. He, you were a young missy, but now, you're going to be alone soon. No way. Yan Quier shook her head, her expression was pale. She tried her best to deny it, but her logic told her that Hao Jilu's conjecture was accurate. Chong Shan Yin is a great righteous hero, how could he do something like this? She refused to face such a cruel reality, her tears fell like pearls as they flowed down her cheeks, onto the ground. The crying of a beauty, the weeping of a lady, it was a painful scene. Righteous hero, Hao Jilu sneered. Sometimes, righteous heroes are more terrifying than us demonic path cultivators. I only kidnapped you and extorted your tribe, but when Chong Shan Yin strikes, he would destroy and devour your tribe. The worst thing is, he has a proper reason to do so, claiming he is taking revenge, he is the ultimate victor. Once Yan tribe is gone, who can rebuke him? HMPH, this is the truth of this dogshit world. Yan Kuier was in shock as she listened. Suddenly she kneeled on the ground as she grabbed Hao Jilu's pants, begging, please, please save my Yan tribe. My father's letter Gu were all blocked. Yan tribe is without a leader now, and have no clue what is coming, they don't know the danger waiting for them. The world was wondrous and cruel. Yan Kuier had never thought that one day, she would kneel down on the ground and beg the enemy she had hated the most. My father is dead, I am Yan tribe's next leader. Hao Jilu, help me, send a letter for me and inform them. As long as Yan tribe remains, I am Yan tribe leader, I can decide on this and make you Yan tribe's external elder, all of our resources will be yours to use. Yan Kuier gave her side of the deal. The words made water demon Hao Jilu's heart jump, external elder. Yan tribe's resources. It was a good suggestion. But when Fang Yuan's figure appeared in Hao Jilu's mind, he shuddered. HMPH, you dare to tempt me. His expression changed as he gave Yan Kuier a tight slap. Yan Kuier grabbed her face as her tears fell, completely stunned by this as she looked at Hao Jilu blankly. Don't worry, I have already found a good partner for you. He. Hao Jilu laughed as he grabbed Yan Kuier, tossing her into the clam Gu. The large clam's shells closed, as Hao Jilu stepped on the water surface, giving the shore one last look. At Yan tribe camp's position, there were huge fires as smoke rose into the air. Yan tribe is finished. Hao Jilu was gloating, but he also felt a chill in his heart. This world worked on the survival of the fittest. There is one mountain higher than a mountain, and a person stronger than another person. Yan tribe was a huge force to him, but to Chong Shanyin, it was just a plump juicy meat. In the following competition for the imperial court, Northern Plains will definitely be shook as heroes and conquerors arise. I wonder how many people will lose their lives. Hao Jilu sighed and exclaimed as he traveled west on the large clam. Chapter 474 Surrender. Chapter 474, Surrender. In the fire of war that spread everywhere, the wolf group surged forward with craze. The attack on Yan tribe camp had already lasted for 4 hours. Yan tribe's Gu masters were experts at defense, but because of the successful ambush and there being no leader, the Yan tribe camp was already ruined beyond recognition by now. There were broken walls everywhere along with human and wolf corpses. Brothers, hold on, we need to hold on. In the center of the camp, the remaining forces of Yan tribe stubbornly resisted. However, the wolf group surged forward with no end, and the whole defense line was already on the verge of collapse. Kill these invaders. Despicable J tribe, I curse your entire clan to perish. Besides these curses, there were also the weeping of the old and feeble, the women and the children. Seeing their family and friends behind them, the already exhausted Yan tribesmen squeezed out every bit of strength they could muster. In their hearts, a thought kept them going, telling them to hold up their defense, that they must defend. Behind them were their wives, children and their parents. If they could not resist, then all their relatives would end up in the wolves' mouths. Suddenly, 1,000 Wolf King broke through the battle line and charged into the depths of the formation. No, careful, get away. The Gu masters at the front line roared with fury in their eyes, but it was already too late for them to rescue anyone. They could only stare as the 1,000 Wolf King opened its bloody mouth and started slaughtering the old, feeble, women and children. Bastard, you are looking for death. At this time, a seriously injured Gu master who was lying on the ground with just one hand and one leg remaining, jumped up with a strength that God knew where it came from and threw himself into the wolf's mouth. The 1,000 Wolf King bit his waist and almost severed him into two. The Gu master foamed from his mouth, and gave a desperate yet satisfied smile. He fiercely clenched the wolf's head and roared, "Evil beast, die with me." With that, he self-destructed, blood splashed everywhere and the 1,000 Beast King also died with him. The encircling J tribesmen all saw this scene. Someone sighed, Yan tribe's sons are so brave. Fang Yuan lightly nodded. Although Yan tribe did not show initiative, they were experts at defense and were extremely united. In this invasion, the number of wolves that died were truly beyond his original estimation. However, Fang Yuan did not feel any pain and snorted, "What is the use even if they were to be more brave? Those defeated usually have no hope of reprieve. This is the cruelty of the struggle for imperial court. Okay, this is enough, go ask them to surrender." These words caused the J tribe's Gu masters to feel a chill. If they were ever to be defeated, their tribe would be at the same state as the Yan tribe before them. However, when their gaze landed on Fang Yuan, their heart relaxed. With the Wolf King beside us, our J tribe has a great tree to lean on. We still need to rely on the Wolf King to lead us. The intense and fierce battlefield gradually quietened. The wolf group stopped their offense and slowly retreated, opening up a path. A Zhe tribe elder moved through the path and appeared before Yan tribesmen. Yan tribesmen, surrender. The Zhe tribe elder shouted loudly, Northern Plains elites are those who can adapt to circumstances. Bullshit. I shall never surrender to you shameless sneak attackers. Come, just cut my head off. Yan tribe's descendants would rather die than surrender. Some GU masters roared furiously, but there were also some whose gaze loosened and showed hesitation. The Zhe tribe elder sneered, if you don't surrender, we won't lose anything in killing you all. But shouldn't you consider your wives and children behind you? They will die a cruel death just because of your stubborn resistance. You will be the ones who harm them. These words caused the Yan tribe's remnant forces to quieten. The chilly wind blew across everyone's faces. Those Yan tribe's GU masters who had been roaring furiously had a sluggish expression now. They looked back and their expressions turned soft. Only the Yan tribe elder felt extreme hatred towards Zhe tribe's psychological tactics when he sensed everyone's fighting spirit crumbling. However, this discontent, when it reached his mouth, turned into a sigh. Under everyone's gazes, he walked forward and said forcibly, our Yan tribe surrenders. Lord Elder. Yan tribe's GU masters shouted one after another, some couldn't believe it, some wept with grief and some felt relieved. At the same time, Zhe tribe's GU masters also rejoiced. Victory, victory, the situation is set, we have annexed Yan tribe. They were both at the same place, but their situation was as different as cloud was from mud. Gather the troops and clean up the battlefield. Zhe Guang also had a joy he could hardly contain on his face. Considering their strength, Zhe tribe was below Yan tribe, but they were able to swallow this big force in one move. As long as we digest these war spoils, our Zhe tribe's strength will increase by 3 times, even surpassing the strength we had back at Hongyan Valley. This is all thanks to Lord Chongshan Yin. Zhe Guang could not help looking at Fang Yuan when he thought of this. Truthfully, Zhe Guang had hesitated when he received Fang Yuan's letter. But this hesitation was only for an instant before it turned into resolution. The fact had proved his choice was a correct one. If I had refused the Wolf King back then, I'm afraid our Zhe tribe would have had the same ending as the Yan tribe. Zhe Guang's reverence towards Fang Yuan deepened by another level. Fang Yuan sized up the whole Yan tribe camp from above the hump wolf. There were broken debris everywhere, fire still lingered, corpses littered the place and blood dyed the ground red. All the Yan tribesmen who were hiding were searched and arrested. Yan tribe's GU masters were tied with manacles and leg irons, their GU worms seized and their primeval essence locked as they were taken as captives and were strictly watched. Fang Yuan's expression was tranquil, he had seen such situations many times. In the great battle of 5 regions in his previous life, the situation had been much more bitter and terrifying than this. Yan tribe is annihilated, next is the heroes' assembly. Before this, I need to return to Immortal blessed land. I also need to go to Langya blessed land once, if my luck is good. 3 days later, it was a night where many stars filled the sky. Fang Yuan led the wolf group and came upon a remote area. He first used moving perspective cup GU to communicate with Little Hu Immortal, then used Stargate GU to return back to Hu Immortal blessed land. This time, thousands of wolves entered with him. These wolves were either injured or old with weak battle strength. Ordinary enslavement path GU master's only choice, in this case, would be to sacrifice them as cannon fodder in battle to stop them from consuming more rations. However, Fang Yuan possessed a blessed land and thus had a better option. That was to breed them. These wild wolves can reproduce at the blessed land and several months later, they should be able to give birth to wolf cubs. Fang Yuan moved this wolf group to the western part of the blessed land. In this world, the wild beasts' ability to reproduce were very strong. Adding on to the Hu Immortal blessed land's 6 times faster time flow than northern plains, Fang Yuan's troops would from now on be self-replenished. With this, Hu Immortal blessed land's western part became the wolf group's farming land, the northern part was almost completely cut off by Fang Yuan, eastern part was covered with dark clouds along with tens of lakes which filled the air with moisture, and the southern part was the stone men's homeland. In the center was Danghun Mountain which was gradually dying after being struck by Gruel Mud Gu. Master, I have already settled down the starlight worms according to your instructions. Come take a look. Little Hu Immortal was extremely happy at seeing Fang Yuan again, and dragged Fang Yuan to the eastern part of the blessed land. Master, look up, Little Hu Immortal said with a delicate voice. Fang Yuan looked up at the sky, and saw a large expanse of light blue color clouds. Threads of starlight shone down like a dreamy gauze and shook gently with the breeze. The scene was very beautiful, as if it was carved out of a painting. Fang Yuan looked carefully and discovered these clouds were not originally blue color, but rather a large number of star fragment grass were planted on them. Star fragment grass were deep blue in color, and starlight fireflies fluttered among the grass, shining with specks of light. Moreover, among the starlight fireflies were starlight firefly GU that blossomed with true starlight radiance. Not bad, Fang Yuan evaluated. Little Hu Immortal immediately squinted her eyes in happiness, rubbing her small head against Fang Yuan's hand and said with her delicate voice, "Master, pat me." Fang Yuan lightly smiled and rubbed Little Hu Immortal's head. Little Hu Immortal's long snowy tail immediately curled, the two furry ears on her head also lowered gently and her face reddened in happiness. Fang Yuan had bought many star fragment grass from Treasure Yellow Heaven. However, the grass was extremely peculiar and could not be planted on any mortal soil, only on clouds. When they had transacted, Fairy Yao Guang had suggested Fang Yuan to buy cloud soil to raise star fragment grass. But Fang Yuan did not take her suggestion because there were enormous scale of dark clouds in Hu Immortal Blessed Land. These dark clouds were created from the water and fire collision, when Fang Yuan eradicated the earthly calamities, effects. The dark clouds did not dissipate and covered the eastern part of Hu Immortal Blessed Land, and was a problem that was neither big nor small. It had been obstructing light for a long time and was affecting the whole eastern part's ecology. However, now, Fang Yuan used it to plant star fragment grass and turned this calamity into fortune. Not only was it making use of trash, but it also saved Fang Yuan a lot of expenses in buying large amounts of cloud soil. At present, large plots of star fragment grass were already growing on the dark clouds. The starlight firefly worms lived among them, filling the whole eastern land with beautiful starlight. As long as I properly cultivate these star fragment grass, there will be guarantee in the reproduction of the starlight firefly worms. In future, there will be much more starlight firefly GU to use. If the cultivation raises to an optimum level and there is a surplus of starlight firefly GU, I can put them at Treasure Yellow Heaven to sell. In the Battle of 5 Great Regions, starlight firefly worms will be one of the GU worms with most demand. Fang Yuan slightly looked forward to the beautiful future, before returning to Dang Hun Mountain with Little Hu Immortal. Standing at the peak of the mountain, he grabbed the soul burial toad GU. When he besieged Yan tribe's higher-ups and during the whole process of attacking Yan tribe camp, he had been using the soul burial toad to collect the souls on the battlefield. He released all the souls from the soul burial toad. These pitiful souls had just exited when they were shaken up by the mystical power of Dang Hun Mountain, and were turned into the purest nutrient, nourishing the whole Dang Hun Mountain. Tomorrow, Dang Hun Mountain will again be filled with guts GU. Fang Yuan nodded his head with satisfaction. Gathering large numbers of souls was one of the reasons why he killed Yan tribe. Tonight, it is time for me to break through to rank 5. Fang Yuan's cultivation did not receive any suppression when he got back to Hu Immortal Blessed Land, he was at true rank 4 peak stage. He had already stayed at rank 4 peak stage for a long time. And with his current a great aptitude, it was time to challenge the boundaries of rank 5 realm. Chapter 475 Soaring Cultivation. Chapter 475, Soaring Cultivation. Rumble. The 90% primeval sea in the aperture surged with high waves, and true gold primeval essence shone brightly on the aperture walls. The aperture walls were also extraordinary, sparkling and clear like crystals, containing life force in them. This was the crystal membrane of rank 4 peak stage realm. Waves continually surged, reaching towards the sky. Then, they crashed towards the crystal membrane wave after waves. At first, the crystal membrane was like the reef of a sea, being unmovable. But it gradually became unable to endure the fierce waves and cracks started appearing. As time passed, bigger cracks appeared. The primeval sea slowly reduced, while the crystal membrane was full of cracks and appeared extremely fragile. However, there was still a little distance left from breakthrough. Fang Yuan was sitting cross-legged on the bed with both his eyes closed, and almost all his attention was on the aperture. He possessed 90% aptitude, which was classified as a grade, and also had very deep accumulation. He could break through to rank 5 realm just by relying on his own strength. Right now, there was about 20% left of the primeval sea. The sea waves had also weakened and was getting to the point of being tranquil. But suddenly, as if it was accumulating its strength, a huge wave erupted out of the true gold primeval sea. This wave was fierce and majestic, surpassing any of the waves from before. It was like a tsunami, soaring up and then fiercely smashing towards the aperture walls. Boom! A soft sound echoed, and the aperture walls were finally unable to bear the pressure. They were smashed into pieces by this enormous wave. The shattered fragments of the crystal aperture walls were like a broken ice mountain, and as they fell into the sea they turned into pure essence before slowly melting down. After a while, the fragments on the crystal walls had all fallen down, leaving behind a light membrane that covered everything. The light membrane was dazzling with very powerful aura, far surpassing the rank 4 peak stage crystal wall. This was the appearance of a true rank 5 initial stage. Following it, a trace of light purple primeval essence appeared in the depths of the sea. Rank 1 GU Masters had green copper primeval essence, rank 2 had red iron primeval essence, rank 3 had white silver primeval essence, rank 4 had yellow gold primeval essence, and rank 5 was purple crystal primeval essence. Although it was only a thread of light purple, it was a qualitative difference. From now on, Fang Yuan's primeval essence would be light purple primeval essence. Since my rebirth, I have wandered around everywhere, drifting miserably. Yet now I am finally a rank 5 GU master. Inside Danghun Palace, Fang Yuan slowly opened his eyes and sighed with joy. Rank 5 GU masters were the lords in this mortal world, the true peak stage. Those who could cultivate to this stage were not even 1 in 10,000. If it were others, they might have already become wild with joy. However, Fang Yuan had already experienced this in his previous life. Right now, rather than ecstasy, what he felt was joy towards his future prospects. Compared to my previous life, being able to enter rank 5 at such a young age is truly a success. Fang Yuan was only 30 and so at present, cultivating to rank 5 at this age was a performance that would only be seen in the absolute top geniuses of the 5 great regions. But rank 5 is not my end point, it is only a starting point. Next, I need to once again advance to GU Immortal. Those genius GU masters would feel some hesitation when they talked about charging to GU Immortal realm. However, Fang Yuan had his previous life's experiences, thus he had plenty of confidence in advancing to GU Immortal realm. After becoming a GU Immortal, the deadly crisis from Spring-Autumn Cicada can be completely resolved. Fang Yuan looked at Spring-Autumn Cicada. Since this rebirth, Spring-Autumn Cicada had fallen into deep hibernation, continually absorbing the water from River of Time and recuperating. Right now, it had already mostly recovered and a faint pressure was filling Fang Yuan's aperture. For a long time now, Spring-Autumn Cicada was like a guillotine hovering above Fang Yuan's neck. As time passed, this enormous guillotine would move closer towards his neck. Spring-Autumn Cicada gave Fang Yuan an enormous death threat, forcing him to risk dangers and do everything he could to advance his cultivation. Only by reaching the rank 6 GU Immortal realm, could Fang Yuan's aperture be able to store Spring-Autumn Cicada. At that time, Fang Yuan would have more freedom and leisure, and not be so repressed like now. Light purple primeval essence continually appeared in the aperture, settling down below the remaining gold primeval essence. Fang Yuan gathered his concentration and slowly stood up, walking out of this secret room and into another room. There were several large vats in this room. There was green liquid in the vats and a purple crystal relic GU was floating on each liquid. There were 6 purple crystal relic GU. Most of them had been purchased by Fang Yuan or Little Who Immortal from Treasure Yellow Heaven. Purple crystal relic GU could raise a rank 5 GU master's cultivation. Fang Yuan had paid a considerable price for them. Fang Yuan only required 3 purple crystal relic GU to raise his cultivation to the peak stage. But right now, he looked at the vats with various liquids. One vat had muddy green liquid, another had a mixture of green and yellow, and the purple crystal relic GU on 2 of the vats had tiny purple black hair growing out of them. The remaining 2 vats had clear green liquid with no change. Fang Yuan snorted. Most of these 6 purple crystal relic GU had been tampered with. With his 500 years of experience, Fang Yuan was able to conjecture something wrong with these relic GU. Among the purple crystal relic GU in these 6 vats of green liquid, only 2 could be used. Fang Yuan immediately took out the 2 purple crystal relic GU from the clear green liquid and used them. Using 2 relic GU, Fang Yuan's cultivation immediately rose to rank 5 upper stage realm. Fang Yuan again took out 2 purple crystal relic GU whose bodies were filled with tiny hairs, and repeatedly used them. The 2 relic GU's strength combined and was able to raise his cultivation to rank 5 peak stage. In a short period of time, Fang Yuan advanced from rank 5 initial stage to rank 5 peak stage, completing an enormous jump. Moreover, relic GU had no side effects and would not cause his foundation to weaken. GU Master's cultivation was extremely focused on resources. As long as there were enough resources, cultivation could make rapid progress. Theoretically, as long as one had sufficient relic GU, a GU master's cultivation could advance in a lightning speed. But in reality, extremely few GU masters did this. One reason was that relic GU could only raise a GU master's cultivation by a small realm. Every great realm required the GU masters to break through by themselves. It was extremely easy to raise cultivation with enough relic GU, but this would instead cause normal GU masters to be reliant on them, and breaking through a great realm would become much harder. Second, higher realm did not represent everything. To survive in this cruel world, one still needed planning, wisdom, opportunity, experience and training. A sudden increase in strength without the knowledge to control it was like an infant brandishing a broadsword. They could injure somebody and injure themselves. Third, relic GU were extremely expensive. Few GU masters could enjoy advancing so lavishly. Even if a GU immortal's descendants could enjoy such treatment, their elders would not allow them to be so spoiled. Finally, there was an even more important point, and that was aptitude. Without good aptitude, relic GU would have no use even if there were more of it. Fang Yuan could smoothly advance to rank 5 because of his experience and also the great help from a great aptitude. Fang Yuan might be the only one who could use relic GU like this repeatedly to sharply raise his cultivation. If it were other rank 5 GU masters, even if they were geniuses from the Shanghaus clan, they would still have to follow the prescribed order. After all, a GU master's cultivation still required long training of GU worms. High cultivation could not directly indicate the battle strength. It was no more than making oneself look like a fat target. Previous life experiences were Fang Yuan's great wealth that allowed him to smoothly control this burst of strength. Unknowingly, a night had already passed while dashing through the cultivation levels. Fang Yuan walked out of Danghun Palace and onto Danghun Mountain. Just like he expected, many guts GU had grown on the mountain rocks. He walked a few steps and crouched, casually kneading one, but it was only a pile of yellow mud. Even since Danghun Mountain was struck by immortal GU gruel mud, it gradually began to die and a part of the guts GU created on it would become yellow paste. Fang Yuan's expression did not change as he had already expected this. He again pinched 7 to 8 guts GU. But in this process, he only got 2 good guts GU. Using their strength, his wolfman soul slightly strengthened once more. The immortal GU gruel mud strength has already invaded deep. I remember that 4 to 5 guts GU would be intact out of 10. Now, only 3 or 4 are good. Fang Yuan sighed. Although these yellow mud were all gruel mud and could be sold at Treasure Yellow Heaven, but compared to the guts GU, the difference in worth was as different as night and day, and was an enormous loss. Fortunately, all these guts GU belonged to Fang Yuan alone. Although 6 or 7 out of 10 guts GU were useless, with their enormous numbers it was still enough for Fang Yuan's soul to progress greatly. Now, I am at rank 5 peak stage, and the next step would be to attack the GU Immortal realm. But this matter is quite difficult and I need many preparations and attempt it slowly. Fang Yuan inwardly planned. With rank 5 peak stage aperture, Spring-Autumn Cicada's pressure had greatly resolved. The urgent matter was to rescue Danghun Mountain. Though Danghun Mountain was dying, saving it would be a great help to Fang Yuan's future cultivation, even after he advanced to GU Immortal realm. After completely cleaning off all the guts GU on the mountain, Fang Yuan entered Danghun Palace again and collaborated with Little Hu Immortal to activate Connecting Heaven GU. Wave after waves of divine sense were mutually tangling up in Treasure Yellow Heaven. Just after they opened Connecting Heaven GU, a large divine sense rush was transmitted to Little Hu Immortal, asking about the price of gruel mud. Fang Yuan had sold great amounts of gruel mud and this attracted many GU Immortals' interest. Using these gruel mud for the immortal GU recipe, one could refine the immortal GU gruel mud. Although this GU could only be used once, it was a genuine immortal GU. In this environment where immortal GU were scarce, GU Immortals scrabbled madly for Fang Yuan's gruel mud. As for these gruel mud, Fang Yuan's price was immortal GU gruel mud's recipe. Originally, these GU Immortals brought incomparably damaged remnant recipes that did not have even 10 feet of treasure light. But after a few days, the recipes these GU Immortals brought out had already reached a treasure light of 30 to 40 feet. Fang Yuan still kept on disregarding them. He had large amounts of gruel mud to sell. In fact, none of the gruel mud recipes that appeared nowadays could satisfy him. Chapter 476 Air Bubble Fish. Chapter 476, Air Bubble Fish. Translator, Chibi General. Editor, Chibi General. Connecting Heaven GU inlaid itself in the air. Figures of wolves flashed past one after another in the mirror. Suddenly, the scene fixed itself on a turtleback myriad wolf king. Turtleback wolves possessed broad physique, their whole body was dark green and they had dark blue eyes. Every turtleback wolf had shell like that of a turtle. This shell was very heavy and about 1/3 of a turtleback wolf's weight was due to it. Apart from defensive purpose, it could also store nutrition just like camels. This species had the strongest defense among the wolves. And the myriad beast wolf king that showed on Connecting Heaven GU was no doubt even more enormous, being 10 times larger than ordinary turtleback wolves. Its turtleback was towering high, the strong shell shone with bronze color, giving a feeling of abundant strength and power. The scale of the wolf group I have is close to 30,000. They can mainly be divided into 3 wolf groups: turtleback wolves, night wolves and wind wolves. There are around 10,000 wolves in each group. Besides them, there are also few poison-beard wolves which were obtained from the poisonous grassland. There are also over 100 water wolves which I bought because of White Eyes Wolf. Originally, Fang Yuan had over 30,000 wolves. But after several battles, the loss accumulated and now he only had around 27,000. After he sent the old, weak and injured wolves sent to Immortal blessed land, the number of wolves left was less than 25,000. Thus, they needed to be replenished. If ordinary enslavement path GU masters wanted to replenish their beast group, they would need to organize a group to hunt, requiring much effort and time, moreover they could not take in too big of a beast group. Fang Yuan, however, after possessing Connecting Heaven GU, was like standing on a GU Immortal's shoulder. He had one more option than ordinary GU masters, that is to purchase the beast groups in Treasure Yellow Heaven. Most blessed lands would breed wild beasts. However, when the beast population increased a lot, they would influence the ecology of the blessed lands, and the GU Immortals that controlled the blessed lands would put them for sale in Treasure Yellow Heaven. Like this, not only could it reduce the pressure on the blessed land, it could also provide some revenue. Similarly, many GU Immortals who wanted to nurture the blessed land and replenish the ecology, would purchase some beasts to breed in their blessed lands. Thus, transactions of beast groups was extremely common in Treasure Yellow Heaven. There were many dazzling lineups of wolf groups put for sale in Treasure Yellow Heaven. Northern Plains night wolves, wind wolves, water wolves, poison-beard wolves, turtleback wolves, southern borders lightning wolves, azure wolves, blood wolves, two-headed wolves, western deserts silk wolves, pearl wolves, sand wolves, tyrant wolves, eastern seas ink wolves, greed wolves, red wolves, goldback wolves, central continent's white eyes wolves, star wolves, color wolves, blood wolves. The wolves put for sale were not only common wild beasts, but also mutated beasts like white eyes wolves, tyrant wolves and greed wolves. Of course, there were no desolate beast-level wolves which had battle strength comparable to GU Immortals. But Fang Yuan knew there was a desolate beast peach wolf in Langya blessed land. Among the 3 greatest wolf groups I have, only night wolf group has a myriad beast king. If my wind wolves and turtleback wolves also had myriad beast kings to unite them, I would not need to control the 100 wolf kings and 1,000 wolf kings. It will greatly reduce the burden when I command them. By reducing the burden on my soul, I can then take in even more wolf groups. Fang Yuan did not intend to replace the wolf groups, that would be a superfluous move. He decided to strengthen the wolf group on him. Little Who Immortal sent the divine sense for him and inquired the price of this turtleback myriad wolf king. The GU Immortal who put it for sale called himself South Sea Turtle Immortal. He wanted 10,000 stalks of blowpipe grass. Blowpipe grass was the specialty of northern plains. Every grass looked like an erect long pipe. When wind blew, the wind would enter the small holes on the grass and produce pleasant pipe sounds. Blowpipe grass was a common material used in GU refinement. At the same time, a large expanse of blowpipe grass would slowly give birth to some sound path and wood path GU worms. Fang Yuan did not have any blowpipe grass, and although he knew their location, this season was not the time for them to grow and they were all just seeds buried under the earth. Fang Yuan knew this situation, but did not give up and made Little Who Immortal ask and see if he accepts immortal essence stones. Little Who Immortal conveyed with her divine sense and after communicating for a moment, she reported, "Master, he says he can sell 20,000 turtleback wolves, but he is asking for 2 immortal essence stones." Fang Yuan scoffed. This was a very expensive price. Immortal essence stones were very precious. Turtleback wolves were no more than ordinary wild beasts, but transactions required the process of bargaining. After some haggling, Fang Yuan used an immortal essence stones to buy 30,000 turtleback wolves and 1 turtleback myriad wolf king from South Sea Turtle Immortal. After the transaction was finished, Fang Yuan bought another 18,000 wind wolves and 1 wind wolf myriad beast king. He replenished 20,000 night wolves, 5,000 poison-beard wolves and 6,000 water wolves. Altogether, he spent 2.5 immortal essence stones. It was not over yet. The wolf groups entered Immortal blessed land, bringing a grim ordeal to the original ecology and causing many effects. To say the least, Fang Yuan needed to provide enough food to these wolf groups, otherwise these wolves would starve to death because of insufficient food. Immortal blessed land also had many wild beasts like rabbits, pheasants and so on. But these animals were the food sources of fox groups. Immortal had cultivated large numbers of foxes in the blessed land. There were red foxes, gold foxes, cloud foxes, wind foxes, autumn water foxes, flowing light foxes and so on. These fox groups had suffered disastrous damage in the sixth earthly calamity, but a number were still preserved. After many years of recuperation, they would also gradually grow into a large scale and recover some of their strength. If there were insufficient food, the wolf groups and fox groups were bound to hunt each other and create an extremely severe internal friction. The losses would be more than profits. Fang Yuan bought food for these fox groups and wolf groups. Golden koi, blue jade carp, fat mudfish, which would be good There are actually fish rows of air bubble fish. Just as Fang Yuan was about to choose one, he accidentally discovered a GU Immortal was selling fish rows of air bubble fish. He immediately decided to buy it. However, air bubble fish's fish rows had attracted some GU Immortals' attention, causing there to be a price competition. Fang Yuan made prompt decision and raised the price to 1 immortal essence stone. There are just over 20,000 fish rows, someone is actually paying 1 immortal essence stone. This person is mad. Even if they are bred, there would only be around 3,000 air bubble fish. Although they are precious, but they are only worth less than 1 immortal essence stone. GU Immortals transmitted divine sense containing their ridicule and contempt. Air bubble fish were difficult to incubate, with only around 30% chance of survival rate. To them, the price Fang Yuan was paying was too high. If my memory is not wrong, 2 GU Immortals would fight over the air bubble sea at the end of this year. The intense poison would invade into the whole air bubble sea and turn it into a death zone. At that time, air bubble fish's price would sharply rise to over 10 folds. Fang Yuan sneered after obtaining these fish rows. Those able to become GU Immortals were no doubt giants among men and great geniuses. Excluding some ignorant and incompetent second-generation immortals, most of the GU Immortals were those with great experiences and wisdom. If Fang Yuan had not started out with such a high price, it would be extremely difficult for him to get these fish rows. In future, when the Battle of 5 Regions break out, this air bubble fish's price would increase to 100 folds of now. Air bubble fish were the specialty of Eastern Sea. They were quite peculiar with translucent and round belly, like a round and glossy air bubble. 2 dark sesame seeds seemed to be sewed in front of the air bubble, they were its eyes. The fins and tail were very small, giving it very weak movement power. Air bubble fish were different from other fishes. Its movement style was to move by rising and falling. When they were in danger, they would often float out of the surface of the water to the air, to hide from their enemies. Some mature air bubble fish could even keep staying at the air throughout the year without needing to enter the water, eating the tiny insects in the air as their food. The greatest use of the air bubble fish was to increase the production of GU worms. The worms air bubble fish devoured would be protected and nourished in its belly, gradually evolving into a GU, then they would pierce out of the belly and fly away. Because it could increase the rate of GU worms creation, air bubble fish became a product sought out by all GU Immortals during the Battle of the 5 Regions. These air bubble fish needs to be slowly raised. Although they only have 30% survival rate, they just need to be carefully tended to. Dozens of years later, they would reach a scale where they can be self-sufficient. 100 years later, they would reach at least 50,000 in numbers. And same as Starlight Firefly GU, it will be a highly demanded good in the Battle of 5 Regions. The fish rows of air bubble fish were an unexpected harvest, and could be considered a small pleasant surprise. With air bubble fish, I can't choose fat mudfish. Although fat mudfish are the easiest to raise, but they will eat the fish rows of air bubble fish. They can even eat mud to fill their stomach when they are hungry. Comparatively speaking, between gold koi and blue jade carps, one eats gold as food and another eats gemstones. Both have no interest towards the fish rows of air bubble fish. Fang Yuan did not lack gold and gemstones because there was a large group of rockmen in Immortal blessed land. These rockmen lived underground and ate soil as their food. After a long time, all kinds of gold, gemstones and so on would form on their body. However, gold has a harmful influence on the reproduction of air bubble fish and can decrease the reproduction rate. The mild gemstones, however, have no such disadvantages, so I shall choose blue jade carps. Fang Yuan pondered and finally decided upon the fish species. In his previous life of 500 years, he had also managed a blessed land. And because of many setbacks he had experienced then, he could now make the most sensible choices. After obtaining blue jade carps, the water wolves' food problem was solved. Fang Yuan then bought a large numbers of pink rabbit and iron shell flowers as food for night wolves, winged wolves and turtleback wolves. And because of poison-beard wolves, Fang Yuan also chose some earth-skin pigs. These pigs had a high reproduction rate and could eat both meat and grass. They were also put in the eastern part of the blessed land. Finally, Fang Yuan bought many GU worms and large numbers of GU refinement materials. He spent altogether 8 immortal essence stones and hundreds of thousands of primeval stones. At once, 8 immortal essence stones have been spent. Fang Yuan would not feel any heartache at common primeval stones, but he still cared about immortal essence stones. Previously, he had sold many remnant recipes and obtained 28 immortal essence stones, now only 20 remained. I can still sell the remnant recipes with me, but the more they are sold, the cheaper they will get. I lack means for getting profits. As for the investment in air bubble fish and starlight firefly GU, they would only show results after 100 years. I need to use these remaining immortal essence stones carefully. Fang Yuan heaved a sigh. He handed Connecting Heaven GU to Little Hu Immortal and let her be in charge of dealing with the residents and various other works regarding wolf groups, fish groups, iron shell flowers and air bubble fish rows. Fang Yuan entered Dang Hun Palace and used the materials he bought to refine GU. Chapter 477 Rank 5 Breath Concealment GU. Chapter 477, Rank 5 Breath Concealment GU. After 1 day and 1 night, Fang Yuan walked out of Dang Hun Palace with an exhausted expression. He came to Dang Hun Mountain. Many guts GU had been created again during this period of time. But the quantity was half of the first time. Fang Yuan pinched some of them, most were of no use because of Immortal GU Gruel Mud's powers. But Fang Yuan had slaughtered Yan tribe. After collecting many souls, there were a lot of guts GU. Relying on this enormous number, Fang Yuan's soul managed to advance by a lot. My current soul strength is over 5 times stronger than before. Unfortunately, there is still a large gap to 1000-man soul. Fang Yuan closed his eyes for a while before opening them again with a slightly happy expression. This progress was quite big. If it were normal GU masters, they would require 10 years or more to accumulate such results. But because of Guts Gu's help, Fang Yuan could easily accomplish this feat in less than half a day. No wonder Dang Hun Mountain was called one of the sacred lands of Soul Path by Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable. Among the things in my possession, Dang Hun Mountain's value is only lower to Spring Autumn Cicada. No matter what, I can't let it die. Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable had once commented that Soul Path GU Masters had 2 great sacred lands in this world. One was Dang Hun Mountain to strengthen the soul, another was Luopo Valley to refine soul. Soul needed to be strengthened and also required to be refined. Fang Yuan used Guts GU to rapidly strengthen his soul. But he did not have Luopo Valley to refine his soul, thus he could only use Wolf Soul GU instead. Wolf Soul GU could transform a GU Master's soul into Wolfman's soul, having the effect of refining soul. Guts Gu's production continued to drop. By the 3rd time, Fang Yuan only used 1 hour to pluck them all. Most of the Guts GU had become mud paste, and relying on the small portion of intact Guts GU, Fang Yuan strengthened his soul to 6 times. Little Hu Immortal was busy with her work. The Stargate GU was once again activated and Fang Yuan returned to Northern Plains. The moment he stepped out of the Stargate, Fang Yuan's first sight was the loyal guarding wolf group that surrounded the area. The Stargate was connected to Hu Immortal Blessed Land. Fang Yuan sent poison-beard wolves and water wolves to the Blessed Land while bringing Wind Wolf Myriad Wolf King and Turtleback Myriad Wolf King to Northern Plains. At the same time, he replenished the 3 wolf groups, raising the scale of the wolf group to 60,000. Fang Yuan did not immediately return to Zhe tribe, instead he picked up a half-finished product and began to refine GU. After spending a long while, when the first rays of sunlight shone on Crescent Lake, he obtained rank 5 breath concealment GU. The heaven and earth of the 5 regions were different, whether it were GU worms or GU masters, once they went into other regions, they would be suppressed. But different from GU worms, human is the spirit of all living beings and had great intelligence and adaptability. As long as a few years went by, GU masters could completely adapt to the environment and obtain the recognition of the region, no longer facing suppression. And for the GU worms to not be suppressed, Fang Yuan refined the GU at Northern Plains. No matter where the materials were from or whatever GU worms were used, the moment the GU refinement was completed, the new rank 5 breath concealment GU was born in Northern Plains and obtained Northern Plains recognition, not suffering from the suppression. Back then, Fang Yuan had obtained rank 2 breath concealment GU in Ziyu Mountain. By refining and ranking up this GU worm, the rank 5 breath concealment GU was finally formed. At rank 5, breath concealment GU did not have any huge changes, was still like a purple exquisite tree leaf, it was just that the purple was deeper in color and even had a slight metallic luster. After using the breath concealment GU to hide his cultivation back to rank 4 middle stage, Fang Yuan let out a breath of turbid air. He was now at rank 5 peak stage, and even after suffering the suppression in Northern Plains, he still had rank 5 initial stage aura. If he returned to Zhe tribe like this, it was sure to attract suspicion. At the same time, if one day, a portion of the suppression lifts and his cultivation suddenly rose, it would result in conjectures and doubts. Breath concealment GU could prevent such an accident. Fang Yuan returned to Zhe tribe with the wolf group. As expected, the Zhe tribesmen were shocked and pleasantly surprised. But there were many wolf groups in Northern Plains, Crescent Lake was also a place filled with spirituality and many beast groups gathered around it. It was not difficult to explain how Fang Yuan gained such a bountiful harvest. Fang Yuan placed a part of the wolf group inside the camp and another group outside, letting them move about. When he returned to the giant lizard house GU, Zhe tribe leader Zhe Guang immediately came over to pay respects, bringing 2 letters with him. Congratulations to Lord for gaining a huge increase in strength after this hunt. Zhe Guang had 2 dark circles under his eyes, his face however had a joyous expression. Throughout this day and night, he had been cleaning up the battlefield with Zhe tribe elders, gathering the goods and dealing with those who surrendered. He was so busy that he had no time to sleep. Looking at Zhe tribe's strength expand in his hands, Zhe Guang was very excited, causing his respect towards Chongshan Yin to deepen by another layer. He understood clearly that without Chongshan Yin, this day would not have come for Zhe tribe. My luck was quite good and I had some gains. Fang Yuan sat on the seat and lightly nodded at Zhe Guang. His strength increase did not end with the wolf groups. His cultivation and soul also had huge advancement. Zhe Guang and the rest would be terrified if they knew. At Langya Blessed Land, Fang Yuan had used up one chance to refine Immortal GU, and obtained Stargate GU, thus causing his inactive chessboard to become alive again. Fang Yuan's strength progressed at an unimaginable speed every time he entered Immortal Blessed Land. Everyone would find it hard to believe such rapid progress. However, it was also very reasonable when one carefully looked. Fang Yuan possessed a blessed land, he was growing using the foundation of a GU Immortal. The difference between immortals and mortals were as different as night and day, adding in his 500 years of experience that allowed him to absorb the rapid increase in strength, he could grow smoothly without facing any issues. Fang Yuan had been risking his life, like walking on a tightrope in between cliffs to obtain these enormous wealth that changed into deep accumulation. Finally, the accumulation was changing into explosive growth in strength. Lord, by devouring Yan tribe we have obtained a total of over 634,000 primeval stones, 1 rank 5 GU, 27 rank 4 GU and many rank 3, rank 2 and rank 1 GU. Besides them, there are over 2,000 GU refinement recipes, 300 hump wolves and many big stomach horses. Lizard House GU numbers to thousands, hundreds of mushroom GU, and the number of captives are over 7,000, Zhe Guang excitedly reported. Fang Yuan quietly listened, because he had taken down Yan tribe's higher-ups in one move and also due to the surprise attack, Zhe tribe was able to receive huge benefits. Especially the amount of captives, it was unexpectedly over 7,000. Among them were large numbers of rank 2 and rank 1 GU masters who wanted to surrender. After Zhe tribe incorporated them, the tribe's strength had increased by over 2-fold. Lord, this is the inventory list after calculating, please take a look. You can take anything you want. Zhe Guang respectfully handed Fang Yuan a list. To Fang Yuan, these resources were instead not essential. He had Immortal Blessed Land now, the appeal of primeval stones to him had fallen down to the abyss. The days where he had to scheme for 1 or 2 primeval stones on Qingmao Mountain had already left him. He lacked immortal essence stones, the more he had the better. Unfortunately, Yan tribe did not have a GU immortal, so how could they have immortal essence stones? The reason why Fang Yuan assisted Zhe tribe was to have a chess piece, to act as a shield for him so that he could meddle in the heroes' assembly. If possible, he did not want to give up the identity of Chongshan Yin prematurely. The longer he managed the tribe, the more use it would have for him in the Battle of 5 Regions. According to the rules of the grassland, the half of these spoils are all mine. But these things are not suited for me, so I shall leave them with Zhe tribe. Fang Yuan gave back the list to Zhe Guang. Yes, Lord, Zhe Guang promptly replied. My wolf groups will be fed by your tribe. Account for the expenses using my share of the spoils. Fang Yuan added. Zhe Guang, however, shook his head and said with sincerity, Lord, the reason our Zhe tribe can have this day is all because of you. How could I, Zhe Guang, be a person who doesn't know favors? Feeding the wolf groups is our Zhe tribe's responsibility, there is no need for Lord to spend your wealth. I understand deeply that my abilities are not enough to manage the whole Zhe tribe. I hope Senior can guide and give me pointers in the coming days. He. Fang Yuan laughed and took a deep glance at Zhe Guang. This young man before him could be considered to have some experience now. Although he had only held the tribe leader position for a short time, he had experienced trials and wandered in between life and death, he took risks, and thus progressed rapidly. As the saying goes, heroes emerge in troubled times. This GU Master World had a cruel environment and it was not easy to live. And precisely so, heroes emerged in large numbers and endlessly. Zhe Guang, you are pretty good. In that case, I shall become Zhe tribe's external elder. Zhe Guang's whole body shook before wild joy emerged in his face. He promptly kneeled on the ground. Junior is presumptuous and sincerely requests Senior to become the supreme elder of Zhe tribe. Supreme elder, Fang Yuan muttered. Zhe Guang raised his head and looked at Fang Yuan sincerely. He knew Zhe tribe's current great situation was closely related to Chongshan Yin, that is the only way they can move stably and far, while obtaining the most benefits. If Chongshan Yin was not around, just relying on his rank 3 cultivation would not be enough to suppress the expanding Zhe tribe. Alright, I shall accept it. Fang Yuan agreed. By this point, Zhe tribe's circumstances was also part of his plan. Zhe Guang was only a rank 3 GU master and had just taken the tribe leader position. Fang Yuan made Zhe tribe take over Yan tribe, it allowed him to have greater control of this person. By controlling this person, he controlled Zhe tribe. What? Yan tribe was exterminated by Zhe tribe. At another place beside Crescent Lake, Wang tribe leader listened to the news and looked at Bei tribe's envoy with shock. Bei tribe's envoy was an old rank 3 GU master, his face filled with wrinkles, gray hair, sunken and dark eyes. He was an enslavement path expert with some reputation in northern plains, named Bei Sao Sheng. That is precisely so. Many tribes already know of this. Not long later, the news will spread to the whole northern plains. Your tribe is in a remote location and has many large beast groups in the surroundings, thus you were not able to get this news immediately. Bei Sao Sheng continued. I have come here to represent the alliance of Bei, Zheng and Pei tribe to request Wang tribe to join the alliance and punish Zhe tribe together. Chapter 478 Main Pillar. Chapter 478, Main Pillar. Hearing Bei tribe, Zheng tribe and Pei tribe had already allied, Wang tribe leader slightly furrowed his brows. In northern plains, it was not strange for tribes to form an alliance. The struggle for the imperial court was arriving soon, the appearance of alliances also increased. I have a doubt. Zhe tribe was originally weaker than Yan tribe, how could such a small existence swallow a bigger force? Wang tribe leader questioned. Bei Sao Sheng laughed. Zhe tribe could absorb Yan tribe all because of one person. I wonder if Lord Wang tribe leader has ever heard of Chongshan Yin. Chongshan Yin, Wang tribe leader slightly frowned, this name brought a familiar feeling in the depths of his heart as if he had heard it somewhere. Soon after, his furrowed brows relaxed and an astonished look appeared on his face. Chongshan Yin, could it be the Wolf King who had killed Ha-Tu-Gu? I am in admiration of tribe leader's knowledge. Bei Sao Sheng cupped his fists. Yes, it is because of this person's meddling that led to Zhe tribe's victory. Who would have expected that the hero of Northern Plains would still alive after all this time? No one knows what happened in all these years. He appeared with low profile and with his lone strength, made Zhe tribe, a small existence, swallow the big Yan tribe. Of course, this is also because Yan tribe's higher-ups were schemed against by Chongshan Yin and were taken down collectively. This allowed Zhe tribe to have dominance when they attacked Yan tribe camp. Bei Sao Sheng spoke with assurance, he was actually very clear of this inside story. In truth, after Yan tribe was exterminated, there were naturally some who were able to escape alive and went to Bei tribe to request protection. With such informants, Bei tribe was naturally very clear of the situation. Wang tribe leader's brows furrowed deeper. Back in those days, Wolf King with his lone strength could bypass realms and kill rank 5 GU Master Ha-Tu-Gu along with his bandit group. Such strength truly intimidates people. How can we deal with such expert with our strength? Rank 4 GU Masters were already the leaders of small mid-scale tribes. Rank 5 GU Masters were at the peak of the mortal world. Long ago, the news of Chongshan Yin killing Ha 2 GU had created an uproar in the whole northern plains. Reputation, whether good or bad, follows closely like a shadow. Chongshan Yin's deeds had spread throughout northern plains for so many years, it was natural for Wang tribe leader to have some apprehension. Bei Cao Sheng laughed loudly. Ha ha ha, it is natural for Lord tribe leader to have worries. Wolf King was indeed an amazing character. But times have changed, today's Wolf King is no longer as valiant as before. I would like to hear the details. Everyone knows the strength of enslavement path GU Masters is determined by their troops. Wolf King has just come back, his wolf group is no longer of the same scale as before, with not even a single mutated beast. There are only ordinary wind wolves, night wolves and turtleback wolves with him. And in the battle with Yan tribe, they already suffered huge losses. His battle strength is not so mighty. Bei Cao Sheng continued. Moreover, Wolf King attacked Yan tribe without rhyme or reason. This is the conduct of the demonic path. Slaughtering ordinary mortals goes against Northern Plains rules. He is no longer the hero of our Northern Plains, but a demon everyone needs to hunt. The one we are punishing this time is a sinner who creates conflicts, an evildoer who invades at will. We have righteousness with us while Zhe tribe is at the side of injustice and evil. The heroes' assembly has not begun yet, the struggle for imperial court has not started yet, but they dare to openly wage a war with another tribe. This is unforgivable. Looking at the history of Northern Plains, which of the people that violated the bottom line like this has ever had a good ending? Bei Cao Sheng's words were full of passion. Indeed, as the political advisor of Bei tribe, his words had the power to incite people's hearts. But Wang tribe leader also was a seasoned character and not someone who could be easily influenced. His gaze flashed and said with hesitation, although it is so, Wolf King is after all the Wolf King. In the battle between giants, there will definitely be injuries. After the battle ends, there is bound to be enormous losses. Bei Cao Sheng shook his head and smiled without concern. He. Wolf King might be strong, but 2 fists cannot defeat 4 hands. Zhe tribe has just absorbed Yan tribe, they have eaten too much this time and inflated very quickly, they will not be stable for a long time. As long as Wang tribe joins us, why would our 4 tribes alliance be afraid of a puny Zhe tribe? Wang tribe leader muttered irresolutely for a while and said, I am not afraid of Zhe tribe, but Wolf King is the Wolf King. He mysteriously disappeared for so many years, who knows what happened, he might have even had fortuitous encounter. He definitely has some plan in making his appearance now. Such a character is sure to have trump cards that he has not shown yet. Bei Cao Sheng scoffed. Reputation usually comes from exaggeration. Wang tribe leader, why should we puff up the enemy and lower our morale? Why are you so afraid of the Wolf King? He is already past his prime, even if he has trump cards, he is no more than an enslavement path GU master in the end. Since he is an enslavement path GU master, we have ways to deal with him. Truthfully speaking, our Bei tribe also has enslavement path GU masters, our tribe's forest soldier corps which has made its name in northern plains. It can completely face Chongshan Yin. Besides them, Zheng tribe has the renowned lightning spear battle formation while Pei tribe leader Lord Pei Yanfei is a famous expert in northern plains and has already advanced to rank 4 peak stage. Even if Wolf King has much more troops, Lord Pei Yanfei can move past the troops and directly attack and kill the Wolf King. It was common knowledge that enslavement path GU masters feared beheading the leader tactics. As long as this tactic succeeded, even a huge army of millions would immediately fall into chaos and flee in disorder. Wang tribe leader, however, was still hesitating, and evaded it saying he needed a few days to consider as it was a serious matter. Disappointment flashed past Bei Cao Sheng's eyes. This is a serious matter, it makes sense for Wang tribe leader to consider it carefully. However, this matter cannot be delayed. If we allow the Zhe tribe to recover their senses and digest the spoils of the war, our losses when we fight will be much more larger. Please take note of this, Lord tribe leader. Wang tribe leader nodded. At most 3 days, during this period, you can stay in our tribe and receive our warmest welcome. Bei Cao Sheng could only take the initiative to say his farewell after hearing these words. When he had just left the hall, a person entered. This person was thin with a yellowish face, there were 3 strands of beard on his chin and a pair of sharp and bright eyes. He was Wang tribe leader's competent assistant, Wang tribe elder Wang Dadao, an experienced strategist. Lord tribe leader, are we really going to agree to Bei tribe and join this alliance? Wang Dadao asked with some worries. He, of course not, you don't need to worry. Wang tribe leader laughed. Wang Dadao let out a breath of relief. Tribe leader is wise to not be bewitched by others. The power struggle for imperial court is arriving, and years of battle will follow it. Preserving strength is our main priority. The thoughts of Bei, Pei and Zheng tribe, these three mid-scale tribes, are very clear. Yan tribe is in-laws of Lu tribe, Yan Kuier is Lu tribe young master's fiancé. They are thinking of becoming dogs of Lu tribe, to curry favor with Lord Lu Wenwu, but they want to involve my tribe to share the risks. Yes, Wang tribe leader nodded, our Wang tribe is a large-scale tribe, we need to make our moves very carefully. The struggle for the imperial court is like a battle of dragons and snakes, in the end, who can become the final winner? We need to observe carefully and choose the side we are siding with. Every 10 years in northern plains, there would be a terrifying and shocking blizzard. Only by entering the imperial court, could one have protection to not be affected by the blizzard. But the quota in imperial court was limited, there were too many that wanted to enter, thus they would go through bitter battle, and after eliminating the weak, the master of the imperial court would be decided. Wang tribe might be a large-scale tribe but was classified as those tribes with superficial foundation, having no intents to vie for the throne. They only wanted to side with the correct force and become the one with the greatest contribution, thus entering the imperial court and avoiding the disaster. If we can't enter the imperial court, our tribe will definitely suffer disastrous damage during the blizzard. We will fall from our current large-scale force to mid-scale, small-scale or even complete extermination with a high probability. But if we can enter imperial court, through the support of the resources of imperial court, we can recuperate, and if our luck is good, we can have the qualifications to vie for the next rulership of imperial court. Wang Dadao said with a grave expression. This matter concerned the survival and prosperity of the whole Wang tribe. Every Wang tribesman was cautious and careful. Then, how should we deal with Bei Sao Sheng? Wang tribe leader asked. Wang Dadao stroked his beard and said after a while, we should properly entertain this person, and 3 days later, we can tactfully decline their alliance invitation. At the same time, we will send a letter to Zhe tribe behind their back, to express our goodwill to the Wolf King and tell them of this matter. Let them fight each other while we will watch safely from the sideline. If there is an opportunity, we can have no worries in benefiting from their conflict. Ha, your words deeply resonates with my heart. Wang tribe leader could not help laughing heartily. Gazing at the letter in his hand, Zhe tribe leader Zhe Guang had a worried expression. All the Zhe tribe elders beside him were also silent. The atmosphere had become so heavy in the main tent that it was almost suffocating. Bei, Pei and Zheng tribe have allied to combine their strength and pass judgment to our tribe. They are wantonly attracting more allies now. Wang tribe leader has sent this information secretly. I am afraid not long later, the allied army would make their move. Elders, do you have any good plans? Zhe Guang asked. This matter is not looking good. Our tribe has just absorbed Yan tribe. Although our morale is high, we have yet to digest the spoils of the war. If the enemy invades us, it is hard to say if the Yan tribe captives we have won't rise up in rebellion. At that time, with both external and internal threats, our Zhe tribe won't be far from extermination. Then should we retreat? Retreat? Where? We have a camp now and can defend our positions. But if we retreat, there will be nothing to protect us. Do we just wait for those tribes to surround us then? The elders started discussing. Zhe Guang looked at them with a disappointed gaze. The elders were just making random comments with no one giving reasonable suggestion. This instead caused the atmosphere in the tent to become more repressing and was vaguely shaking up their battle will. All right, no need to say any more. He raised his hand and put an end to the discussion. I won't hide this from you. Few days ago, Lord Wolf King Chongshan Yin has agreed to become our tribe's supreme elder. We need to invite him to discuss this matter. Zhe Guang revealed the news. He had kept this news hidden. Now that he said it out, it was like a cardiac stimulant that caused the elders to feel a rush of morale. Lord Wolf King has become our tribe's supreme elder. Great, this is a cause for celebration. With Lord Wolf King with us, we have a chance of survival. The suppressing atmosphere in the tent was immediately swept clean and the fallen morale rapidly soared. This was the effect of an expert. In times of crisis, they were the main pillar that could hold up the sky and earth. Seeing this, Zhe Guang realized why only GU masters with high cultivation could become the ones in power in tribes. Chapter 479 Good Weather to Kill. Chapter 479 Good Weather to Kill. Fang Yuan was invited into Zhe tribe's main tent. Oh, 3 tribes are allying to deal with us. Fang Yuan heard this and his eyes shone, asking, which 3? An elder immediately replied, reporting to Lord Supreme Elder, it is Pei tribe, Bei tribe, and Zheng tribe. Pausing for a second, this elder continued, Pei tribe's Pei Yanfei has rank 4 peak stage cultivation, he is a fierce general famous in northern plains. Although Bei tribe is only a middle-sized tribe, it has 2 enslavement path GU masters. As for Zheng tribe, although they were created not too long ago, their lightning spear battle formation is nothing to be trifled with. Fang Yuan nodded, he had heard a familiar name, that was Pei Yanfei. This person was truly a fierce general in northern plains. After joining Lu Wenwu, he became Lu tribe's 3rd general. In the future battles, he often fought his way into enemy formations alone, assaulting and disrupting their battle formations. As he charged through unstoppably, he aimed for the leader's head. As for Bei tribe and Zheng tribe, although Fang Yuan had no memories of them, it did not obstruct him from estimating their strength. Either of these 2 tribes were equal to Zhe tribe back in Hongyan Valley. Bei tribe had 2 enslavement path GU masters, this meant that they could resist Fang Yuan's wolf group head-on. As for Zheng tribe, it seemed that they grew to power using the lightning spear battle formation. This was Zheng tribe's trump card, it could not be underestimated. However, I need large numbers of souls to feed Dang Hun Mountain and strengthen my own soul. The alliance of the 3 tribes will allow me to kill many people, right? He. Thinking so, Fang Yuan's lips curled into a cold smile. Right now, the 3 tribes have allied, the situation is precarious. Uncle Chong Shanyin, what should Zhe tribe do? Zhe Guang was yearning for an answer. Fang Yuan raised his brows, his words oozing with killing intent. What can we do? Since they want to kill us anyway, we will strike first and attack them immediately. You have to know, the best defense is offense. What? Attack? Hearing this, Zhe tribe higher-ups were shocked. In their earlier discussions, some people suggested retreating, some suggested defending, but no one had suggested attacking. This idea was too aggressive and risky. After all, the power of the 3 allied tribes greatly surpassed Zhe tribe. Now that Zhe tribe had just assimilated Yan tribe's captives, they had internal woes as well. Is it too crazy to just attack them now? The elders looked at each other, sensing each other's worry from their expressions. But because of Fang Yuan's attitude, they did not dare to speak out. At once, everyone went silent. Zhe Guang hesitated for a while, before meekly saying, Uncle Chong Shanyin, the enemy is strong while we are weak, but we are going to strike first and give up on defending the camp. Fang Yuan snorted. If you are thinking like this, so are our enemies. Precisely so, we have to initiate the attack and catch them off guard. Tonight, we shall gather our forces and assault them in the dark. Which tribe is the closest to us? The closest is Bei tribe, following by Zheng tribe and then Pei tribe who are the furthest. Zhe Guang replied. Fang Yuan smiled coldly. Very good, then we shall wipe out Bei tribe first, before slaughtering Zheng tribe and then find a chance to finish off Pei tribe. This battle will be tragic, be mentally prepared. But we cannot make progress without sacrifices. After we devour the 3 tribes, our Zhe tribe will strengthen even further. The tribe elders looked at each other, tongue-tied, shocked by Fang Yuan's ambition. With Zhe tribe's current situation, he still wanted to devour the allied enemies who were 2 to 3 times stronger than them. This was unimaginable. Seeing the hesitant gang, Fang Yuan waved his hand. Then that will be the plan, go and prepare for it. Yes, the higher-ups replied. That night, the night winds blew and the moon was high in the sky. Zhe tribe camp opened its gates as the wolves ran out like a flowing river. Countless GU masters were mixed in with them, as they charged forward with strong killing intent. What a good weather, this is a perfect weather to kill people. Fang Yuan sat on a mutated beast as he laughed. This mutated beast was that White Eyes wolf. It was an infant earlier, but after Fang Yuan used the time path GU worm to accelerate its growth, it rapidly aged. Now, this White Eyes wolf was several times its original size. Having a body of white snow-like fur, its body shape was slim and smooth like water, only slightly smaller than a hump wolf. But its current battle strength was only comparable to an ordinary 100-wolf king. There were no wild GU inside its body. Time was needed for wild GU to live in a beast king. During a beast king's long period of growth, multiple wild GU worms would come to seek refuge with them. But this White Eyes wolf grew too fast, it lacked the foundation built with time, and because it was always by Fang Yuan's side, there were no GU on it. Because of that, Fang Yuan used it as his steed and let it accompany him. Sometimes, using its vision, he could scout areas quickly. The army moved quickly towards Bei tribe. Bei tribe camp was situation on a mound. There were originally many trees on the mound, but now they were all removed and a tall wall was erected all around Bei tribe camp. On the wall, there were observational towers that were giving off a bright light, lighting up the dark camp. On the surface of the wall, there were wooden spikes and several Bei tribe GU masters were standing at set intervals, giving off a strong impregnable aura. Lord, are we really attacking? The army stealthily got closer as Zhe Guang observed the wall. His heart jumped as he had the urge to retreat. Fang Yuan laughed. We will definitely win. What does Lord Supreme Elder mean? An elder did not understand and asked. Fang Yuan pointed at the wall. Precise because of the sturdy wall, these Bei tribe GU masters are complacent, sending only a few GU masters to guard it. The fact that we could get too near to them is proof of this. Furthermore, this light is too bright, it shows Bei tribe's intention to scare off the weak. Such a false bravado, while attempting to show that they were a stronghold, revealed all their little secrets. Hearing this, Zhe tribesmen were assured. Fang Yuan instructed again. Later, I will send the wolves to crush the wall, you will send the Yan tribe captives to charge and lead the way, while Zhe tribe GU masters watch them. If anyone tries to rebel or run away, kill them on the spot. His icy cold voice made everyone shudder. The moment he said that, before waiting for the elders to react, Fang Yuan waved his hand as 2 myriad wolf kings led their wolf groups and rushed out. In a few breaths' time, they got into the lighted area. Wolves, why are there so many wolves? Bei tribe GU masters rubbed their eyes, finding it unbelievable. Enemy assault, enemy assault. Some people reacted and shouted loudly, using their GU worms to send signals. Block them, reinforcements are coming. The GU masters shouted with all their strength. But Fang Yuan's attack was ferocious and overwhelming, it was like 2 iron fists that had been storing energy for a day. The battle strength of a myriad wolf king was not to be underestimated. Often, a rank 4 GU master and multiple rank 3 experts were needed to deal with 1. 2 myriad wolf kings, under Fang Yuan's manipulation, unleashed their strongest attacks without hesitation. Bam, 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 every impact was soul-shaking. The study wall swayed in the wind like a flimsy paper. Especially the turtleback myriad wolf king, it had a thick skin and a strong body, it caused the most damage to the wall. Bei tribe GU masters were busy retaliating, but their scattered attacks were blocked by the myriad wolf king's defensive GU. When Bei tribe's reinforcements arrived in a hurry, they saw the collapse of an entire segment of the wall. 2 myriad wolf kings led their endless wolf armies as they charged into the camp. Night wolf myriad beast king. Turtleback myriad wolf king. Bei tribe leader saw this sight and he was shocked out of his wits. These were 2 types of wolves, as wild wolf groups, they will never work together. This situation only meant one thing, there was someone controlling them. Who was the culprit? Bei tribe leader did not need to think twice before a name appeared in his heart, Wolf King Chong Shanyin. Chong Shanyin, Bei tribe leader gritted his teeth and fire almost spewed out of his eyes. But his fury could not stop the attack of the wolf group. So be it if they were ordinary wolves, but under Fang Yuan's control, strength and knowledge became the best companions. Bei tribe tried resisting, and formed many defensive formations, but the wolf group charged without worry for casualties, it was an all-out attack. The Zhe tribe GU masters behind the wolf group were like spectators. Rank 4, Grass Puppet GU. Bei tribe leader injected his primeval essence into the grass below his feet. The grass grew to the size of a person, turning into a grass puppet, holding a green leaf-long sword. This was the grass sword elite soldier. Large numbers of grass sword elite soldiers charged towards the wolf group. The grass sword elite soldiers successfully resisted the wolf group's attack, they formed a formation near the main tent and blocked the wolves like a green monolith. But this situation was only temporary. When Bei tribe leader's primeval essence was used up, the grass sword elite soldiers were out of steam and the monolith became smaller, submerged by the wolves. Retreat, we will retreat to Zheng tribe. As long we are alive, Bei tribe will have the hopes of returning one day. Bei tribe leader saw that the defeat was set in stone and resolutely decided to retreat. Ha ha ha, Fang Yuan rode the white-eyes wolf as he looked at the escaping Bei tribesmen, laughing loudly. Lord, we won, Zhe Guang said excitedly. We've only won the first out of 3 battles. Leave some people behind to clean up the battlefield, we will chase them. Fang Yuan waved and the tens of thousands of wolves howled and changed directions towards Zheng tribe. They are chasing us. The Bei tribe GU masters who were escaping saw such a grand army and were scared till their souls trembled. No wait, Chong Shanyin's next target is Zheng tribe. Someone understood. Not only did he take down our tribe, he also wants to take down Zheng tribe. Someone furiously screamed. Tribe leader, what do we do? My primeval essence is almost used up, soon, they will catch up. Someone shouted frantically. Bei tribe leader hesitated for a moment, he did not have much primeval essence left, he could only change directions and enter the forest near him. Fang Yuan led the army and ignored these people, charging straight for Zheng tribe. He did not chase us, he went to Zheng tribe after all. Bei tribe's higher-ups breathed roughly, standing in the forest, they watched the stampede of over 10,000 wolves. Bei tribe leader's expression was solemn, the veins on his fists were about to burst, the hatred in his heart and the flames of fury almost incinerated him, but there was nothing he could do. Chapter 480 Go die, go die. Chapter 480. Go die, go die. Prepare the lightning spears. Zheng tribe leader shouted furiously as he went to the front line. After crushing Bei tribe, Fang Yuan led his army without stopping towards Zheng tribe camp. A bitter battle erupted instantly. Fang Yuan commanded 2 myriad beast kings to attack together, breaking through Zheng tribe's 2 defensive lines in moments. However, at the third line, they were finally stopped. The ones who stopped the wolf tide was Zheng tribe's renowned trump card, the Lightning Spear Corps. These rank 2 GU masters stood in a row on the walls, emitting strong elite aura, forging a wall made of flesh and blood. Hearing the tribe leaders shout, these GU masters immediately pushed forward their right hand and poured their primeval essence into the lightning imprint on their right palm. This was the imprint of the lightning spear GU. Next, Zhe tribesmen saw lightning emitting out of these GU masters' palms before forming into silverish blue-colored spears. These spears were 4 feet long and were completely condensed from lightning. Lightning flickered and emitted a soft sizzling sound. Shoot! Zheng tribe leader shouted. Whoosh! In an instant, 580 lightning spears flew together and drew a dense arc in the sky. The shining lightning illuminated the battlefield for a moment. The blue light shone on everyone's faces. The difference was Zhe Guang and his group had ashen expressions, while Zheng tribe leader had a proud smile. Lightning spears rained down upon the charging wolf group. Even though turtleback wolves had strong shells, they were still pierced by the lightning spears. Let alone the wind wolves and night wolves who were weak in defense. The volley of lightning spears showed an extraordinary might, instantly clearing up a large area of the battlefield. The densely packed wolf group also became thinner. Over 500 wolves fell, dead. The offense of the wolf group had slowed down. Ha ha ha, look, this is our tribe's lightning spear corps. With such strong troops, who dares to look down on our tribe? This is the strongest blood and flesh wall of our tribe, what could happen to us even if there were more wolves? Zheng tribe's GU masters shouted in excitement at this sight, their morale increasing rapidly. In contrast, Zhe tribesmen had grave expressions. Chong Shanyin, Zheng tribe leader used sound amplification GU to amplify his voice, suppressing all the chaotic noises of the battlefield. You invaded my tribe without rhyme or reason, the heroes' assembly has not started yet but you are recklessly starting a war with no care for law and order. Your brutal massacre will be punished by all the tribes of Northern Plains. You have not made a great mistake yet, you still have a chance at redemption, retreat quickly. Otherwise, I shall let the world know of your evil nature, you and the Zhe tribe behind you shall be called rats by all Northern Plainsmen. Zheng tribe leader berated and warned. Lord Supreme Elder, Zhe tribe's elders looked towards Fang Yuan with hesitation on their faces. Fang Yuan's mad war campaign was indeed violating the rules. Although the 3 tribes allied to deal with Zhe tribe, they had yet to act. Just relying on the evidence gathered by Zhe tribe, they could not prove anything. Northern Plains GU masters liked to battle but they did not battle recklessly and everything was based on proper reasons. The more sensible and grand the reasons were, the better it was. Moreover, the struggle for the imperial court had not begun yet, so the tribes were mutually restraining each other. Back when Zhe tribe was at Hongyan Valley, Man tribe clearly had more strength than Zhe tribe, but they still did not make a direct move. Instead, they used schemes to create a wolf tide. This was because Man tribe did not have a proper reason to swallow Zhe tribe. This was the rule of the righteous path, the game rule between the tribes of Northern Plains. Fang Yuan leading Zhe tribe to invade the 3 tribes alliance was clearly breaking this rule. They were attacking without appropriate reasons which meant their actions lacked righteousness. Zhe tribe's invasive conduct which reeked of demonic nature would cause them to be isolated, other tribes might be vigilant towards them or even attack them. Thus, Zhe tribe's higher-ups were worried. But because of Chong Shanyin's strength and prestige, they did not openly oppose him. Right now, the wolf group's offense was obstructed and the Zhe tribesmen were starting to show the first signs of worries. Fang Yuan sat indifferently on the mutated beast White Eyes Wolf, gazing at those GU masters on the wall. The lightning spear core are indeed extraordinary. His gaze continued to flash as he saw the ingenuity behind this. In the entire lightning spear core, there were over 500 offensive GU masters, but the truly important characters were the 100 or so support GU masters who were hiding in the corner and were strictly defended. These GU masters used their GU worms to strengthen the power of the lightning spears or condense the force of the lightning spears into an even stronger attack. Fang Yuan then looked at the Night Wolf Myriad Beast King as well as Turtleback Myriad Wolf King. These two Wolf Kings were obstructed by Zheng tribe leader personally along with the Lightning Spear Corp's combined strength, so they had no choice but to retreat. Their bodies were riddled with wounds. Turtleback Myriad Wolf King was slightly better, but the Night Wolf Myriad Beast King's defense GU was killed, its entire body was covered with blood and some wounds were so deep, one could even see the bone. Even though Fang Yuan used Wolf Smoke GU to heal most of these wounds, the Night Wolf Myriad Beast King's strength had dropped by a level. Retreat. Does retreating mean that the others won't pursue? Fang Yuan sneered, retreating was the fastest way to die. Only by advancing without stopping, charging forward, defeating the three-tribe alliance, annihilating the survivors, could the bad influence of breaking Northern Plains rules be reduced to the minimum. Right now, Zhe tribe was like a drawn bow, there was no other option but to press on. Zhe tribe's higher-ups were short-sighted, so they could not see the situation clearly. But Fang Yuan, with his 500 years of experience, naturally was a seasoned veteran and could clearly see the situation. Everyone, we are at the most crucial moment now. Zhe tribesmen, charge forward, fight to the death, whoever dares to retreat a step shall be killed without question. Fang Yuan shouted coldly while actively mobilizing all the remaining forces with him. Howl, Wind Wolf Myriad Beast King lead the Wind Wolf group and rushed to the battlefield. Fang Yuan had been intentionally hiding this Myriad Wolf King outside. He had not brought it to Zhe tribe camp and did not use it even when attacking Bei tribe. The third Myriad Wolf King. Zhe tribe and Zheng tribe's GU masters changed expression at the sight of this Wind Wolf King. Zhe tribe's higher-ups revealed joy, while Zheng tribe's GU masters felt like a heavy stone had landed on their hearts. Fang Yuan's eyes flashed with cruel killing intent, he waved his hand and the three Wolf Kings rushed forward together. Seeing three Myriad Wolf Kings charge together, Zheng tribe leader's expression paled and furiously attacked. Killer move, Thunderbird. The primeval sea level in his aperture violently dropped as three GU worms were activated together, forming an enormous lightning bird in the air. The giant bird flew towards the Turtleback Myriad Wolf King and obstructed it. Lightning Spear Core, shoot together. Zheng tribe leader hastily shouted. Hundreds of lightning spears were shot to the sky. Support GU masters acted together, converging the flying lightning spears together. In the blink of an eye, the lightning spears combined to form into a lightning snake. Eagle Claw GU. A rank 3 elder suddenly activated his GU at the lightning snake. The lightning snake immediately grew out two sharp and steel-like claws. Rhino Horn GU. Another Zheng tribe elder activated his GU, a sharp golden horn grew out of the lightning snake's head. Silver Scales GU. Another elder added bright silver-colored, firm scale armor on the lightning snake's body. This completely armed lightning spear made a circle in the air, looking like a divine dragon descending into the world. Next, it charged down valiantly towards the Wind Wolf Myriad Beast King. This move again, Fang Yuan's eyes twitched. Previously, the Night Wolf Myriad Beast King had been obstructed by this killer move and suffered serious injuries. This was the killer move, Gold and Silver Lightning Dragon. GU masters nurtured, used and refined GU, each aspect was a deep field of study. There was the killer move in the aspect of using GU. Some GU master experts would exquisitely activate many GU worms, abilities consecutively in a very short period and fuse them into an even stronger attack. This was a killer move. Normal killer moves were activated by one GU master. Like Zheng tribe leader's killer move Thunderbird. The Gold and Silver Lightning Dragon, however, was a killer move formed from the cooperation of hundreds of GU masters. It condensed the strength of hundreds of GU masters as well as rank 3 experts into an extremely terrifying attack. As it was obstructed by Gold and Silver Lightning Dragon, the Wind Wolf Myriad Beast King had no hopes of advancing further temporarily. However, Fang Yuan was not discouraged. He still had a Myriad Wolf King. Night Wolf Myriad Beast King began a crazed assault under his control. Block it, hold it back even if you die. Tribesmen, our parents, wives, children, brothers and sisters are behind us, we absolutely cannot lose. This myriad beast king no longer has its defense GU, we still have hope. Zheng tribe's GU masters raised their morale and attacked fiercely. Countless attacks shone brilliantly like fireworks as they landed on the Night Wolf Myriad Beast King's body. This Night Wolf Myriad Beast King's defense GU had already died. The attacks easily caused its flesh to lacerate, causing it to howl bitterly in pain. The intense pain agitated the Night Wolf Myriad Beast King, its eyes reddened, its killing intent burst out and its offense became fiercer. Damn it! Seeing the Night Wolf Myriad Beast King kill the Lightning Spear Core, destroying Zheng tribe's most precious trump card, Zheng tribe leader almost spurted out blood and anger. However, he could not go to stop it, as right now, he was using all his strength to pin down Turtleback Myriad Wolf King. To protect their home and family, Zheng tribe's GU masters burst out with much greater strength. Die beast! A rank 3 elder dashed out without a thought for his safety and flew towards the Night Wolf Myriad Beast King's eyes, fiercely piercing forwarding with his hands. The Night Wolf King had no time to dodge and its eyes were pierced. Amidst the incomparable pain, it opened its mouth and bit this rank 3 elder apart. The rank 3 elder's body was split into two, but he had a smile on his face before dying. He used his final trace of primeval essence to inflict heavy injuries on the Night Wolf King. Such a situation was not rare. To block the Night Wolf King, many Zheng tribe's GU masters chose to sacrifice themselves and protect their home. Truly brave warriors, Fang Yuan praised while laughing coldly. In his mind, Fang Yuan sensed the Night Wolf King's intense desire to retreat. But he did not allow that and forcibly made it continue attacking. Lightning Spear Core suffered serious losses in the intense fight with the Night Wolf King, not even 10% survived. With there being no decent resistance, Zhe tribe's GU masters charged out and created an opening rapidly. The scales of victory tilted towards Fang Yuan. Time passed, gold and silver lightning dragon dissipated in the air and the Wind Wolf King became free. Under Fang Yuan's control, it started killing Zheng tribe elders. Next, the wolf group charged inside Zheng tribe camp like a tide, mercilessly killing the old, the weak, women and children. Wretched screams, despairing shouts and shrieks resounded throughout the battlefield. Die, go and die, the more deaths there are, the more souls I can obtain. Fang Yuan looked expressionlessly at this living hell, as he secretly used his storage GU.